Tanner has a girlfriend, Megan. One day they're walking to their destination when they are approached by a schoolgirl. She offers to buy Tanner's painting for an incredibly high price, and he accepts on the spot, which is something he didn't want to do. Schoolgirl tells them the painting will soon be forgotten and no one will remember it soon. Tanner says that paintings in museums are never forgotten. They get angry at her for trying to take his painting and leave. Megan goes with him and starts patting him down, saying, "If you want someone to kidnap you, this is the best time." Then pulls a knife on him and Schoolgirl, or as Schoolgirl reappears with a device for teleporting people. They start chasing him, but not before Megan swiftly jabs her knife through his back before disappearing into the shadows. Tanner is teleported into an anime show where he gets attacked by monsters and ghosts that seem like innocent human beings when he first meets them, but end testing a new horror game. Two children, an elementary school girl and her crush Tanner, find themselves at a creepy old mansion with the message, "Enter if you dare."
I'm gonna do it.
When they are supposed to just be playing inside, haunts, interdimensional horrors abound. The ghost of an elementary school student haunts the halls, demanding she be returned to her classroom.
Well, then go back.
Demons lurk in the basement labyrinth. As the children delve deep into the bowels of the mansion, they learn that it was not built just for them, but for a video game. No huge turning point in the plan here, but some interesting moral conundrums arise as Tanner finds himself on all fours while Skullgirl Chan is standing over him, banging his head against the ground after he tried to blackmail her with one of his classmates' scandalous text. She wonders if this will finally get him to be nice to her instead of just leering over her or tell people, but she couldn't have. Tanner and his friend, Skullgirl Chan, go to visit the house in the country that dates back over 100 years. Despite warnings from the townsfolk that there were invisible ghosts and demons, Tanner is determined to hunt for ghosts. They soon find a testament in a box left open on a table with pictures of faces that look straight at them. They hear noises behind them as if someone was following them into the next room, but no one was there. Moving on through the house, Tanner hears a drawing of him crying from class. Watch him like a specter before he falls to the floor, defeated with sleep deprivation, and Schoolgirl Chan rescues him and gave him some tea with honey, telling Tanner about her childhood escapades. When Jesse returned, he woke up Tanner, who was asleep in his room, and Schoolgirl Chan was gone without a trace of her trace she ever existed. And that is the great horror story of the Shower Productions.
Wait, did you use novel AI or something? That's what that sounded like. It's just a mess. Wait a minute. Hang on a second here. What?
Thank you and welcome to the Shower Productions Anime Podcast. This is kind of our Halloween edition. And I just gave you a little horror story. There you go.
Nice.
What?
But yes, that was
what?
An AI story thing. It took some effort to find one that didn't want you to pay.
Huh.
And for the one I used, it was in doing that, I used up all of the free points I had. I'd have to wait another month to be able to do that again.
That's why. Okay, I was like, wait, there's like no coherence to this.
It was also a bit of like three stories kind of jammed together. It was weird. Those are weird. Like, I know there are people out there who know better ones and work them better, but the one I did, that was what you got. So
there's like sexy ones too.
Yeah, I didn't want to go that route.
Well, it sounded like it for a second. Like I was on all fours and she was like leering over me and I was leering over her and it was like, what's happening? What, did you write this? What's happening?
I thought about writing my own, but then I was like, oh, that'll be just... I wonder what will happen if I just put it in a computer.
I feel like it would have been better quality.
What are you talking about? It was great. That was a great adventure. You went through so much stuff.
It was a roller coaster.
I did, but it was like... I got transported to different places, and that's the only explanation for it.
I mean, yeah.
That was it.
But, yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry, there's one more thing about it. It's like, I like the part where it's like, and the house was empty. It's like, it's an empty house. What the fuck do you expect?
Yeah, and the one I used is more primarily used for, like, writing, like, news articles. Like, for, like, clickbait, like Yahoo and BuzzFeed, like that.
Oh.
So it had a function for it for stories, but if you notice, kind of in the middle, it turned more into like a explanation of the story rather than the story itself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
schoolgirl, and then Jesse.
Yes.
It's like then Jesse appeared, and it's like,
Because I gave it a few like keywords to go off of. But it was I think it was just like because I made that like weeks ago now.
You make another one.
I think it was like Tanner, anime, schoolgirl, ghosts and demons. I think those were like the words I used, and that's what it gave.
No, that's not the worst thing that could happen. I mean,
I know.
that was all right. I mean, it was just needs to be a little bit more structure.
Well, I mean, that's your horror story for the year. Thank you.
Nice.
So how is everyone?
Good.
Yeah.
If that's
Yes.
a horror story, I'm looking forward to his Christmas special.
Oh boy.
Tanner's holiday adventures.
Yeah.
Look at all the food. Santa.
What are you
Jesse.
Jesse.
Jesse Pinkman.
The return of Jesse.
Jesse.
We have to cook, Jesse.
For Santa.
We have to cook the turkey.
We have to make the snow.
Goddamn.
Snow.
Snowman strikes again.
Snow job.
If you haven't noticed by now, we are without Ramiro.
It's a little
Yeah.
quieter.
It's a little quieter.
Nah. We missed it.
He is
Oh,
missed.
there he is. I'm kidding. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been okay. It's almost
Oh.
Halloween time, like I said. Well, I guess you'd say that it's the Halloween season.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
just spooky month.
It's spooky
Hey,
month.
Pokemon.
I am tired.
We did the
Yeah,
dance.
I'm sorry.
Carlos did not do the dance because he was tired.
Carlos looks like he just got out the gulag.
Do you know oh my god, Lil Rant, they put me in so many different timing schedules for me this week. So it's like morning, night, close, morning, night, close, morning, and I'm like,
There's no consistency to that at
No.
all.
so it was a chore to get through this.
Mm.
Yeah, I
I
bet.
get it.
So if my memory's a little vague, I am sorry.
Oh, don't worry. It won't be worse than Tanner.
No, I'm like 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
So
Because
you know
if
what?
we didn't know,
I remember
we are
stuff.
reviewing Witch Hunter Robin because it's somewhat of a Halloweenish theme. It's a series we wanted to look at for a while.
It's like a gothic thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we
And it involves the Tanner's favorite religion, the Catholics.
we picked it a while ago, and Tanner was like, "I'm gonna start watching right now," and I was like, "Well, you better not forget anything." And we actually had to delay this recording a bit, so it's even
Yes.
farther back. So he's probably gonna forget something, and when he does, I'll have the rights to beat him. So
All right. Well,
I look forward to
time
it.
to test me. Let's go.
We got the mask too.
Mm.
Mm.
Yes, Pigeon Man is with us.
No, he doesn't speak.
He jumped out the window apparently.
No,
Trying to
he
think.
went to sell some drugs.
No, if
Well,
anything
you sure
else,
he took the Bible with him?
Yeah, I know.
if anything else of note, anyone wants to say, or
I'm just glad that we're probably. I'm hoping to bust this out before the 31st.
Well,
we'll
if-
see.
Just depends.
if we're talking about what happened in life, well, today apparently everybody at my work, in my department, tried to scare me, but it didn't work because I wasn't awake.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Like, I freezer pull, so that means anything that's already baked and it's already packaged, I gotta go through it and put it out for sale, right?
Yeah.
And I have them on these 2 racks, and the first one I see a big black rat with red eyes, and I'm like, I see it, I'm like, I look at them with a deadpan face. I'm like, are you guys trying to scare me?
Oh no, it's just like must be nothing.
Must be new.
Must be
No.
nothing.
Then later,
Is that a rat or am I just tired?
then
I'm
I see
tired.
another one. Like, I'm like, oh, there's another one.
It's
like, and then
they're
I-
breeding.
And
Oh
it's
my
a
god.
small one though, but I'm like, how many of these did you guys put around? So those two, those are like their first 2 attempts and it fails. So I had to go to the bathroom, but before I could even start, they immediately knock on the door and they're all like, "You have a phone call," and I'm like, "This couldn't fucking wait. This couldn't fucking wait."
It's
So
a rat.
I go, and then I just see my coworker there with a clown mask.
Oh.
She jumps at me, and I'm like, "Can I help you?" Though she did succeed in scaring my uncle and a kid.
Ah,
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
mm.
I hope.
So after that, they went on break. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna show them how to do it right. So I got a skeleton spider that we sell, and I put like 2 zip ties to make it hang, and I got a magnet and a clip, and so I hung it in the right when you go into the freezer door,
Oh.
and I just played the waiting game. And I'm like,
And
In
now
my
we
head,
play the
though,
waiting game.
one of my coworkers is pregnant. I'm like, I hope she's not the one. Who's...
Oh,
It's like she's far along, like she could be due any minute. But I'm like, I hope she's not the one that gets scared. And then I don't know if the baby comes out.
just induces labor.
Yes, and then I'm like, oh, it's such of a shit show that I wanted.
I mean, that
Oh
would be
my
a tale to
God.
tell,
Oh my
man.
God.
The Halloween season where you scared someone to have labor.
I know.
Scared him to death.
No, see, then that would be on me because then my boss would murder me because she doesn't want that to happen yet.
I'm just picturing it's just like they tried to scare me. I wanted to do it better.
So luckily the one who was trying to scare me with the clown mask saw it and she screamed.
Nice.
So I took it down, but what they didn't know, I put it in our cooler where we keep our fruits and cheese and all that. And the same thing happened again. So I pressed my luck, and I pranked the closer.
Oh no.
I put a rat in a drawer where he throws his keys and his wallet. I never removed the spider from the cooler. And that's where we have the French bread that he has to bake in the afternoon. And then I hid one where the French bread bags are. So the first one he bumps into is the spider. Then 45 minutes later, he sees the rat, the one in his drawer.
That's funny.
And then after that, he's gonna pull the French bread bags out. He thought the last one was like a price gun, but no, it was a rat, and he freaked. So I had an enjoyable day of scaring people.
Did you name the rat?
Which one?
Either, any of them.
Yeah, I called the big one Big Smoke,
Uh-huh.
and I called the little one Little Smoke.
Nice.
Little smoke.
Mm.
Well, see,
It was either Big Devil and Little Devil, but
they didn't.
by the way, the big one is actually named Little Smoke, and the small one's Big Smoke.
Oh.
That's funny. That's perfect.
Well, that just reminds me of. There was like a screenshot of like a text someone sent. It's like the suicide prevention hotline.
Uh huh.
that's a funny way to start a
I was
joke.
like, why are you laughing with it?
But no, it was like hello, you've reached like because it's a screenshot of the text like hello, you've reached the suicide prevention hotline. How can I help you? And then someone sent a picture of Biggie Cheese. And it's like hello, this is Biggie Cheese. Or maybe the order was reversed or something. I can't remember. It was just I have it somewhere on my phone. It was just like
Okay.
I need help.
and he's got this big smile. He's like, "Oh, Biggie Cheese." Why don't you know what that's from? But it's like just a.
You don't know what Biggie Cheese is from?
No.
It's Barnyard.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Shaggy!
Well, see, that was coming out when I was already
Yes.
too old to be watching cartoons.
Are you kidding me? That's not really. It's like a half cartoon. Like
With life lessons.
Yeah, the guys get
It's-
milked.
Never abandon your dad.
yes.
You know, I just follow a Twitter and it's like wild cartoon moments, and they just did a screenshot of like I'm guessing it's the Barnyard Game or something, one of them.
Yes.
And it's just the rat was like, and his caption is like, "It's time for you guys to get milked."
No, Pig is like, I'm waiting for you behind the barn.
Yeah.
That was funny too.
But
Wow.
on the subject of scares, like, does anyone have like Halloween memories that they'd like to share for the good people?
You first, Brandon.
I got one in case you guys don't. So.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not scary. It's just kind of more of a nostalgia
doesn't have
core
to be
memory.
scary.
Yeah.
But
You just
when
wait,
I was
Carlos.
younger, I actually don't remember how old I was, but it was the Halloween season. My aunt bought me a Harry Potter robe costume, and we were going to scout out my uncle's wedding venue, and it was like somewhere like near Rio Doso, so it was like really cold. It was a woodsy area, and it's just like it felt so like I don't know. I love like that like feeling of cold woodsy like, and it was rainy and damp, and just like
Ah.
it's a core memory, and just like I want that again.
Well, it's pretty cold.
Let's go rent a cabin
Yeah,
out in the woods.
but
So I know what?
Let's go.
Let's go rent a cabin out in the woods. Experience that moment.
I already got one. We can just go there.
Well, yeah,
It's
but
not-
that's
it's not
too
out in the
safe and
woods.
secure
Yeah,
because it's
too
familiar.
safe.
We want to be in the unfamiliar.
Let's just go into the woods.
Okay.
I'll leave
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll
Okay.
leave a trail with gas.
Has anybody seen that video of the guy fighting the bear off the mountain?
Yes.
That's incredible.
yeah.
And I get why he's making the noise, but it's like his noise is pretty annoying. It would ward me away.
We also
I
had
did-
an accent on it.
Yeah.
So
He's racist.
I didn't listen to it with audio. I just saw it with.
Who, me?
just the
no,
video.
I heard it
No,
with
the guy
cartoon
who fights the
sounds.
bear.
Oh.
And it was funny.
Oh, he's racist against the bear because he doesn't want the bear to kill him. Okay.
The bear like
He
juggernauted
was a
from the
black
top
bear.
of the mountain.
Oh,
It was great.
hush.
Okay. So is that all, Brandon?
Yeah. Just like that. That's
you
everything.
haven't felt that feeling in a while.
Correct.
We'll take you out in the middle of nowhere.
It's not the middle of nowhere specifically. It was like
Specifically
near
cold.
it's like near a chapel, I think.
We'll take you to church.
A church near a woods that is rainy and damp and fall.
And not usable.
Hey, we're in the season, so.
Yeah.
Get out of my church. Whoa. Excuse me.
Whoa.
This is my church.
Whoa. Things got real.
All right. You want me to go or you want to go, Carlos?
Were you the one there with the when we went through the corn maze?
I was there as well.
There's
Oh,
multiple
no.
corn. I have
The
3
one
corn
where
mazes.
we were there.
If you're
I have
talking
3
about
corn
the
maze
moment I'm
stories.
thinking,
Yes.
Tanner and I were both there.
Okay.
I believe so. What do you remember of that? I'll let you start and see if I.
We went as a group. I know it was Carlos, me, Tanner, and some other folks.
Did we have women with us that night too?
No,
Different time.
No,
different
women.
time. You went a couple times. This is the only time I ever went to the corn maze.
Okay.
And we were going to the corn maze, and I remember I was the rear, and I had my hand, I think it was on Carlos's shoulder, who was in
Yeah.
front of me, so that I could watch behind us as we were moving forward.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're talking about the time when like the person with the mask was like
Yes.
talking to you. Okay, then you can take over. Rowan.
Yeah. Tell me, Carlos.
It's like we were looking at the map, right? And that's when that clown that's supposed to jump scare you,
Yes,
right?
in the center of the maze, they have the map on a screen, and you can look at it, but you can only look at it so far, and then the light turns off, and then the guy pops out and tries to scare you.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, when we made that turn, I see a little Myers,
A little Mike Myers.
a little Michael Myers,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
wearing a mask, and then
bless you.
Sorry.
if I remember correctly, that Michael Myers had a problem with me wearing a mask.
What were you wearing?
Mask.
I don't know what that means.
Just the typical mask that would go right here to your nose.
Oh, so like a
Almost like a ninja mask. in
ninja
sense.
mask. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Because they can't see your gestures. That's all. You
Yeah.
gotta describe it.
Yeah, and then... Well, didn't that one get upset?
Well, they weren't upset. What I remember is you two stared each other down for like a minute
Yeah.
before either of you spoke, and then they were like, "Why are you wearing a mask?" And then I don't remember your response. And then they said something like, "Well, you shouldn't wear a mask." And then you said, "I don't remember that being part of the deal," or something like that.
Oh, yeah. It's because, like, first of all,
That's
they don't
awesome.
tell you what you can and cannot wear. So I just went there just because I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a ninja through this. I'm going to go through
Right.
this maze like a ninja.
Yeah.
So then I just stared down because I was like, is this supposed to scare me?
Yeah, they were like young,
Yeah.
Hello, little one.
12 at the most, if I had to guess.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were probably, because I know a family runs that. They're probably one of their kids or something.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was hilarious because then they tell me that it's like I'm wearing the mask and then I'm like that whole conversation, but then I know that I don't know if it was young, so I don't know if it's a girl or a boy.
Is that the same year your brother was with us and kind of doing the same thing?
Probably.
Where he was going through and it's just like, you're not scary. You can't scare me. I just
Yeah.
thought that was so funny because it's just like, you really think that's going to work? Ooh. It's like,
Maybe.
oh my God.
I know.
I know Ryan was. I know
Yeah.
Ryan was there for that, but
It
I don't
was-
know.
if that was the same
Yeah.
year, but I remember that happening and I thought it was funny
Yeah,
because it's just like, you don't have to be so obvious about it. It's funny.
All I remember is like after that whole exchange between me and the 12-year-old kid,
Yeah.
all I really remember is I just looked at him and I just was pulling down my mask slowly towards them, and then I walked off.
I mean, your story is better than mine. I don't think you were there for this, but when we went to the corn maze.
I wasn't part of the
We
deal.
took 2 ladies there and Roy, and I believe we got into the maze and we thought everything. I'm not afraid of any of that crap. It's just I know what it is. We get in there, they start freaking out. Everybody starts freaking out, and it's like, oh my god, no, and it's just like, oh shit.
well,
I had
that
to,
makes
like-
it more fun, though.
Not really. Not when they're actually having panic attacks.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
Like they're acting like we gotta get out of the maze now. We gotta get out of the maze now. And it's like, oh my god. So I ran ahead, found the way out, and dragged everybody out. And it's just like great. I mean, it's cool that I did that, but it's just
Yeah.
You performed a Dr. Grant.
yes.
You left them.
I left them
He
just
left
so
us?
I could. It's not what I'm
I feel like I have an experience.
you
kind of
you got
I
it
have
right.
to leave.
But that's not what I'm gonna do. That's how you do it.
Come on.
I think it's
Come on.
whenever-
I have to go right now.
I felt the tension whenever whenever they had that. Just the engine of the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And when I
that's
saw that,
a-
I'm like, that ain't scary.
that's a trope.
I
that
want to
they-
get in one of those that I've seen online where they like chase you around the freaking house. Like that just seems like it would be fun.
I want to try like a more high end like haunted house where it's like a lot of efforts into it.
Like where
kind of
they
thing.
actually, I don't want them to torture me, but I'd like them to at least try to get me. Like that should be the game. Is just you're trying to not get caught.
Yeah,
And if you
it's
get
an
caught,
actual,
they take you to a place and you're pretty much done.
yeah.
But you can try to get out if you want to.
Yeah, and that was I think that's the problem with the maze we went to in particular. Is like even if you are caught, it's like nothing happens. Like pretty much just walk away.
Well, yeah, it's just meant to. It's just scary.
Yeah,
It's a scary corn maze, not like
It's
an
not-
art.
it's not something to win or
something-
lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an escape room,
yeah.
which that just I don't know. It just sounds like fun to me.
Hmm.
But as for Halloween memories, besides that one, I remember a long time ago. I think I wore the red Teletubby outfit when I was a kid. Oh, what?
What?
Boy, why are you giving me that look?
I'm not giving you any look.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You're just like that boy. Watch that show. I know that's why he.
Oh, I
way he is.
didn't. So
Oh, it was decent.
I was a Barney kid.
I was too. I watched everything. I watched all sorts of stuff. The comfy couch.
If you remember last episode,
Yes. Anyway, the only other thing like deep in my memory, I mean, I've always gone trick or treating. We always did all that. That was fun. I don't remember every costume I wore, but I remember watching we actually had a Halloween party, I think, at my house. We did Bob for Apples. And we watched the Ronald McDonald Halloween thing, the cartoon one.
Mhm.
I actually really liked that cartoon and hate there was only like 5 episodes of that thing. Because it just was really unique because you got to see inside Ronald McDonald's house. You got to see his dog. I think his dog's name is Wednesday. Don't recall.
I remember
Or
that being a
It
thing,
could be
but
Sunday.
I didn't watch it.
I think it's Sunday. That would make more sense because it's food related. But anyway, it just was really cool to watch that. Yeah, that's like deep memories. Other than that, I think we've always hung out and done something. Remember the one time we went to Cielo, and we had our costumes on. Were you there for that?
Yes, was Edgar there?
Yes.
Okay, yes. There's a picture of that somewhere
There is.
in the ether.
I think we've been doing stuff for Halloween.
That might have been when I
For a
almost
while.
knocked myself out.
Maybe.
But
It's hard. It all kind of
basically,
bleeds
we
together.
for that to go off that, we went to a park and we were dressed in our Halloween costumes, and I had a mask from Bleach, the Hollow mask,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was wearing it. And the way it was, like, I can't have my glasses on, and the mask restricts my eyesight, so I'm damn near blind. I think we're playing tag basically,
Yes.
and we were on top of the jungle gym, and we're trying to be like, cool, suave tag about not necessarily running from each other, but like trying to sneak up on each other and tag them, like even if we're like right next to each other. And I don't know who I was reaching for. It was someone. It was one of you guys. And I thought I got him. I got close enough where they're not going to think about it. They forgot I was it. And with all my might, I reached forward and I just absolutely beamed a metal pole,
Oh.
like right into my
Ah.
chest. And I felt like it was the first time I've ever been hit, like anywhere other than my head, where it felt for a second like I was about to black out.
Knocked the wind out of you.
Yeah, I was coughing for a long time after that.
Didn't you
I'm
guys do
sorry.
a video there?
We did.
We did, but that's a different.
Bleach,
thing.
Bleach, the terror of Sailor Ground.
It was.
Oh, okay,
It's-
yeah.
that's
That
still
was
literally
what it's called.
But no,
it was at that park,
yeah,
and you were in your.
Stupid video.
It was for that time where I knocked myself out. It was Tanner, you were Mario.
Yes.
Edgar was Juanito.
Yes.
Ryan, I think, was like his OC,
Yes.
and then I was basically Ichigo because I had the mask and the sword. I have a Tetsu Zangetsu from
Oh.
Bleach that is too big. It is too long because it's taller than me standing up. I'm about 6'3".
At least you don't have his regular sword. Good God.
Well, it's that size of. That's what it should be. Like it's Bankai sword, but it's essentially the length of his, Shikai.
Yes.
So it's like this thing is too goddamn long, and it's a bitch to get around. And I remember putting it in your car and having to lay it in between the seats
Yeah.
because there's nowhere else to do it.
Do you think that was better or worse than the sign?
Better than the sign.
Okay.
I never took the Tetsu Zangetsu like to a con or anything.
Where is that?
That's
It's a
just like
handicap
it's-
sign.
Oh, it's in my backyard.
What, did you just have it posted?
No, it's just like laying next to the
I
shed.
cement it out.
I'd get it. I'd get it buried.
It's laying next to the shed because we don't have any room.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's fair. It
Or
was
the garage.
long, so
I'd put it in the yard, man. I'd post it up.
God.
Funny.
have it in
Take
the
Take a picture
yard.
of it.
The greats. Like, are we talking about that one he took from what was
Yes.
it, Dollar Tree?
Stop incriminating me.
No, I thought. Okay, no.
Well,
sorry.
plenty of us will be incriminated, but I think
thought you were talking about the show
well, no,
that he was
isn't it,
cosplaying from.
no.
the time frame. What was it called when it's
It was
like?
like
statute of limitations.
Yes, that is.
I don't know, but
It was like
Sorry,
the great
I'm gonna see.
sign heist.
I
guess.
thought he was talking about the show, and it's just like, what are you cosplaying from that show? Dollar Tree? The Dollar Tree? And so we're talking about Durara. So
yeah,
it's
because
like,
the dollars.
I thought you
No.
were being a boomer there for a second.
But I don't know.
What
if
is this
we-
anime
we-
Dollar
It's not
Tree?
necessarily a Halloween memory, but for our first con in New Mexico, the first time I cosplayed, I was going to be Shizuo from Durara.
Uh-huh.
And he likes to tear up street signs and throw them. And it was in front of one of the stores here in town. Someone had knocked over the handicap sign. They ran right into it, and it was laying there on the sidewalk for like 5 months solid. And we were like, that'd be perfect. And I think it was me, Tanner, Brandon, and then Sam and Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In the middle of the night, we ran up, we picked it up, we got into your car, and then we took it home. And then I took it for it was Sabaku, the first Sabaku in 2013.
And in your defense, the city did nothing about it.
It was on the ground for, like I said, 5-6 months. But then when we took it, they got a replacement finally, like 3 weeks after. I'm not kidding. I remember that specifically.
That's dumb though. They probably replaced it because somebody took it.
Yeah. Because they were like,
Oops.
we'll get to it eventually or something like that. But then like, well, shit,
Oh,
now we got
shoot.
to actually replace it. But,
Oh no.
but
well- Great.
Oh no.
Thank you. You created change in the city.
Oh no.
And it looks like the statutes of limitations is like 3 years, so we're good.
Oh,
okay. Okay.
Oh, no.
Then. So for Halloween memories for me, I guess I just have 2 more or less that stand out. Well,
All
maybe
right.
3. But my first I know specifically what it was Halloween 99 because I was Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Phantom Menace had just come out.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
And we're going around trick-or-treating. Of course, not in my neighborhood because my neighborhood was bad. So we went to the good neighborhood.
Oh.
So with the rich street rats.
Yes.
Probably came to my house.
Full size candy bars.
It probably would have been decently around you, honestly.
My street, yeah, probably.
It was over in that area. Or maybe not. I can't remember. It's been a while. But anyway, you're going along. I'm going along. You know how some houses have like dummies, like straw dummies that they put on the porches and all that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We went to one house and there was one of them, and I can't even remember what I said, but it was like, oh, it's another one of these. And I had a lightsaber, plastic one. And I tapped against the dummy's chest, and then we rang the doorbell and I was sitting there waiting. And then he stood up
Oh.
because it's a guy. And he stood up and was like, oh.
Like that?
Yeah, kind of.
Hey, here's this loud.
And it,
Oh!
no.
Just like Faith
I
Whale
wish.
Santa.
But of course, I screamed and I fell on the ground because
Yeah.
I was a little 8-year-old, and I was like, oh. And I almost, because they also had like a fake hand on the ground with lots of fake blood around it. I almost
Ooh.
fell right into that.
Oh,
Ew.
no.
So that would have been fun.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, he because he was also like one that was like missing a head or something, or like the head was in the lap. Like he had a fake head in his lap, but like the torso was really big. So like if you
So
think
that's
about
like
it,
his head,
Yeah.
actual head.
so if you think about it, like I should have been able to tell it was probably a dude, but they make the straw people deformed. So
Yeah.
it's like you wouldn't know. But
Right.
yeah, he laughed at me and then he helped me out. Yeah.
So stupid kid.
And I was just like, and looking
Aw.
back, I'm just like, yeah, you really got it over on the 8-year-old dude.
Right. Yeah.
That's well, I mean, people get their kick. It's Halloween. Come on, you got to give them.
White
bit.
dads. Just kidding.
He probably was. I don't remember seeing his face, but he probably was. The next memory I have was like one year. It was just like coming down the wire for my Halloween costume. I was a bit older. I think I was like 11, maybe younger than that. And we didn't know what I was gonna do. And we were like, my parents were like, well, we don't really want to take you trick or treating. So we're like, it was like some church or maybe it was the community center was having some event. And like, well, we'll just take you to that. And like they didn't know what to do for my costume, so like they just had like a bin of like bargain Halloween stuff, and I just put on that. It was like a black.
Here's a bed sheet.
It was like
Cut some holes.
a bad quality like black robe and like this wig that was like black with like white streaks, and then they like painted my face white,
Oh.
and then they were like, "You're a warlock."
Well,
There you go.
that's funny. Did you get a stick?
No, it
You
was
didn't
just, that
even
was
get
all
a
it was.
stick to cast magic
No,
with?
No.
My God.
So we went
Sadness.
to the event, and I spent the vast majority of the time doing what is called a cakewalk, if you know what that is.
Did you win?
I'm getting to that. But pretty much a cakewalk, it's like a big circle, and they have spaces. It's kind of like a board, a game board. And you walk around so many spaces. Someone usually has a wheel that they spin. It's like 3 spaces. Okay, everyone has to move 3 spaces. And then they have some other thing that determines which one is the winner for that round. And, you know, if you're in space 4, then you've won. And then you get to pick a cake. Because the whole thing is like they have people make cakes, and then those are the prizes.
Uh-huh.
And if only, because at the most, only like 5-6 people are doing it, and there's like 20 spaces. So like there isn't always even a winner. So I was on that cakewalk, I kid you not, for like 90 minutes
Oh.
trying to win a cake.
Oh.
Because it was getting close to me, and it got to the point where I was literally the only one doing it. And the guy kept going and going and going until finally, I don't remember if I actually won or if he was like, "Oh, kid, just took a cake." But it was like a really shitty, like, I think it was supposed to be like a graveyard kind of thing.
So there were tombstones.
It was like little tombstones, and like I remember just tasting bad.
Ugh,
It was
that
like,
sucks.
and it was like 90% icing. Like the cake was like buried beneath all the icing. They globbed onto it.
I was going to say, you got the shit cake.
Yeah, I got the last one picked because when you won, you didn't. There wasn't like a specific cake you signed to you. You just went up there and grabbed one.
Grabbed one. Oh man.
I wish it was a cake that just says, thanks for trying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, he should just have one just in case.
And then my only other like Halloween memory that comes to mind vividly, it's kind of in tune with yours, Brandon, of more like the aesthetic of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the last years, like the years I ever like did Halloween, for like the last 3 or 4 years, I got lazy with the costumes because I was usually like, oh, I got to be something new every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then I was like, fuck it, I'm Jason. I'll be Jason for 4 years in a row because so like I got the hockey mask, and it was a glow in the dark one, and I got the machete that's full of blood.
Nice.
It has like the blood on the inside.
Yeah.
And then I got like a big sweater. It was like not even a hockey sweater. It had numbers on it. It was like 00 or something.
Yeah.
And I got like fake blood from like maybe the Spirit of Halloween if it came that year, or just the mall or Walmart or something.
I'm so glad they came back here.
And
Mhm.
I just it was just a moment where I went outside and it was fall and the leaves were everywhere, and it was like kind of chilly, and it was all the aesthetic. And I laid the sweater on the ground, and I was splattering blood all over it.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So yeah.
Nice.
You did trigger a memory while talking about that. I
Yeah.
actually remember it's somewhere, I think in Texas, and we took a field trip to it a couple times. But I don't know why, but my mom took me to that science place.
The
Where-
science place?
The science place where they have all those experiments for kids to mess with.
Is it here?
I think
Space
it's on the
camp?
way to Texas. No, not space camp. There's like it's like an exploratorium kind of place.
Mm.
And we've taken field trips to it. And I remember I was dressed up as Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean, and we went there. No, I still have the mask and everything.
Oh
Amazing.
man.
I still have it. I just haven't found a use for it. It's just I
What do
should
you
wear it
mean?
Monday. I
You
should break it out.
wear it in your daily life.
Look at me. I'm a squid. I'm an octopi.
Lips go.
You can't whisper in these for some reason.
Oh.
But anyway, like there's this. Yes. I don't know. Anyway, let me get back to the story. So like, I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it's like it's on the way to Texas. It's somewhere. I've always
Sure
remembered
it
it being in
is.
Texas.
It's not just in your head, Tanner. We believe you.
It's a real place, but it has all sorts of hands-on science experiment stuff.
Well, that's cool.
And I don't know if y'all have ever been to it,
I don't think so.
and that's fine if you haven't. But
It
it's
sounds
a really
familiar.
kick-ass
I
place.
don't think I've ever been to something like that, but like the concept, I feel like I've heard of it.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yes, it's just a big building with lots of different science stuff, and it teaches kids how to do stuff and teaches.
Did it
science.
also have like a playground?
Maybe.
Okay.
I think it has an IMAX theater in it,
Boy.
but I've been to like plenty of different museums that it all kind of bleeds together.
Right, yeah.
Mm.
I like the ones with the animatronic dinosaurs, but those, oh my god! Has anybody actually seen the ones that they have now? Like the ones that they have now, they actually march them out and they actually look and move realistically.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm like, damn, y'all are lucky if you're a kid right now.
Right.
I can't wait till it's like, Jurassic Park for real, Except they actually have generators, backup
Chris Pratt.
generators.
Chris Pratt.
What you mean? You mean Chris Pratt?
So I have a
Chris
quick
Pratt.
comment on
What's
your first story about how
Yeah.
you go into the corn maze. No, not comment on your story, but I have something very
No.
similar.
Yeah.
Where it was like 2012, I think.
You mean the end of the world?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But it was like I was hanging out with like one person I graduated with who was with her boyfriend and this other girl that I was interested in at the time. And they convinced me to go to a haunted house. I don't like haunted houses because I was like, I don't like it. But I was like, okay, with 4 of us, I am confident going in. We're in line in queue, and then we get into literally the first hallway of this haunted house, and it was here. It was like really like well done. And Sarah and her boyfriend Austin at the time were like, or Sarah starts having a panic attack, so Austin walks her out. So it's just literally me and my friend, and I was just like, oh, this sucks. It's only 2 people and like this giant haunted house, and like, I mean, it was like. At the time, obviously, I was like, cool, it's just me and her, but like also like it's less of us because strength in numbers, But yeah.
It should be that way.
Yeah.
And since you just triggered a memory of mine that
Oh boy.
I'm gonna go ahead
We're
and talk
triggering
about.
each other.
So when I was up in Albuquerque, they have one. I think they have 2 different haunted houses. There's one out in the middle of, like, on the way back from Albuquerque to here, like between Klein's and Albuquerque. There's one way out there, but we didn't end up going to that one. There was one in town that I actually waited in line for. Me and my roommate at the time, Will, we went, and it's one of those that you walk through, but it's like, it's really well done. Like, there was a huge line. We waited 40 minutes, kind of like a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody went through it. I just remember how really well done it was, and like it was really fun. Like, I love experiences like that. Like, it's very interactive, and they're trying to scare you. And I mean, I don't remember being scared. There was just one part where we actually had to crawl underneath this structure, right? And it's really dark, and it's like there's no way of figuring out where the hell you're going, right?
Oh, jeez.
And it's like, I'm already a pretty big person, so it's like it's very claustrophobic, and I don't have any problems with that, but it was just that I don't think it was very well built. Like, there was wood, and I don't know if there were nails sticking out. Like, we had to be very careful, and I was just like, oh my god, this isn't very safe. And it's like, me and Will just kind of sat in a corner in the dark for a bit just to get our bearings, and then we got out, but it was like that was probably like the only part that was like, you guys really needed to make sure that people could find their way
Right.
out.
Yeah.
Like, they need some sort. Like, I understand the dark part. It's supposed to be, it's disorienting, it's confusing, but it's
Yeah.
like you could really get somebody hurt this way.
yeah.
But was it good? Great, yeah. It's supposed to be
Not
that
to
way.
mention, like, if it's something
That was the
you
only
got to
thing
crawl through, not everyone can do that.
Right,
In
yeah.
general. So
I mean, nobody signed a waiver or nothing, but it was just one of those. I think it's 18 plus. It was supposed to be.
If you die, you
For-
die.
Yeah.
was the TwitchCon foam pit at the end?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we came out of.
Oh God.
No, I
Oh,
can
no
just.
wonder it was so hard. It was 10 underneath that whole thing.
Shut up.
Tanner went to TwitchCon and he was just the
was-
stuffing at the bottom
the
of
bar,
the
I'm just-
foam pit.
Like, I'm just picturing like somebody photoshopped my face to the TwitchCon pit and
Oh,
just like I'm ready.
No, it's like
Land on me.
now
Oh,
the
no.
DashCon ball pit finally has a worthy adversary.
Squish me.
But the DashCon ball pit didn't hurt anyone.
That's true.
Oh boy.
That was
But
cool
yeah.
hearing
Well,
some
a
of
nice
your guys'
little
stories.
stroll down memory lane of
Yeah.
the Halloween time, and now
Oh,
I think it's
spooky.
time to take a bit of a look at Witch Hunter Robin.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite animes of all time.
Is it still?
Yeah, I would say so. It's still,
Let the man speak.
but yeah, I would say it's still one of my favorites. It just was kind of eye-opening when I like watch it again, and I'm just like, oh god.
Okay.
Oh,
we'll get
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Well, to start, usually I like my facts. Witch Hunter Robin is an original anime by Studio Sunrise,
Yes.
who needs no introduction, but I'll give some anyway.
I forgot.
They were founded in 1972 and since then have made anime such as the original Mobile Suit Gundam,
Ooh.
Dirty-
Okay, now I remember.
Dirty Pair, City Hunter,
Ooh.
Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop, The Big O, Inuyasha, Sergeant Frog, Code Geass.
What?
Sergeant Frog,
Wow.
Code
Frog.
Geass, Tiger and Bunny, and Love Live,
Ooh.
to name a few.
Yeah.
Forgot about Love Live.
What the?
It's still kicking.
What is
Have
Love
I
Live?
seen it?
That's the Big Idol series.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I don't
The
think I've
one that
seen
they
it.
have more iterations of and all that, and so
Okay.
it's a nice array of like Cowboy Bebop and Love Live are technically made by the same studio.
Yeah.
Although Sunrise now I think is officially just part of Bandai. It's not Sunrise anymore. I think it's been consumed essentially.
Absorbed.
Absorbed.
Assimilated.
Yes. Shoko
Assimilated.
Murazi.
What?
Murase.
Let me
Shoko
see.
Murazi. No, you don't get to see
Shoko
it.
Murazi?
They're my facts, not yours.
Shoko
He's all,
Murazi.
no.
Is the director of Witch Hunter Robin and is the biggest contributor to its creation. So if you want to
thank
think
you,
of
Shoko.
Witch Hunter Robin having a singular creator, it would be him because he came up with the basic concept and he wrote the pilot.
All right.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah. it's
He also
okay.
directed Ergo Proxy.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like it looked too familiar.
If you look
Yes.
up like the creators of Witch Hunter Robin, you would see his name next to Hajime Ya Tate.
Today.
Tate.
Hajime Yatate?
I know I'm butchering that. I'm
Hey.
sorry,
No, it's all good.
but that is not an
Tate.
actual
It's
person.
Yatate.
That is a pseudonym
Yatate?
for all of Sunrise, essentially.
Oh.
So any series that has had a lot of input and creation from basically the entire studio, they list that person as a creator.
Oh.
Thank you.
So
Yatate.
Witch Hunter Robin, like I said, while it has him, Shoko, as like, quote unquote the creator, it's a collaboration. It's not. It doesn't come from a singular person. The series aired from July 2nd, 2002 to December 24th, 2002.
Yeah.
Other series that started airing as Robin was airing include Ghost in the Shell, Standalone
Ooh.
Complex,
Ooh.
Naruto,
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
Chobits,
No.
and Azumanga Daioh.
I thought it was going to
That one sounds familiar. I don't really recall that one.
That's the one with the cat that says, "Hello, everyone."
Oh.
That's what
That's a
that's
Yeah,
from.
okay.
if I'd seen it.
How
Who-
are you? Fine, thank you.
Fine, thank you.
I'm sure it's a good show. I just haven't seen it.
Have you watched
next,
it?
Azumanga Daioh?
Next
Yeah.
review.
Is that the same one?
I've
as the
seen.
meme?
Yeah.
I want to say I've seen like the vast majority of it. I
Oh,
don't think
wow.
I've seen them all. Who here thinks they can guess what the #1 movie on the day that Witch Hunter Robin first debuted was?
In 2002?
2002. Spider-Man?
Spider-Man
2?
Was it
Spider-Man 2.
Star Wars movie?
Harry Potter? I don't know.
Are those your guesses?
Yeah.
It was Men in Black 2.
Really? That
That
one?
did good.
Yes. On the week, July
It was
2nd,
all right.
2002, at least in the US, the #1 film was Men in Black 2.
Wow.
Interesting. I wouldn't have
The
expected
#1
that.
movie of the year was Spider-Man.
Oh,
Sam
okay.
Raimi being
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
We all watched that.
Other notable films to come out while Witch Hunter Robin was airing include The Ring,
Oh,
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets,
Ah.
there's the Harry Potter.
There's one.
Signs,
Oh.
Yeah.
and Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Attack of the Clones also came out, but earlier in the year.
Oh, okay. I was like, there was probably a Star Wars
Yeah.
movie then.
Who here thinks they can guess the #1 song on the day that Witch Hunter Robin came out?
I don't know enough about 2000
Oh,
music.
Witch Hunter Robin opening
2002?
theme.
I have it. I got it. 'cause
It's a
I
good
liked
one.
it.
Yeah, that's one that was always on my iPod. And now
Breaking
my,
a Habit?
my phone.
No.
Ooh.
Oh, would it? Yeah, could it be a Linkin
Youth of the
Park
Nation.
You Linkin Park.
No.
Song?
simp.
Oh, yeah, it could.
Any other guesses?
No.
I
like
want to
said.
take one more shot at
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Let's see. If he's wrong, we're gonna hit him.
Let's see, 2000. What?
No, go ahead.
No, we got the beating stick. You see, if you're wrong in this, then we get to beat you. Yeah.
What?
You're fine. Just answer.
Okay. Let me see. Dirt Off Your Shoulders by Jay-Z?
No.
Oh no.
It's all right.
It was Hot in Here by Kelly.
Oh.
And I didn't realize at the time.
So hot.
But in that song, here is not spelled as here.
It's
It is
her.
spelled he, Herre.
It's her.
Yes.
It's getting hot in
Her.
That's that
In
song.
her.
But that is how it was officially spelled in the song.
I hate
Oh
that.
wow!
It's like
This.
that's
Is it
not
because
English.
he can't say here? He has to say it like
No,
that.
it's just it's an accent.
It's edgy.
It's a type of.
Isn't
I don't know if it was.
Yeah,
It's
no, I don't
slang.
think it's edgy. I
Is
just
that
wanted
like
to
a
say that.
southern accent? or-
No, it's just slang.
Getting hot in her.
Other notable songs to come out while Witch Hunter Robin was airing. You see, now I'm doing it specifically songs that came out or movies that came out
Oh,
when
no,
it
No,
was
I
airing.
like that.
Not just the year itself.
If you
Yeah.
appreciate Matthew's facts, please comment and tell us.
Like,
comment, like, and subscribe.
Everybody's just like her.
Yes, please comment her.
Just her.
Clicks dislike.
Oh.
Other notable songs include "Lose Yourself" by Eminem, "A Moment Like This" by Kelly Clarkson, and "Complicated" by Avril Lavigne.
Oh, that's a good one.
What's your favorite song? Her.
"In the Inn" by Linkin Park was
Oh.
also
You were close.
I was
You were
was
on the-
re-released this year as a single.
Ooh.
Although the album originally came out in 2000,
Okay.
but it did reach number 7 on the top 100 of the year.
God, Linkin Park's that old?
Yes.
They-
Well, I didn't listen to them
their
until
first album
high
was
school,
what, in
though.
the late 80s, wasn't it? Or early 90s?
Early 90s.
My
Hybrid
gosh.
theory.
Yeah, but like I didn't hear their music until high school, which was about 2006,
I heard them. in
2007.
I found them when Breaking a Habit came out.
Right, but
So
I guess
whenever
you
Meteor
found them
Aurora
before
came
I
out-
did. I found them when LimeWire came out.
Right.
Oh, I remember. Remember the viruses?
'Cause,
I was a Pirate Bay
an
boy.
old high school friend
Dude.
was actually burned me a CD of music, which was really cool.
But yeah, that's a bit of what the world was like when Witch Hunter Robin entered the
Yeah,
world.
LimeWire burning discs.
When it was born.
For all those listeners who weren't born around the time that was
I know we're talking
Yeah,
about a
we're talking
20-year-old
about-
series,
About them
which is another good
CDs.
reason. Another good reason why we're reviewing it now, because this year is its 20th anniversary.
Oh, cool.
Really?
What was the release date?
Yeah.
2002.
That means none,
No,
of, my,
like,
none
the
of my
actual
students
day,
were
July
alive.
2nd, 2002.
Holy crap.
Y'all were fetuses. Y'all was. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
Y'all know what they
But
was.
my students were not even a thing
They
when
were
this came out.
They were a
Twinkles in their
concept.
parents' eyes.
They were the horny.
Oh God.
Bonk. Horny man.
Okay, so
But then they wouldn't exist.
Oh, yeah.
do we want to do like our general thoughts first before we get into more details?
Yeah.
I'd like to
Okay.
hear you guys' first because mine's going to be biased.
Okay,
Okay,
then
fine.
who would like to go first other than Brandon?
Because you already know it's one of my
Okay,
favorites. So.
Tanner, please give us your thoughts.
Okay. We're not repeating that
It's
video.
like, no.
I had to send that photo just for all of y'all right now.
Oh, he sent us the
gosh.
photo,
He
and
sent us
we're
a
looking
photo
at
that
it.
y'all don't get to look
we'll,
at.
we'll tell you what it is.
Oh, dude, it's just Ina. That's
It's a
not a
nice
big
picture.
deal.
Say what does it say, Tanner?
This is horny police. Open up. I'm not gonna open up for you. That's gross. Oh, you mean open the door? Okay. Sorry.
Next
Sorry.
thing you know, the SWAT team comes in.
Oh God.
Okay.
Okay, now we've devolved into sending each other's
Okay.
pictures.
Oh, I thought you said now we've devolved to sinning.
I'm gonna give my opinion
It's just
while
like,
Andy does what he does.
Isn't that what everybody does?
So
All of
I
sin.
see similarities. with
Okay,
other-
Carlos.
Wait a minute. What the hell?
What?
I was going first.
Too
What the? Let me see
All
what
right.
bitch.
All right.
Okay, rock paper scissors.
Do it.
Let's see.
On three.
Wait.
So rock, paper, scissors. I beat you.
Fine.
All right.
Tanner.
I got paper. He got rock. We got witnesses.
Yes.
It's the facts.
I mean, we could both lie
Okay.
and say you cheated.
So first
He
off,
did. He pulled out a
I
gun.
had never heard about this series probably until you.
Uh-huh.
I think you brought it up once, and I remember hearing about it, but I didn't watch it. Never watched it. It's
Yeah.
just something that you said, oh yeah, no, that's a good series. The reason I knew about it was because I listened to composer Iwasaki Taku, who's also the composer of Witch Hunter Robin, Soul Eater, Gurren Lagann.
Oh.
I'm very into anime
Weeb.
OSTs. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh come on, you listen to anime music all the time. It's not a big deal.
Quick.
What?
I was gonna say quick question.
Yes.
Quick question.
Quick question.
How come this one makes me love? Like I love this one more than the one from Ergo Proxy, because I'm like, oh, this one actually makes me like get invested, while the other ones make me think just go out and start posing in the desert and making like the songs like a Christian song.
Because I think it's the music. Oh, Iwasaki Taku also did a couple other things. I think some JoJo stuff.
Oh wow.
I'm just looking through some things. But yeah, that's where I remember him from. And, you know, after I took a college class about music, one of the things that they recommended was I used to just listen to artists and just the one song that I liked. I didn't actually explore other things that the artist, you know, played. I was usually just, oh, yeah, I like that song. I like that. I never thought, oh, hey, look, internet search engine. I can just look for whatever I want from the same artist. It's also good to wait a few years because, you know, you want to give the artist time to actually make more stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, hey, you wait a few years, new stuff. Cool. Woohoo. So that was one of those things that happened where I looked up the artist, looked up the composer of my favorite stuff, and I found Witch Hunter Robin, and I found Robin's theme. So I've been listening to Robin's theme for a very long time, and I've always liked it, but I've never watched the show because it was just like,
Oh wow.
huh. And there's other shows that I've done that with where I've listened. JoJo's was actually a good example of that. Have I
Was it
told you all that
Moggy
story?
theme for you like that?
Moggy too.
Yeah.
Moggy, because Shiro Sagisu, who does Bleach, Evangelion stuff,
Yeah.
Godzilla, Shin Godzilla specifically. That's how I discovered Moggy as well, because its soundtrack was just, wow, this sounds like a kick-ass show, and it was.
Yeah.
But the music, I feel like the music was a little bit. The music makes it sound better than it actually is. That's just my opinion. You can love Moggy if you want.
Lynch him.
But anyway, so back to Witch Hunter Robin. I've always been listening to that. I've always listened to that theme, and I've always really enjoyed it because it has this air about it, right? I mean, Soul Eater has a specific mood and theme to it, but like Robin's theme, it fits her character to a T. Like it's perfect. And of course, you know, that same motif is used throughout the entire show. I actually thought that this show was going to be more, because I think Iwasaki Taku also does Black Butler soundtrack.
Oh.
I thought this show was going to be more like Black Butler, that it was going to be a bit on the darker edge of things, and it didn't quite hit that mark. It's not super dark. It's just, you know, kid-friendly dark. Like it's mature, but it didn't go the boundaries I thought it would. But then again, I'm also watching it as an adult, and I'm desensitized to everything at this point. So maybe, you know, Brandon might have a bit more of a insight since he watched it when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that'd be my only question is, like, do you feel like, you know, Black Butler's darker than this? Or, like, it's... Because it does deal with more mature themes, but not that... It doesn't, you know, doesn't try to cross any boundaries. It's pretty...
Yeah.
straightforward.
I feel like it kind of goes back and forth just because Black Butler specifically, I think, has more humor in it than I would say Witch Hunter Robin does. Witch Hunter Robin does have it, but it's not like on Black Butler's level.
Black Butler goes a little bit further,
Yeah.
I think, with some of their themes and ideas.
Yeah.
This was a bit more, like I said, not G-rated, but like,
No.
it's not that bad.
It's more
It was tolerable.
grounded.
And it's more wholesome. There's a lot of wholesome crap in this.
Yeah.
That I
There's
really
some
like.
wholesome in Black Butler.
There is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I'm comparing the two, since, like I said, it looks like it could be that kind of show based off the art. It wasn't. That's what surprised me, is that it's like it didn't go that far. It didn't cross that boundary. It was like it was safe. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just my perception before I watched it. Now, did I like it? Well, we'll get there.
All right. I guess Carlos.
Now Carlos can go.
Go next.
Mr. Rock. Dwayne. Black Adam. Let's go.
Black Adam.
Okay. This is.
He's gonna
Sorry,
say.
I thought you were gonna sing his song.
I thought he was gonna say Shazam.
Black Sam. No. I had the same struggle with this one like I did with Ergo Proxy.
Uh-huh.
Like
Oh no, it takes a few episodes
Yeah.
to get into it, because the concept is like, I mean, we'll get into it, but the concept is like they've got witches,
Yeah.
and it's like that's gonna be the whole show, and that's what I thought was gonna happen. I'll keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm glad you confirmed that it was like the same guy or director that did Ergo Proxy because I'm like, okay, now I can see the similarities now.
Yeah, you can see the vibes.
Yeah.
Instead of being in the future, it's just like
It's just sad.
Just modern day.
It's just it's
essentially that times modern day.
it's got that
Yeah.
gray tone, and it's just kind of
I like it. Not don't have to
Yeah.
worry about like don't leave this place. Don't go out to the beyond. And then you just find out there's more people out there, and you gotta experience the weather and the hardships out there.
Who am I?
Who am I?
are
And not go
you?
through an identity crisis.
Well, I mean, you do, but not at that level.
yeah.
Well, not
Anyway.
as bad as him.
But back to Witch Hunter, Robin.
But yeah, it's like a slow startup. But other than that, I feel like, well, I'll give my opinion at the end of it. But overall, it was pretty good, I would say.
What'd you think about the show before you watched it?
I had no interest in watching it until that was picked. And now I'm like, okay, let's get this out of the way. And then the slow buildup was kind of affected me because, like I told you, my schedule was. So I'm like,
Yeah.
crap.
But I mean, like after episode 6, didn't it pick up for you?
Yeah, it
I
started.
felt like it took a bit.
I think it took Proxy till like 7
Mm.
for me for it to get interesting, and then yeah, but I did not do like what I did with Proxy and just stood up one all night and then just did the next day.
Yeah.
Because once it got me hooked, it's like okay, now I want to see what happens. Kind of like the same thing, like how like Ergo Proxy.
Yeah. It's
So-
not the same story.
Not
by
the same
any
story,
means,
not the
but
same story,
I
but
feel
like the same feeling I had with it.
the same tempo, same kind of just
Like
gradual.
Like it had to build, and then once it
Yes.
got that build, I'm like, okay, now I'm invested. Now I can't stop. But then you have to
Okay.
force yourself to stop, and then
Your turn, Matt.
No, it's Brandon next.
wait, what?
What?
Yeah. I'm last.
You're
Why?
I
Just
thought
go.
Brandon already won
Well,
it,
I'm at-
though.
So you're
No.
the bottom?
I guess.
I mean,
or,
mine will be
or
easy.
all of you are below me.
Wait, so we haven't done you yet. No, we
You
haven't.
and your
No.
fucking high
I
chair.
want to hear what you have to say.
And this is just like opening opinions on it.
Yeah, we
Okay.
don't, you don't have to go too deep. We're gonna get deeper. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Right.
It's hard to do that.
But yeah, like I said earlier, it's one of my favorite animes. I caught it was actually kind of probably lucky when I first saw it airing. I'm pretty sure it was on Adult Swim,
It did air on Adult Swim.
and it happened to be the episode that's the turning point where it goes from like a monster of the week to like it actually has an overarching plot in the anime. So it's kind of like halfway through the anime. That was one of my first episodes, and it's still one of my favorite episodes of the whole anime. And then I watched it airing then, and then a couple years later, I rewatched it from beginning to end, and then now rewatching it again, and it's still a great anime. I love the story. I love like the darker tone to it, even though it's kind of like not like dark. It's like you said, like a family friendly dark almost.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Dark light.
But yeah, I really enjoy it. I like the characters. Robin is still one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really like it. And again, that could be totally biased and all that because it was one of my like first favorite animes. So I might be seeing it through like rose tinted glasses or whatever. But yeah,
So, sir, what you're telling me is that the next con you're gonna go as Witch Hunter Robin.
You're going to Robin.
You're gonna be
Go
Robin.
as Robin.
Yeah, you are going as Robin, right? Is that what you're saying right now?
So go as Biker Robin.
oh, right, Cyclist Robin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forgot to fuel it. Oops.
No,
Oh.
that's different. I meant like when she has the actual bike and it's like
yeah.
the helmet and the glasses and yeah.
Goes moped.
Go as the moped. Yes. No, it's a Vespa.
Oh, goes the
It is a
Vespa.
Vespa.
Oh, that's perfect. You Lindsay can be Robin and you'll be the Vespa.
I was just gonna say something like Ryan be Robin.
Oh, God. My head's going places.
But I mean, if I had to, like, growing up, I probably would have wanted to be Amon. But now, God, now I can't even think of his name because I watched it like a week and a half ago or finished
Who?
it a week. The computer guy. Is it
Michael.
Yeah, I was gonna say Michael. I'd probably be Michael or the other hunter. That's the dude.
Sukaki.
Yeah, Sukaki.
Cocky.
But
Bar.
then
I know. I thought of that the whole time.
Another.
You know I did.
what's his name? Nagira is also a really cool character too.
Him and his sideburns.
But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Opening thoughts.
Matt looks like he's ready to roast this show.
No.
Put it over
The whole time he's talking, you're
boys.
just sitting there, just like,
He's gonna
I'm
become.
waiting.
No,
He is the roast lord.
God. I was aware of Witch and Robin for many years. I never caught it when it was on Adult Swim, but
neither did I.
I've heard the name like perpetually in the anime sphere because it's kind of in that group of more mature series of, in the Ergo Proxy and the Cowboy Bebop, in that vein of anime series where it's about mostly adults and it's more grounded. And it's been on my watch list literally for a decade at least by now. And then the whole reason we reviewed it this time is because, like almost 2 years ago now, when we started doing the podcast, we thought of a bunch of series we wanted to do. And I still had that list. And I thought, that'd be perfect because it's somewhat Halloween themed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, fuck you, another.
it's that we can't look at it with bias. Maybe in like 10 more years we'll review another again.
Another.
Or we'll just
Another.
review the book or the light novel. And we'll do the sequel.
You
to it,
want us
too.
to read?
Yes.
What do
You
you
must
take
read.
us for?
One Piece.
Oh
Aristocrats.
God.
Do
There are
that.
no pictures in this book.
There are though.
There are no.
Okay.
There are no.
Because it's a light novel. It's just it has like a picture every like 20 pages. Something
Yeah.
like that. But
Sorry, we're
you
also.
expect us to read.
So the problem with this is this is a layered joke. I will explain it because people do not understand our inside jokes. Okay, so Beauty and the Beast is already funny, and then you got people who YouTube poop Beauty and the Beast, and then it all just kind of blends together. And it's just like there are no pictures, there are no bitches.
Taco Bell.
It's
He was
just
in here raving last night.
so. If you've seen any
Slow
of that,
down,
have fun.
Maurice.
If you haven't seen any of that, you probably should.
Yes.
Waxinator. Woohoo.
That's who you can be. Cosplay as Maurice. Go to the rave.
There's a beast, and he's this large. Tell me, how big was he?
And none of us quite have the enthusiasm to be Gaston, but what else? Y'all
I'd
lost
do
my
it for
train of
me,
thought.
man.
No, like I went into it with decently high expectations.
Yeah.
And I didn't know like any details about it. I just knew basically what Robin looked like because her pictures and all the marketing. And that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's her.
yeah,
Yeah.
And like even on the wiki page, it's a picture of her and she looks all. I don't know how to explain it, but her hands are in the air and her
It's like
hair
gothic.
is floating and
Yeah.
it's like ooh that kind of thing.
Well, animes they have aesthetics.
Yeah,
that's, that's something. That's the style.
And I mean, if we're to go in, I'll go in more detail later because I think we'll get there when we talk
Yeah.
details about the episodes. But to like what you talk about, the style, the art, I'm not the hugest fan of. I thought at times it was a bit bland.
Well, you know my opinion, but
But I also, to count on myself, is
do have a
that
list. I
just
forgot I had a list.
few years after that was really the age of the massive eyes. Like the 90% of your skull is eyes anime art style. So it's like, how much can you complain that really?
well, this
Yeah.
was the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is the forehead.
no joke. I don't know what it is with this art style, but it's like somebody went into Photoshop, shrunk their face, like their eyes, nose, and mouth, and dragged it down to their chin to where that they'd have this large ass forehead. They all look like the
Robin.
ancient aliens, like this Crystal Skull and
Yes.
Indiana Jones. They look like the elongated forehead
Now
aliens.
I
It's
just
like,
want to see
what
them
the
all with like
fuck?
that maxified and they're just turning their head. They're just like, Robin.
Like, I don't. It's like, I mean, you do you. If that's your style. It's just like, well, their foreheads are big. Oh, well, I'll show you. I'll be an anime someday. Be an anime artist someday. Watch me.
Can't wait till the day we review Holic.
Oh boy.
Eh,
The noodle people.
it's an interesting show. It's not that bad though.
No, well, I mean,
The noodle people, that's the
We're
thing.
gonna get on
I'm
another
okay
tangent.
with noodle people, but the forehead thing was throwing me off because it's like everything else is perfect. They're all proportional, and then it's just wham.
well, I don't know about.
Whoa.
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
But I think that's about what I'll say
Let's
now.
get into it.
for now.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start again. We won't be too max detailed because we got 26 episodes, but I do have a framework to go off.
I
of.
have somewhat of a list.
Okay, that's good. Maybe next time someone else can be the person
What do you mean?
Like take notes on the each episode.
if you
saying
want.
Just
Oh,
look at the
man,
wiki and just describe it.
I did that for one of the things, but then I felt like I never used them.
I just can't. I mean, it's not that I couldn't. I just.
Well, I mean, you and I touched on it a bit in how we watch it, and that's another reason why it takes me a bit longer. Because like I'm not just watching; I'm also analyzing. And when I think something relevant happens, I have to pause and write it down. And all that.
Oh
Yeah.
So
Well, I just binge
don't
it.
think about it.
That's my
You
problem.
dumb shit.
It's like nothing of note happens to me, so it's just like I don't want to write it down. It's just like I just want to watch it.
Well,
It's like okay,
yeah.
the episode's closed. Like it doesn't have anything to do with the overarching
Okay.
plot.
Well, here we go. Episode 1.
Okay.
It starts in a dark alley. There you go.
Oh boy.
Man is
You
dead.
see people chasing someone down, and he's cornered and presumably shot. And because the scene cuts away and you hear the gunshots, and you think, oh, they killed him.
Yeah, me too.
Roll credits. I think the Return of Robin opening is pretty good. I'm actually surprised they kept it through the whole series, but again, maybe that was we don't want to have to get another song and pay for it.
Yeah.
It almost feel like Evanescence could do the opening.
Yeah.
Like that's the vibe I got.
Essentially, yeah.
And the voice,
I could see that.
the lead singer kind of sounds like it. We're introduced to Robin as she arrives at
Robin Sena.
Robin Sena.
Yeah.
As she arrives at a place called Raven's Flat, which is a cool name for the place. And I just like the aesthetic for their like headquarters is nice, but also
It's not so
know.
secret.
well, it's not supposed to be like straight up secret. It's just
Oh.
like it feels like it's perpetually broken down.
That was one of my points. Secret organization isn't organized.
Well, no, they were organized. It was just like, oh, well, the second floor is a big hole. Forget about it.
No.
Bear gets in sometimes.
I remember what happened here. Like she shows up.
Yes.
He's like, "Who are you? Are you supposed to be here?" But oh, I guess go home. Like, get out of here. You're not supposed to be here. And it's like she's supposed to be there, but like nobody got the phone call, and like nobody's communicating with each other. So it's
Yes.
just like, what the hell is
Yeah.
wrong with you people?
But she gets basically turned away. And the inside, they're dressing down. The team. We're introduced to the team. They're dressing
Yeah.
down Tsukaki, who messed up in the last hunt. And then lots of fast exposition, and we find out that they're somewhat working for a place called the Factory. My other note here is like this just feels very early 2000s.
Factory
Yeah.
you.
Like you could, it's like put into a capsule, and that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
We're old.
We're old.
Yeah.
We find out Robin is a craft user, is what the word they use. A witch.
She's like doing
Well,
art.
we'll get
cutting out
into it,
stuff.
but I don't feel like they ever really established what the actual difference is.
I gotta find it ironic what her power is.
Oh,
Their chief, their immediate supervisor, I'm not even gonna lie, he looks like Hitler. It's like, what a choice! What a choice! He's
Wait.
Hitler.
Did we? Yeah, we're talking about Manager Hitler.
Yes.
I love him.
Another thing I forgot to mention.
It's like he's literally Hitler.
I forgot to mention. What did you watch it subbed or dubbed?
I believe.
Dubbed.
Pirated.
No, like
Side-
subbed or dubbed.
I always watched
Dubbed?
it dubbed.
Dubbed?
So.
I believe dubbed.
You can't remember?
Yes.
Your memory is that bad?
Yes.
Well, okay. That's the thing is when I watch it and I read it, I think about it. I think about what I'm reading in my head. So it's almost like it's still English because I'm watching it that way. Does that make sense?
For the
Because
viewers,
you have
Matt
to-
is
you have
very,
to read-
unsure of this.
You have to read the sentence. Come on.
I do a
You read-
degree
if you read
get
the
what
sentence
what
in
you're
your head,
saying.
It's
But
hard to remember if it's subbed or dubbed. If it's dubbed, I don't have to pay attention to it as much
Where'd you
because I
watch
can just
it?
listen to it.
be honest, it's okay.
I think it's an anime pirate site.
Okay.
So
well,
not
that doesn't help.
Funimation.
No,
But
it was dubbed probably.
okay. Then just for everyone to know, I watched it subbed
Because I remember
Oh,
Hitler's
yeah.
voice.
Really?
because I was like, I tried to go back and forth and subbed or dubbed, and I was like, I'll watch it subbed. And then when I looked at the characters, like, shit, I like everyone in this dub.
Yeah, it was dubbed because I remember Harry's voice actor, and then
Well, because
Sorry.
Crispin Freeman's in it, Carrie Walgreen, Johnny Young Bosch,
And
Michelle
Robin-
Ruff.
Robin sounded more like this, and she was cool.
Hmm?
I like
Who
Robin.
Johnny Young Bosch voice?
Sakaki.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
he did, and it was funny.
Crispin Freeman is Amon. Other voice actors, Lex Lang is Nagari. But there's lots of if you know any anime dubbed around that time, the Bleaches, the Naruto's, the Duraras, that's not the exact time, but around that time, the anime LA voice actors of the time, it feels like everyone's in it.
Yeah. But it was good. I mean,
yeah.
The cast of Catherine.
Yes.
Like
Which
that are in everything.
I
together.
didn't like I said, didn't watch the dub, but I like everyone who's in the dub, so that's kind of the irony of it.
Huh.
Back
That's very
to
ironic.
Yeah, how could you?
back to the episode.
back to the episode.
It's so good.
Introducing more characters. Michael is the guy in the chair. You know that stereotype.
He's he has the
guy
biggest
in the
forehead
chair.
of everybody, I think, because he's so smart.
You had, like you mentioned, they have the mess up where they don't realize who Robin is.
Yeah, so much for organization.
Dojima is like, oh, and you're introduced to her, and you're immediately, wow, taken aback, I guess. I was just like, wow, this lady. She's like, oh, that's Amon's girl, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They
Actually, she was the only one that looked normal. I think.
look at this picture.
Look at
look
this
at this
picture.
picture of all
He's
of them.
showing
Look at
me
this picture.
like a promotional picture.
Send it. I want to see.
Okay, I will in a second.
Oh, Kurasama.
Checking.
Karasuma, she poor thing. She's all chin in that picture. She's like the Crimson Chin. Oh god. Oh, another quick thing.
This should be the picture
How
for
old do you
the-
think she is? The character I just mentioned too.
Who?
Karasuma.
You mean
She was
the?
voiced by Wendy Lee. If you
You mean the? I'm not gonna say the C word. You mean the lady that like doesn't come to work? and she
no,
just-
that's
No.
not. That's Dojima.
Oh well, Dojima's a bitch.
Karasuma's the one with the
It's gonna be weird.
She has a bit
psychic
shorter
power.
hair, and when she touches stuff, she can.
Psychic.
has psychic
Okay,
power.
so Dojima's.
How old do you think she is?
I'd say like
The
20,
forehead
like
doesn't help
20s,
nothing.
early 30s.
Did you send,
myself.
Did you send the picture?
I looked
Yes.
it up actually, and she's supposed to be 19.
Oh my God! What a chin!
hell?
Dojima is supposed to be 18.
God.
And of course, as one of my first notes in the first episode for Roshana Robin is she's 15, but she don't look it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
one of my issues with the art style.
Okay,
It's like,
say that again.
God.
Which
They,
one?
they all got
How old?
chins.
she's supposed to be 19.
Even
Okay.
Robin's got a
She's
chin.
supposed to be 18.
Look at the chin on these people.
Okay.
These.
And those are the only ones I looked up besides Amon, who is 25.
Wow.
I thought all of them would be around
He's
that
a
age.
youngin. Young man.
Well,
And
he's
they-
like the older one of the Hunter group.
I know. He looks like he's like in his 30s, at least maybe even
Jeez.
40s.
Well, no, 25 would be what I would assume they would all be around.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You would think.
I would
Yeah.
definitely
How old
think
is
that.
Robin?
And they're all like, because they're like
Robin
barely like
is-
3-4 years older than her.
Did you
They're
just
like, "You're
ask which
so
one was
childish."
Robin?
No, I
this
said
kid,
how old?
this child. Robin is 15.
Yes.
And she does not look it, and the art style does not lend that self well to the idea that she
No.
is 15.
Nope. Because I could not
And I was
see
just
a
like,
15.
I don't understand the point. After seeing the series, especially, is like, you could have just made her 18. It would have made no difference.
Right,
Yeah.
especially with like just like the
Well, it would have made a difference.
the comments about her just being like a kid. I was like, well, yeah, 18-year-olds are still stupid and childish. So
And
it's
it
like,
would make sense if everyone's in their 20s and she's
Yeah.
18. They would call her, the kid, the new
yeah,
person.
so
God,
I meant to look
15.
it up to see if like that was like actually authentic, like, or if that was just like a translation thing or like a localization thing. Like, oh, well, they call her childish, so we got to make her younger.
I'm sorry. The localization comments just like, yeah, that's what they're used to here.
But no, it was just like, it's a weird choice for her to be that young, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, because especially because like you would definitely not see a 15-year-old doing like
I know
this stuff.
She's like, you would think at least 18.
Yeah.
And I know shady government organizations do shady stuff, but
Yeah.
anyway. to
Sponsored
finish-
by the Catholic Church.
There you go.
They need a diversion.
There you go.
Woo!
It goes on. She goes on the hunt with them for the first time. And it's revealed that they don't kill their people. They capture them.
Why
it's
not?
kind of a cutaway.
She says.
Yes. And
What do you mean you don't kill witches? We do that all the time back in Italy.
I know. No, that's the insinuation.
We've been killing the witches.
Insinuates that
Yeah.
she just kills them before now.
Or that
No.
other like groups that
Yes.
killed.
But
Oh my God.
the other note I have for that episode was just like there's a part where Robin's fighting. The guy has like a sandcraft, is what they called it.
Yeah.
She's fighting the
A
guy,
sandwich.
and there's a point where he tries to grab Robin, and she like easily evades him. Like she just steps out of the way, right? But then like literally a second later, he tries the exact same thing, and she doesn't even try to evade, and he grabs her, and he's holding her by the collar.
It's because she can't see.
And I just,
Well,
no,
that's
we'll
okay.
get to that. Just wait. And I put just in my notes, I guess I'll just let you grab me. And I was like, why? What was the point of that? But anyway, like it just introduces the concept of there are witches, they have powers. This is an organization that hunts them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and it also introduced the ambiguously gay bartender dude who works at
Who has a name, but
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm calling him
No.
Harry.
You're
No.
calling him what?
You.
Harry.
I
Oh,
cannot
yeah.
He works
believe
at
you.
Harry.
Yeah, it says Harry's. Oh, yeah.
He is
I
not
cannot
Harry,
believe
but
you.
I just call him Harry.
He is
Harry.
totally Harry.
I thought they
That's
called
not
him.
his actual name.
What's his name?
It's like it's a Japanese name. It's like Yuki something, and I looked it up.
Then why is it called Harry's?
Because they're all hairy.
Do you have to be named Denny's to work at Denny's?
Yes.
No, but if it's his place, it should be called Harry's.
Well, you
I
can
totally-
own something and it's not your name.
I totally thought they call him Harry, though.
I
Da
thought
Vinci
his
didn't
name
name the
was
Mona
Harry.
Lisa Da Vinci.
That's fair.
The
but-
Mona Lisa.
So wait,
Da
does that mean
Vinci?
if
Da
it's
Vinci
called
Mona Lisa?
McDonald's, everybody has to have McDonald's in their name?
Apparently, according to Tanner.
No, I just thought his name was Harry.
I
'cause
thought
it's
his
his
name was
place.
Harry, too.
He's the only one that worked there, pretty much.
So,
He is a
so does
Japanese
that mean
man, but the
everybody at
restaurant
Wendy's
is called
named
Harry.
Wendy?
What?
Everybody at Wendy's is named Wendy?
Yeah, do you know?
No, no, a
It's
lounge
different
like
though if
that.
you own it.
It's like if I called my lounge Tanner's Lounge, and my name isn't Tanner, it's like Jackson, and
Maybe
it's just
they
like,
named it after you.
well, who's Tanner? Well,
He died
He's
at
my
the stake. Here's a video of him dying.
okay, so I do have a comment on that. Harry's is the most legit place, I swear.
Yes.
I love him and his lounge. I want a lounge like that. I
That's
love that. What's his
His
actual
name is Yuji Kobari.
What the hell?
In the sub, they primarily just call him Master.
Why not just call it the lounge then? Why call
Dude,
it
what do they
Harry's?
call him in the dub?
I thought for some
Harry?
like, I thought they totally call him Harry, but I don't think they do. Now that
I
think
swear
about
to
it.
God.
They call him in the sub. They call him Master, as in the master of the
Yeah,
establishment.
it says alias master.
Yes,
What?
he is not Harry. He is a Japanese man.
That's so interesting.
I'm sorry. His name is Harry.
Maybe,
I'm just gonna call
I
him
don't
Harry
give a shit.
for the sake of this review.
maybe
but
this guy went
his voice-
overseas, met a guy
by
named Harry,
Jerry
was
Gleb.
a nice lad, and then he
Gelb.
just came back.
Jerry
So I'm gonna
Gelb.
name it after him.
God.
So anyway, on to episode 2. We find out Robin is staying with a woman called Toko,
Coco.
Toko Beast.
which I guess is kind of like what?
I'm sorry. Just the first thing. Oh no, that's episode 5. Never mind. We're not. My list is very disjointed. Sorry. I just love the first thing I wrote for episode 5. I'll tell you when we get there. Episode 2.
They're watching. Basically, this is the one where they watch the news and the guy's like, "Oh, I just got off for murder. I want to clean my name." And they're like, and Robin, they investigate. You kind of see how they investigate and all that, and they're like, "Yeah, we're pretty sure he killed his partner, but you have to understand, witchcraft and craft users are not accepted as fact by the vast majority of people and the police.
Yeah.
So we can't just say, well,
He's a witch.
yes, we can't just go in there. He's a witch.
There is a reason our organization is secret.
So you pretty much you can't just accuse him.
Yes." And then another note here. I can't remember exactly what happened
What
or
he
what she
might
said,
be.
but I thought, we aren't supposed to like Dojima, because like she's also like just like, oh, my parents are high in the organization. That's why I work here.
Yeah.
I don't want to work here, and I'm gonna do shit.
I don't have to work.
Yeah, her character development's very interesting because she's not a likable character at the beginning.
Well, we'll get there.
what do you mean? At the
We
beginning.
kind of learn more about.
You mean the whole time?
We kind of learn more about how like their branch is different from like there's the headquarters and then there's the factory.
It's
Kind of a mess.
it's the STNJ.
They are the SDNJ.
And I actually looked that up because I was curious, because they kept saying it, and it's just like, you still haven't told me what you are, and it's like, I don't remember what it's actually called. But it's sorry,
get the stick out. if
whatever
you got
it
something.
is, no, whatever it is, it's based in Japan. That's what the J's for.
Yes,
Because whatever they are, it's their
the
organization
SDNJ
in
is
Japan.
short for the overall organization. They are a Japanese branch of that organization, but they also have later we're learned Solomon over them, and then the factory is adjacent to them, and it's a big fucking mess. We'll get there. Don't worry.
No, hang on. I do remember now. Whatever it is, the STN part is Japanese for something else. and that's why it's called the STNJ.
Do you remember?
No,
Okay,
The
then
shuffle?
I'm getting the stick.
no, but I'm saying that's
Everything you don't remember, I'm getting. There's another strike.
no. I'm saying that's all.
There's a part where
Nice
I'll
little
call him the chief. They say his
detail.
name a couple of times, but I'll call him Chief. He's the Hitler. If you're having trouble following along.
I love Hitler. Wait,
Apparently that's what it's
wait,
for.
no, I meant him, not no,
Save that clip.
Clip
no.
it.
Ah! No!
It stands just to so you can
Damn
be double.
You're gonna
bamboozled.
fucking say it, aren't you?
The SVNJ stands
Ah!
for Solomon
I can edit it out.
Tokatsu Nin Indante.
Yes.
Roughly Solomon Executive Organization.
You really expect me to freaking? Oh yeah,
No,
Solomon.
don't pronounce like, oh, I know what that means, and then be like, oh, I forgot.
Well, I
You
looked it
set
up.
yourself up for that one, much like that voice clip that I'm gonna save.
You can't save it. Not if I get rid of it.
That's true, but it'll always be in our hearts.
Ah!
Anyway, in this episode, the chief keeps calling Robin. In the sub, he calls her Robin Chan when he starts.
Robin, come
In-
here.
In the dub.
Well, in
Robin!
the actual sub for it, he says honey.
Oh,
Whoa!
because in the dub, he calls her
Honey.
like Little Robin.
Okay.
Like a
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you know,
but in the
condescending
actual
Hitler.
subtitles, because they didn't put Chan in it, they have he's like Robin Honey.
Hello,
So he's pretty
little
much like
Robin.
treating, it's kind of like, I guess you could say,
You're
they
right,
actually say
little
like
Robin.
sexual harassment. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It is.
Um,
It's condescending and rude. I mean, he's Hitler. What do you expect?
And misogynistic. Yeah.
yes.
For all you know, honey could be her middle name.
Robin Honey
Honey
Sena.
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 Honey Sena sounds like something like you could buy.
It sounds like an
Sena.
herb or something.
Yeah.
They go on the
Good,
hunt,
honey
but they leave her behind, which kind of defeated the purpose of her
Even showing up.
Yeah.
showing up.
But you know why they did that?
I guess, kind of to vet
Because
her.
headquarters sent it.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh, I don't know what this is.
Some cool things about their tech, their phones, in general. When Michael's in his chair and he'll send them information, like they can beam it into their eye.
I know.
They only did that like twice, but I thought that's kind of cool. But I can't imagine that's good for you. That's
Remember? Go proxy.
it's literally shining light right into your eye.
Ah.
Their
Yeah.
phones can also print things out because Michael's sends I think it's Amon something, and he prints out like a business card out of his phone. So I thought that was pretty
I
cool.
thought it was gonna be like an emoji. It's a shitty emoji. It's like,
That or the troll face. It's like it's 2002. We're reaching into the future.
Yeah.
It's the
Oh,
troll
yay.
face. We find out that Amon and Toko have some kind of connection. It's not revealed. I put.
Oh yeah.
I put.
I want to make sound with it.
One of my last notes for episode 2 was just Dojima is the resident fake bitch. Because this when they trapped the guy in the chapel at the thing because he had a fiance and they were gonna get married.
yes.
And then she posed as someone who works there and I was like, okay, that's your purpose. That's what you do here.
Yes.
You can be you look normal enough and you can just like be undercover.
God, I loved Robin when she was playing
I know.
the organ. And
She was
she was
just-
like, damn.
And then the guy's so like, who would do that when it's like you see people all wearing the same trench coat, sitting in different places. You see this like 15-year-old Western girl in Japan up there playing the piano.
They're just
and he
hanging out at
and he
church.
smiled. He was like, I'm going in there. That sounds
Yeah.
like a great time. And of course, it's a trap, and they eventually get him.
Yeah. Got that
Of
whip.
course, in that one, there was like a cop trying to investigate him too, and the cop recorded things. It got complicated, and the cop just died, and they were like cool with it, I guess.
Most of them is for us.
less
Less
paperwork.
witches.
Episode
Switches.
3 starts with the
Witches.
guy being chased down and murdered in a tunnel.
Got them stitches for witches.
What's the bug one, right? Or-
Yes.
Yeah. Sucking the life out of him.
As they're investigating and they're looking around and they've been called in, and Robin's looking around. They keep telling her not to touch stuff when it's like her job is to
Tap it.
investigate the stuff. Why are you telling her not to look around and touch
Yeah.
stuff?
What
Don't
was going
touch
in my
anything.
mind was that whole Patrick being touch, don't touch,
Don't touch.
don't touch,
Touch.
Do I have to follow you around all day?
I mean, that is.
Essentially.
But
Yeah.
doesn't she figure it out?
Yeah, she finds the bug.
touch.
It's because she's young. They're just
She's 15. That's
Well, I
fine.
get-
no. Don't mess with the crime scenes.
You're
Stop
too
it.
young
Stop
to
Yeah,
do
that's
anything.
right.
You're also
But it's
craft
like, it's like
user.
if you. I mean,
Stop.
it's a kind of a bad analogy, but it's the truth. It's like if you were in the police and you brought the dog in to sniff and you don't let it sniff. So like, what was the point?
Yeah.
But it
Uh,
might
It's
eat
like
the
there's an
evidence.
obvious scent of cocaine
Yeah.
there that you can follow, but they're not going to let him
In
sniff
this
that.
in this episode, we learned that being a witch is something that's genetic. And then they have a whole database about people who have the possibility or do have the gene of being a witch.
The witch gene.
While this is happening, Michael and their systems are being hacked, and he's holding them back. Amon basically cycle, trick them and deliberately let them in and give them the information because he realizes they're tracking people down because they're killing other witches.
They're using
or
the
people
witch
who have the
database.
potential to have witches.
Yes.
They eventually find out that it's the guy who is making himself younger because he's basically sucking the life out of people.
Yep.
They go and try and interview his 100. She has to be at least 100 years old.
He was a good man.
Because he was like 30 in the 40s, and this is 2002.
Yeah.
It shows she's close to his age. She's around 100. So they go there and they get nothing. And I'm like, why did you expect to get something?
Hey, but they found out he was immortal.
They found the picture, but they didn't like. It was weird. They didn't
Michael
go there
could
thinking
use
that
this
would
in his
happen.
database.
Yeah.
That was their evidence that he was immortal, though, is that he's been around for a long time and that his face is still young. So they have an ID. They ID'd him. So there was a purpose.
Yeah. Basically, his power is also like bugs, like Brandon mentioned. And they look bad. Like the animated, they look like just dirt.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
you could have. I get that it's harder to do that, especially if it's like a weekly basis. But it's like, you guys could have done that a bit better.
Well, Phantom Menace was like rolling out. Attack of the Clones, you said, remember?
Well, it's different than.
They're barely rolling out all the CG.
Well, they wouldn't even. There was no CG in this.
So I'm saying that's why it was probably animated the way it was.
Yeah.
Looked like
But,
dirt.
Easier to.
Yeah. Basically, they corner him in a warehouse, but he gets away because Robin is having trouble aiming with her fire.
Yeah.
And of course, there
burns
just happens
everything.
to be drums of flammable stuff in this yard, and she hits them and explodes, which I thought wasn't even her messing up. I thought it was her trying to corral him because now her whole life, presumably before this, when she hunted a witch, she would just burn them.
Yeah.
And now she has to learn how to use their powers to box people in, and then they come in and they shoot them with the tranquilizer. But I thought that's what was happening at first, but it was like, no, you're having trouble seeing, aren't you?
Yeah.
So he gets away that time. And then they, back at home base with Michael and the hacker, there's a line like, he's a hacker, not a cracker. Because we learn a bit more about Michael, that he's essentially a prisoner at their HQ.
He's a slave.
Yeah.
Because he tried to hack their things and was caught, and they were like, okay, you can either go to jail or work for us, basically. And eventually they do catch the guy, and it's because he hasn't sucked enough life juice out of people, and they try to take his back to the factory, but he turned to ash because he's really old.
Yeah.
He's an old man.
He withered.
He withered away to nothing.
Goodbye.
He went out with a whimper.
And basically, like, I think someone else mentioned it, but it was like a monster of the week.
Yeah.
This is kind of the age of what we're in at.
Mhm.
Villain of the week.
Well, the term I like to use, and it's from
Witch of the Day.
no, I used to be into the live action show Smallville back in the day.
Mhm.
And what they would say for that one, because it was very similar, and like, oh, the meteorite gave someone powers. Kryptonite gave someone powers, and Clark has to defeat him. That's what the episode is.
Kryptonite of the Week.
It was Freak of the Week.
Freak of the
Oh.
Week.
That was the term used, Freak of the Week.
The irradiated.
Especially the
of
early
day.
seasons, it was always Freak of the Week. Someone got powers, he has to stop them. That's the episode.
There you go.
But that's essentially what this block of episodes is for Witch Hunter Robin. There's a witch, we gotta hunt him. So episode 4, it made me laugh a bit because it starts with like happy elevator music showing like a park. It's like still images of people having fun and all that, and then the last image is of like someone's hand, a body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is when Robin is gifted the glasses.
Yeah.
And I'll say this right now. She's not fucking wearing the glasses. They are all the way down her face. They are no way helping her vision at all. I don't understand the point. It was literally just for Amon to give her something that she can hang on to. It's like Aaron giving Mikasa the scarf or any other thing you can see when like the girl is supposed to like the
They're
guy
supposed to be functional.
and he has to give a gift to her. But they're not. They're nowhere. I'm a glasses
I
wearer
know
all
they're
my
like
life.
they're like
They are too
these.
small.
They're
They're
like
all the
little
way down her
squares.
nose.
Anime magic.
She would have to
functional.
be looking directly down the entire time
Yeah, she did
to
this.
look through the lens so that she could actually see and actually help with her aiming. So it's just a weird, like, just throw the glasses on her.
Or it's video game logic where you just put them on and it gives you perception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, would it kill you to just have the glasses like be on her actual face? Like, why?
But then you'd hide her eyes.
you just want the aesthetic of like them kind of drooping a bit. But that
Yeah.
just like reminds me of like old lady glasses. So I was like, I never got that. But pretty much, like, Robin, Robin goes to the park to go to a church because while she was raised in a convent, like she actually
prayed.
asked, she's like, well, I don't necessarily believe in God, but I have the habit of praying.
I go to church.
Yes. So she meets a woman who paints paintings in the park, and it's like, oh, she's the one.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
Robin's just
One thing
drawn
that
to all
happens a
these
lot,
other
and we'll
ones.
get more into, is like anytime Robin meets someone, they're the one. She talks a bit about God, and the guy's like, oh, God is so great. He made such a beautiful world. I want to be able to capture it. And then she learns Robin gets into the history of the park. She learns there's a serial killer in the park. There's been 4 different bodies. They're all been cut up. And they were like, well, they didn't think it was an actual witch, so we didn't really look into it. So she goes to the park and investigates it with Karasuma.
And then they find out that it's the artist.
Well, and then another note I have in the episode is like they were keeping Harry's in business because like when they go there, it's like barely
my
alive,
God,
but
they
always go there.
They love Harry.
love
But I
Harry's.
would too. Harry's deserves to be.
But
But his name's not Harry.
it's not Harry.
Damn
The
it.
girl at the park goes to the park and then she sees like the trash cans are overflowing and the crows have kicked and thrown the trash everywhere. And then it was like, I just put in all caps, pollution. That is her motivation. If Captain Planet was here, ooh.
Well, no, I'd be pissed off if there was just shit all over my park and
Yeah.
nobody cleaned it and there were birds everywhere eating the shit. It's like, come on. Come on.
Robin goes back to the park because she figures it out. She sees the dead crows. They have kind of a fight, a standoff with their powers, which are never exactly explained, but you'll see that as a theme.
She
pretty
can
soon.
just go.
Yeah. So Robin hides behind a tree, takes cover, and then I liked how she's wearing gloves. So Robin sets the gloves
I
on
think
fire.
it has
Yeah.
to be air based, or she can just look at shit and explode it.
According to this, it says a foe that can flay a person alive was their
Yes.
power.
Play.
Yeah.
Well, like it's like psychic
Energy.
slashes.
Yeah, it's just like fish.
But they capture her, and it's the first time you see what happens when the factory captures them. They put them in this big helmet. They tie up their hands in metal. They put them basically in a coffin, and then they whisk them away.
Yeah, that's not.
I know, and I was like,
Pretty sure.
we'll get there, but later on,
We're making cheese.
when they act shocked that shady stuff's going down, I'm like, really? Did you really?
Well, I mean, okay. So to give them the benefit of the doubt, the
Blissful
only other
ignorance.
thing, what'd you say?
Blissful ignorance.
The only thing I would
guess.
say is that. Sorry, I thought somebody was at the door. I would say that maybe they're researching witches, so they hold them, they keep them, fed or whatever. It's still like a prison, but like they keep them so that they don't get out and do bad witch things.
Yeah.
No offense to any wishes listening to this podcast,
Well, in the context of
this
this
show.
world.
Yes.
Yeah.
On episode 5, more talk
Unrelated.
about Robin's
Smells like
eyes
the wandering spirit.
and the
is title.
glasses.
Are we talking about episode 5?
I think so.
Yeah, what's your note?
Well, I mean, we've already talked about it, but Dojima is a bitch. That's
You-
literally the first thing that it said.
You know who she reminds me of, though?
Who?
Who's your like favorite girl in Origairu?
Stop it. No.
She has
No.
the same vibes.
But she's not.
Ish-
This.
If Ishiki or Ishiki grew up, that's what she'd be like.
Oh my God.
They are
no.
very similar.
No.
That's
No.
hilarious. I didn't think about that.
Like,
but I
Roja
like
is
that.
nicer. This lady
Well,
will like.
because what does the Urha deal with?
Take me to dinner,
the
let's go.
prom? And-
Take me
but
to dinner,
Jojo's
and then she
dealing
just
with-
leaves your ass with the bill. It's like, thanks for food, and then she like goes to work. Like, she just does whatever the hell she wants, and she's just like,
But that
it's
is
a thing I'm interested in. Here I
that's like the
am.
character archetype. That's who she reminded me of a lot.
No,
Don't
you
would you
taint-
want to say?
don't you taint her?
Was that your one thing for episode 5? Or
No. Forehead Hitler and his butler contribute nothing to the crew at all.
No, exactly.
At all.
it's another.
They are just there.
It's another episode that I wrote that somewhere else, but I think it's a joke, honestly. I think his character is primarily a joke of the
Yes.
idea of
Of Hitler.
because well, no, but Japanese people love bureaucracy, but they also love to make fun of their own bureaucracy. He has no reason to exist because anything that needs to be communicated up the ladder, it can be done by Amon or Michael.
Amon should be the
He
leader.
has no purpose other than to sit in the office and tell them, guys, let's get going.
I
And
was
then
just
the
at
other guy-
Jojima, you got to get back to work.
The other guy's just his butler.
And
He just gets everybody coffee.
He has more of a purpose because he's not a secretary, but like,
Do you need something?
yes. He's
But
like,
he only does it for him. Not for everybody else. Everybody else gets their own damn snacks and coffee.
That's
Robin
like
goes get some donuts.
yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like he's kind of like an office manager
Yes.
where he just tries to keep everyone on task, and then he has an assistant.
He
Yes.
doesn't need to
He
be
just-
there,
I mean,
though.
yeah, he
Waste the
does.
money.
That's
like-
the thing. It's, like I said,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a joke. Basically, it's like he
But-
contributes nothing. Anything that he could do, Amon and Michael
It's
could do.
most jobs today because
Yes.
that's where we live.
Well, don't tell me you're trying to save money if you're going to waste it paying somebody to
But
just sit
also-
there and do nothing.
Also in that episode,
Drugs.
I can't remember what it was about, but Amon, like Robin asks Amon something, and he says, "I'm under no obligation to tell you." And I was just like, "The fuck you aren't? Yes, you are."
He says, "No, fuck you. You don't get to know about me."
And I was just like,
No.
"Oh, Sigma male move right there." He's so Sigma.
Well, no, he's just he's
the
one of
Sigma
those
Chad.
edgy people.
This is the episode where they have to go around and question a lot of the homeless people.
Yeah,
Oh no.
that smelly smell.
Smell.
Well, because they there's a lot of people
Oh
going
yeah,
out.
and
Go
Sukaki
missing.
chases this guy into traffic and he gets hit by a truck. It's not the good isekai either.
So he doesn't blow up on impact.
Well, he
Well,
probably
he
met
grew up.
he probably met
But he
Aqua.
didn't. I don't know if
Maybe.
he went anywhere. So
Just wakes up in heaven. It's like,
basically
I have
there's a
forgiven
guy-
you.
No, he met Aqua.
basically well, see, but Cosmo wasn't even hit by anything.
He just died of shock.
Yes. Basically, the plot of this episode, there was a guy who's a banker. He had a lot of money, and then like it got very suspicious. They suspect he's a witch, and then he went underground and they're investigating the local homeless community to try and find him. Robin still isn't trusted yet in this episode. I put down.
They do find out that the witch's power is that he makes them so
No,
paranoid.
He preys on paranoid or fear if someone already has it, and he
yeah,
amplifies
he's
it.
able.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. It's like they go to the homeless camp, they start questioning people. One of them freaks out.
One of
That's
them
what
tweets.
happened with the guy with Shikaki. But that's because they were close to figuring out he was there. It's all a distraction.
Yeah.
In the end, they find out that he was the guy who was telling them, giving them information.
Of course, it's the first
Yes.
person they run into.
And then he gets away. Actually, he's
Yeah.
like the only one that I can remember
But I
offhand
think
that gets
isn't
away.
it because, like, he's just trying not to get. I don't know. Didn't they like sympathize with him or something? Because he had all those pictures.
I think that was a bit of it, yeah. But
That was weird. The episode ended like it was like, what? They didn't get him.
Yeah.
Right.
He just, all right, okay, have it.
Episode 6
Means they suck at their job.
Episode 6. Yeah.
The Vespa.
If they were gonna
It
catch
opens
him?
with Robin. It opens with Robin training her powers, like she's lighting up the candles. I was like, "Thank you for that." So it established that.
Yes.
That. Also, I put in this episode, "Fuck them glasses." Still,
I was
because they're
about
not
to
on a
say.
fucking fish.
I was still gonna say so. So Matt, were her glasses on her face this time?
No, they weren't.
They weren't real glasses.
So Robin,
Rib
like
glasses?
They were style glasses.
I guess I'll say dumbass. Robin, like a dumbass,
Hey,
ran
now.
out of gas on Vespa.
Oh,
I
that's-
don't even know where she's going because she's not in the city.
No, I think she just went for a ride.
She just went for a ride, and then she underestimated how much gas she had, and so she's on this hilly curve. She runs out of gas.
Ooh, woo, oops, got stuck in the middle of nowhere because I didn't need to know I needed to gas my Vespa up.
Oh no, she
Oops.
says, "I thought it would be enough," and I'm like, "You
Really?
need to measure things better." Like,
It's
that
been
was-
on, it's been on E for days. E means,
where'd she come
e
I
means
was making
everything.
it go by will alone. She lives
Sorry.
up Italy.
Okay.
E
So
means
don't
energy.
I was about to say. So does that mean the measurements between them would have been different, or are they
No,
the
it
same
would
universal?
still be. Oh god,
It could be kilos.
I want
Wait a minute. Kilos is weight.
dumb American moment.
Liters. It's
no,
liters.
Fucking Americans.
It would be the same unit
It's
of measure.
petrol.
So there wouldn't be like she's not like an American going to Japan and they're using the same unit of measure. So she would. It's weird. It's for the sake of the plot of the episode. It's just like that was a weird way to get there.
I think she just got stuck.
She forgot.
So she gets
She's
picked up by
15,
a
remember?
hitchhiker.
Yeah.
I know. She's picked up by a hitchhiker who proceeds to like tell her whole inner feelings and life story.
Yeah.
I was like, "Lady, calm down."
But
Ma'am,
Robin's
are
so
you
wholesome.
Leatherface?
What?
So are you taking me to the Outbacks?
Get some blooming onion.
So she helps Robin out, and then she's like, "Oh, if you need anything, here's my card." And then like, "Oh, Robin's like, oh, thank you, lady."
Oh,
I
I
would've been
owe
like,
you
the
my
first thing is
life.
like, give me gas.
So
Robin gets so attached to her. It's just
I
like,
know it was like, and then
you are an amazing person.
later on, we see the lady gets in a car wreck because she saw like the shadow of a doll in her rear view, and then car wreck. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Boom,
was
dead.
sad.
They,
So much for that request.
Well, no, what I've got is just car accident, It must be a witch.
I know.
It's just like that was my friend.
And then she grabs.
I must avenge her.
She grabs Shuma.
Yeah.
Karasuma. I'm trying to remember her name.
We must investigate this.
Yes. And
It was a witch.
Well, because backtracking to the other episode.
Yeah.
Karasuma's powers are weird. Because at first, when she's talking with Robin, it makes it seem like she has to be holding something.
She's a psychic.
She needs an object. But then it goes on to when she's telling the story of the homeless guy of like, I was in a crowd, I knew he was there. But then like she wasn't touching anything of his. But then I was like, does the road count? Because they're both touching the road.
Yeah.
But then would that count? Or does it have to be the ground? And then in this one, she's like touching the side of the ground where the car wreck was, and she could feel the energy. And I was like, you can just do whatever you need to, don't you?
Well, no. I think that makes more sense because if
Like
energy can,
mind fuckery
Right.
there.
energy can attach to places. I think.
Yeah. But
And
then
if it's
but in the
high,
beginning,
bad energy.
when she's explaining her powers to Robin,
Yeah, it does seem like it.
she specifically makes it
Touch.
seem like she needs an object because Robin thinks like her power is just straight up reading minds.
Yeah.
But no, it's she can touch an object and she gets a bit of the memories and the emotions from it.
Yeah.
But then she goes out and touches the road, and I'm like, is that
An object.
enough? Is the ground the object? Because it was the ground, the car, and then the lady. So it's like there's some degrees of separation. But
I'm
it's
sure
like,
there's like a limit to how far back it can go too.
So
It has
there's
to be more recent.
So anyway, she takes her out there like a dog and has her touch the ground, and it's like, yeah, all I feel here is great shock, but like the fucking skunk could have run out of the front of the road, and that was it.
Oh, you mean the last chupacabra?
Yes. Oh, we didn't tell that story.
No, we
but-
didn't.
I think
we
we
can
have
tell it at the
before.
end. We can
But
tell
here's
at
the
end.
thing. That would be like a complicated power because imagine you're just like out in the open, it's like, oh, let me track him. It's like, oh wait, there's too many people here.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah. Situational.
abstract.
If
I
it
get
happened
why,
recently,
I get why her
think it
power
works.
would have trouble working in a crowd.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're
Thank you.
okay. That's
Carlos kicked me under the table.
I'm sorry.
Carlo.
Sana,
So
curita
they're
run.
investigating it, and I put here damn bike because it's such a freaking ordeal. Because first she forgets the gas, then they forget the bike, and then Alwyn has to take her out there again. And I was like, holy crap! And thank God no one stole it.
Yeah.
Like
Surprisingly.
you always hear about how the crime
Surprise.
rates, at least for certain crimes, are so much lower in Japan where you can leave stuff around.
Yeah. It's almost like
this
they
ain't
have
America.
a society that's respectful.
Oh, someone I forgot who it was. Someone bribed Michael, and the insinuation was that it was porn. Do you remember that?
Amon.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Amon.
Well, Amon was like, "Oh, do this
I
for me."
like,
Michael,
I'll tell you about a website.
I'll tell
or
you about a certain site.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Michael got excited. It was
Yeah.
like,
He's like, what's that site? And he's like,
All
I'll
I
tell
do
you
is
when you're
sit in
older.
here.
Either something that's gonna pique his hacking interest, or it's actual porn.
Because they were, I think Amon was looking for research on something, even though it was illegal.
Anyway, they tracked down. I don't remember what their relation was. There wasn't her daughter. It was like her something.
It was the person like who worked for her.
Like her maid or something. I don't know. But anyway, it's the girl. They figure out the girl who was with the woman it was a witch, and her power is controlling dolls.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then of course Robin just sets them all on fire. And well, one cool thing I thought was when they try and get into the room. I think this was the episode, and like it has the latch, and almost just like cut it, and then Robin can concentrate the fire enough to
Yeah.
melt metal.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that Amon just breaks into her house. There's no warrant, no nothing. He's just like,
We're above the law.
I mean, yeah.
Secret organization
Secret organization
immunity.
can't get a warrant.
Yeah.
It's like, I got your warrant right here.
basically, the doll. She sets all the dolls on fire, and of course that sets the whole
Yeah.
place on fire. And the girl is in love with the dolls and jumps back into the fire.
which is burned, lol.
Yeah, so
And
she's
that's
dead,
where
lol.
that's where Carlos's whole thing is. The witch got burned. There you
Witch
go.
got burned.
Yep.
The episode ends when Robin
Now, when's she
sees
gonna get burned at the stake?
Toko with Amon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on, one more.
Okay.
It's like after the burning, you have been avenged, kind stranger I only knew for 5 minutes. It has been done. It's like the whole episode was that. It's just Robin is cool, but
I don't
no
know.
normal person would do that. Like, what if it really was just a car accident and like she burned somebody for no reason? Like it just. I know there
would
was
be
an actual witch, but
surprised for a show like this to
How-
have the guts to have it not be a witch and then like it be just like a normal day.
how freaking lucky was she that she was actually right? That it was a witch. Because out
Well-
of everything that could have happened, it's just that it was a car accident. How do you know?
Well, we might get into that a bit later.
All right. Episode 7. I only have one comment, but-
Okay, what is it right
No, you have to explain.
Oh, it opens with them pulling a car out of the water.
It's all smashed to bits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a tin can.
I don't remember
Under
the
my
details of
foot.
this episode. Basically, they find this a string of murders.
Yeah.
They eventually lead it to this guy, and this guy has a kid who's a relative of his. The parents died away. The kid is a witch. The kid, I thought was first they were doing like a magnetism thing, but I don't know if it was that specific.
It's squish. It's like
It's crush.
Crush power.
Yeah.
They stopped the guy from killing the kid by knocking the kid out and putting him in the car. In
Oh
the
my
compactor.
god, that was funny. Because he's just like, sign our bitches. Oh, we gotta stop it, hurry.
Yes. He got in there. Like, how do we stop it? And Rob just burn it. And it stops.
Yeah, how lucky that.
But like,
they
my
were.
god, I thought he was gonna take the kid with him.
Because
No.
because it insinuates a bit, again, from their point of view, that the guy is the witch. But of course, we all watching who can tell these tropes knows it's the kid.
Maybe,
This is also the first episode where I noticed they were reusing animation. Again, I'm not going to knock on it very much. It's just there were a few shots where it's like I know that turn from Michael to look at someone that was reused, that kind of thing.
that budget.
The budget's low.
Well, it's more about time than budget. But,
Yeah.
and of course, it turns out to be
Reverse.
the kid, and they stop the kid, and he's kind of a little sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, because of everybody
and then
thought he was a burden.
The dude is dumb because I don't even remember the specifics, but he goes to the kid and he's like, "Oh, you tried to kill me." He's like, "Oh, no," and then runs away, and then he kills the guy, like he crushes him, and then
Between the train.
yes,
I mean, he did try to kill him.
Yeah,
He tried
I
to
mean,
squish him in a fucking
I'm not saying he's not
car.
deserving of
Crusher.
it, but then like
My god.
you know the way the kid speaks, he's like, "Oh, I'm just a kid. I'll get out in a minute." Don't worry
Yeah,
about it."
that was like creepy.
You knew like he will do it again. It's not just like he's getting back at people, because essentially the guy was using him to get rid of his enemies.
Yeah.
But like,
he learned to murder.
yes, he learned this was the way, and then he learned also that I'm a kid. They're not gonna do anything.
And
But
then my one
he doesn't know
comment.
he's messing with the factory.
My one
Yeah.
comment is that this child is a rat bastard, and
there
that's
you
it.
go. This
Yeah.
child is a rat bastard.
Bastard.
Okay,
rat.
episode 8, and this is where
This one's
the
interesting.
vending machines happen.
Oh.
Well, you know, a lot of times in anime they have knockoff brands because they don't want to have the actual brand.
Pepsi.
Yeah, but
So
This
they had
episode
Pepsi,
was good.
but right next to the Pepsi machine was Coca-Cola. I'm not even kidding. I sent you all that
Yeah.
image.
Yes.
It is Coca-Cola.
yeah, I totally missed that. But I saw the Pepsi, which because that one's
That one's I feel like it's been reused
yeah,
before.
it's reused a
I
lot.
love
never
how
s-
you
I've
noticed
never seen
that.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I've never
I
seen that
noticed
either.
the music. There was one particular track I liked from this that was in this episode, and I was just like, "Oh, whoa!" The rest of the soundtrack is great. Yay!
I made him come.
So basically,
It made me
the plot of this
Coca-Cola.
episode.
I made him Coca-Cola. Oh, that's how they got it. They got it from his.
I thought this
God.
was an interesting. Like episode 8 was kind of interesting just because like the power.
Well, it's also a moral dilemma.
yeah.
So basically, the plot of this episode is there's a doctor whose power is essentially kind of to transfer life.
Yes.
So him and another doctor will have a terminally ill patient who's going to die, who they can't save, and they're like, let's just find a low life and kill him,
Absolutely.
and then we'll save this person's life by doing that.
Yeah.
I do not have any qualms with this. I was actually like, "Damn! Please don't discover him. He's doing good."
And Robin, of course, gets a little bit of a cold, so they send her to the hospital, and that's how you know they have universal health care.
Oh my
I
god.
have a sore throat. I go to the hospital. Can
Secret.
you imagine?
It's not
What a
universal
perfect world.
health care. It's secret organization government health care. They get benefits.
They use taxpayers'
No,
money
you can just
for
walk
it.
in to the hospital, and they'll look at you, and they'll give you medicine.
No, I'm sure she's got the card.
She flashed
nice.
the badge saying,
Yes.
I'm a secret agent.
No, it's part of the card. It comes from the secret account, don't you know? They have structure.
Whatever.
There's structure.
So basically, I put here, man, she
Government
really
jobs
has
are
a
good.
habit of bumping into witches.
yeah.
Yeah.
She bumps into every witch that exists. Of course, the doctor that treats her is the doctor that's doing it.
Yeah.
They have a bit of a car chase because they figure out who the doctor is.
It's such a shame.
Sakaki and
I'm
I think
sad.
Karasuma they're really bad at following people in a car. It's like they
Yeah.
make it very obvious. I'm like, you guys are supposed to be like agents and good at this.
You guys are horrible.
Well, I guess they are kids now that we like know their age.
So we forgot to mention that a lot of the team is also wearing these things that help protect them against witches' powers.
Oh God, what is
Orbos?
Orbos. Yeah.
Orbo? I was gonna call it the Remnant, but that's not
The Remnant.
That's, I've been watching too much Five Nights at Freddy's shit.
I've always wanted to own
Orbo.
like a fake replica necklace of the Orbo.
Yeah.
That or a Robin's
Is it
necklace.
Orbo or Orbo?
It was spelled O-R-B-O.
Orbeez.
In the sub.
It's a Orby gel
But
balls.
when they pronounce it
Orbo.
in the sub, they're all Japanese people, so they have a bit of an accent. So
Orbo.
I don't know how you would pronounce it if you're supposed to do from like
Haribo.
English, that kind
Gummy
of thing.
bears.
But pretty much they
Edibles.
investigate them, they track them down, they figured out their scheme, and I put here it's always
God.
Sakaki because it felt like at this point, like in every episode, Sakaki's always the one. Something bad happens
Messing
to
up.
He
Well,
almost- he
he's
almost
kind of
messed
the
up.
he's
They-
kind of the front runner.
They almost
Yeah.
killed him.
He's their spear.
Yeah.
The doctor almost kills him. If he
Yeah.
didn't have the Orbo, he would have killed him.
Yeah.
But it still hurts him, and like because they chloroformed him a bit as well. So he was just like, "Oh, I'm okay. I've been chloroformed. Go on, Robin. You can do it."
Dies.
Yeah.
So they
Oh.
get onto the ledge of like
God.
scaffolding, and of course the other doctor, because he's like, "Oh, you are a man of destiny. You must continue on." He jumps at them and makes the thing collapses, and of course he kills himself essentially. Robin's
Yeah.
teetering on one of the other scaffolds, and the doctor's like, "Don't move." 'Cause
I'm a
it'll fall."
doctor.
Yeah,
I know.
doctor.
I know what I'm doing.
And then he sees his friend is dead or about to die, and he uses his power on
To
himself.
transfer his
to
own
save his
life.
God,
Yeah.
man. But they didn't deserve it. I mean, yes, morally, what they were doing was really screwed up. But I think if you're
There's a
trading,
difference between.
I think if you're trading the life of a shit person for innocent people who didn't deserve it, like,
There's a difference between
God.
a shit person and a shit person who deserve it. You can be an asshole, but that doesn't mean you've like murdered and raped a million people.
but from what they were doing, they were like bugging them and like they were killing off like actual mafia.
Yeah.
Like they're doing the police's job for them.
Oh, so you believe in the police state?
No, what did it? Where? How did you get that?
You're saying that the police should come in and kill people that deserve it.
Uh,
That's what you're
no,
saying.
Sounded
I'm
like-
That's
saying.
what you're saying the doctors are
I'm
doing.
saying.
They're picking people who deserve it because they do bad things.
No, this is like putting people who deserve to be on death row and giving their life to kids who have cancer. That's different. That's different.
How much do you have to do to be on death row?
Depends on the state.
Do you know that the people they're doing it to did enough that execution would be a fair punishment?
I know that this is where it gets.
Like I said, there's a difference
Sorry, I'm
between
just-
being an asshole and being someone who's like, I could be okay if you were executed.
This is
And they-
this is the line. There's a line to draw, but it's
Yeah.
just like I do agree not to kill them, but at the same time, it's just like if you've got evidence that these people are huge pieces of shit, maybe it doesn't hurt that they're gone. Yes, but
Yeah,
nobody
because
has
they,
to like
They bring
them.
up that dilemma. There was like at least like kids were saved because of it.
But
Yeah.
a good dude died because he was a good dude, and that's my only comment for that episode.
Maybe he
I
was
love
the
my
worst of them
comments.
all.
I have no
It is-
recollection on this next
It
episode.
is weird.
Episode 9 is the one where it's the guy running for office. It's the politician dude
Oh
who
no!
had the girl who basically kidnap kids,
Okay, yeah.
sell them, and then send them to foreign countries to have their organs harvested.
Yeah.
Human trafficking.
This is the episode where she cuts the lock. It wasn't the other one.
Oh, Where-
Basically,
where was
she
I
meets
for this
someone.
episode?
dead.
Basically, that's the
Asleep.
villain of the
Awkward.
episode. They also meet someone who basically has kind of it's the same power as Robin, but her fire is blue. They have
Yeah.
a fire battle. The other note I have for this is, damn, Michael's the most important team member. Without them, they can't function.
Oh,
Main
yeah, no,
shit
Michael's
without him.
badass.
That's why they
Uh,
blackmailed him.
Yeah.
Like,
I
we're not
put-
gonna.
He'd be a
I'll put
big asset.
here,
You're a dog.
It was same power syndrome because it feels like every anime or every superhero always has to have someone who has the same power, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
At this point, I also put, I'm amazed at how little they've explained how powers or crafts actually
Murder.
work.
I just killed a bug. I'm
Mate.
sorry.
Yeah.
Wait,
Murder.
are
And
we
then
still on episode?
Episode 9,
Nine.
and then it ends with more mysterious Amon talk. I mean, that's basically
Okay.
that's basically episode 9.
So
I don't
pretty
know
much
what-
talking
I-
about omens and all that.
Okay, so this is my comment. I guess for whatever reason I didn't list who it was, and I say if she wasn't crazy, she would be justified. Who am I talking about?
Probably the girl.
The girl, yeah.
Because she was going around killing the people who sell kids to be
Yeah.
harvested.
Oh, so
Like,
it's
it was-
another
It was
one
her
of those.
sister. She was also doing the astral projection thing, which would make like her sister when her sister died, who was like 8, appear in cars and appear in places like that.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
probably who you're talking
okay.
about. And she had the same powers. Well, I
Yeah.
guess not the same power, but she also had fire.
So I agree with her. If she's doing good, let her keep doing
I agree
it.
more with that guy because he's actually, he's killed people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all I have to say
So
about
that's
that
that
one.
episode.
But this show's interesting though, isn't it?
Yeah. Episode 10
recommend
is
it.
the episode
Aw.
where Robin and Dojima go undercover at the bar for
That's
no reason.
That you know what that was for.
Because they're wearing the most super revealing uniforms you can possibly imagine. And let me remind you that Robin is 15.
15.
Yeah.
And
Number
after that-
15.
It's a good episode.
Well,
though.
it's pretty good, but
I
like,
guess
there's also a
that's
moment
still
where Robin's
cool.
like doing the thing with the ice when she makes the ball, and like the guy who's like 50 just watching her's like,
You're good
"You're
at that.
good with your hands."
Yeah, that was a little creepy.
And I was, just like, and then she just has, like I don't know if she was like the customer service, like I have to be okay with it, or if she was just
Naive.
naive about it. But she smiles, she's like, "Oh, thank you."
Thank you.
I think because they kind of touch on like some of her mannerisms and stuff. Because
She had like
Dojima was like, "You're not saying that correctly" or whatever.
Yeah,
What?
well, it was. I found that that was a thing in the series I actually appreciated because a lot of times when it's like when the character's foreign and they go to Japan and like they're fine.
Yeah.
They just function.
They're fucking.
they're fucking fine. But this time she does have like cultural things, and earlier on in the episodes, like the one with they go see the old lady, she doesn't bow.
Yeah.
and
she's
Dojima
like,
makes her bow.
Yeah, pushes her
because
down.
she has these cultural differences. Because well,
People don't fucking bow in Italy.
yes. So basically, in that episode.
No, this episode almost. I was because it was foreshadowing stuff, and I was like, no, please don't kill my dude Harry.
Yeah.
No.
The only other thing I know happened was like Amon has more mysterious talk with Toka. We don't know what their relationship is. I don't even know if we actually ever,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
I thought they were dating.
They're
But then
Toko
they're
and Alma were
bonking.
dating.
but
Yeah.
she asked, and then they were
They're
like, "Oh
bonking.
no!" So it's like she was just lying. I guess.
Well, because he breaks up with her in
yes.
that episode.
Mm.
Or
It was
the
more
next-
like just
they're bonking.
things can't happen.
Okay. bonk.
Bonk,
But
bonk,
pretty
bonk.
much, we find out
have
Harry's
to
son
be.
was a witch, and he was sent away,
Yeah.
and then he came back, and
Yeah.
then he's dying there,
Because
and
he got
then
stabbed on
he
the
gets-
way in.
Yes, the creepy
Yeah.
guy from the beginning, I guess, was Yakuza.
Yes. He got in with
But
the
that's
wrong
like
people.
a very.
Another mom. See, but if the doctor had stayed alive, this wouldn't have happened.
They would have killed that guy.
I'm just
now.
saying. But they might have killed Harry's
I don't know. There's,
son too.
yeah,
Yeah.
because Harry's son has killed people. So it's
Yeah.
like,
You never know.
but that was like very. Like I
Would've
don't
been
remember
a
the
nice
details of it
crossover.
because that episode got a bit confusing for me.
Because they were trying to track somebody.
And,
They were
yeah,
trying to find the person who was looking for Harry because Harry was like, "Oh, my son's probably going to come kill me. He doesn't like me." Because
but that's like a
shoot
very ineffective way to like as you walk by, you shank a guy in the stomach.
Right.
Like there is no guarantee.
in the
death.
blind spot of the cameras too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was very smart.
Yeah.
It just sucked.
But like Harry's son dies and Harry's sad, and that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
episode.
It
The
was,
only-
it
the
was
only-
a very sad episode.
Other two
But
comments.
my God, we got to see Robin and Dojima's soldiers.
Yeah.
Soldiers.
Is Dojima
Yeah.
of age?
She's 18
she's
apparently.
18. Apparently. Yeah.
Apparently. I looked it up. I got curious. I just in Google I put which one of Robin Dojima age,
I don't know.
and it says 18. That's
what-
the same with Karasuma. It's 19. I was like, that's so.
Yeah.
It's like Doki Doki.
Yeah.
It's like where it's like
Don't.
we just wanted them to be the right age, even though they don't look it.
Don't,
So
yeah.
canonically, they're all 18 in Doki Doki. But
it's
I'm like, really?
like,
So there's three things.
Okay.
One, Harry's for some reason, I guess is sponsored by, or I guess Harry sponsors the secret government organization or something. I don't know why they're so like.
Why they
are
always
they?
go there? That's their place.
Yeah, but why are they working for him too? On top of that, they're not getting paid, or is this part of that was? I guess that was part of their mission.
It was
but
part
like,
of the mission, I would think.
But it's just so like
I mean, it felt like part of the mission, but also like a
they're
favor.
actually working
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I think they asked
Because
him.
they're chill with Harry. I mean Harry.
Yeah.
They're chill with the guy, I guess. But at the same time, it's
Master.
like I feel like they have a thing because they're right next door to each other. So it's like
Yeah.
they're familiar with stuff. Second comment, I guess, is Robin's roast game is strong. I don't know when it happened or why, but it was interesting.
I don't remember.
I don't remember in detail enough about that.
And then my third comment is just Harry, bro.
Oh.
Hugs.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
You're still my son.
Harry's like wholesome as shit.
Right.
love
I
him.
always liked Harry.
Well, Harry.
Yeah.
Master.
Even though we don't
Master.
know his actual Master.
It's Yuji.
I love Master. Yuji. I love Yuji. He's such a great character, and he
He
has a
is
great
Okay.
very
mind.
good character.
Episode
I would
11.
visit his lounge every week.
Episode 11. This is the one with the electrical guy, and it's
Electric witch.
Yeah,
the
this
first
is-
introduction of the walled city, which they love saying in English in the subs, and it got kind of funny.
Really?
Yes, because the walled city.
Walled city.
Oh.
The factory is being weird. They don't know what's up with that. In this episode, just going through a couple of my notes. In this episode, I realized Robin's dress is really fucking long.
Yeah.
She's
Mhm.
dragging that on the ground 24/7. And like, you are a duster.
This is what you
That
get
must
for
suck
Gothic.
to
Yeah.
I know, it's
style.
like you sacrificing for the style, for the aesthetic, but it's like you must have to wash that like every 2 hours. You're getting all the dirt.
Well, she's also very like a clean freak too, because she
Yeah.
likes to clean things. So, well, we learned because it was part of her chores of the the chores at the convent or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes. That was another note when Toko comes home and she's like cleaning the bathroom. He's like, "Oh, you don't have to do that." She's like, "I'm used to it. It's what I do."
Yeah.
You get used to it.
Basically, also in this episode, he finds dead bodies that have been electrified. There have been light bulbs, and Robin takes one of the light bulbs.
Yeah.
from the
Again,
scene.
Robin taking some or finding something that
Yes.
like no one's like
This is
and I'm just
interesting.
stop touching things.
No touching.
But I solved the mystery before you, so
Yeah,
yeah.
that's another thing where it's like sometimes it's like
y'all suck.
sometimes like the people involved aren't always the best at investigating shit.
That good old Italian Catholic.
This is her first
Education.
encounter with the old wise lady in the walled city, and
The walled city's an interesting place.
she says cryptic shit, as you can imagine.
Yep.
is that
uh,
like Porville? Like,
There's another part where basically, like they said, it's like a high density population. It's like 100,000 people, and like
and half of them are witches.
apparently,
Or
we
we
haven't-
give the power to.
yeah.
we just
other
haven't
people.
gone in there and burned the whole place down.
Basically, the end is Robin beats the guy, of course, and there's a part where she has to hop on Tsukaki's bike, and she hangs onto the back, but she doesn't get a helmet. Even though in a previous episode, Dojima was on the bike with him, and she had a helmet. So I was just like, "You're not as important."
But weren't they on a thing? They're doing a thing. Weren't they like?
Well, I mean, they were on a mission.
Yeah,
but it's like
so
he
they were
should
in a
have
hurry.
his spare helmet when he's on a mission with them.
Yeah.
Because
Forgot
what
it.
was the point?
You gotta give them some.
But basically, at the end, old lady's up to something. Episode 12.
Continuation of that episode. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
so this is the first time where it's not episodic.
Right.
This is the first time when it's like
A
one
continuation.
episode leads directly pretty much into the next episode.
Yeah.
Robin
Which is good.
returns to the Wall City. They bring up the Salem witch trials.
Wall City.
Yes, they're sending
Wall
messages
City.
to Robin's terminal in the office,
Buy Subway.
and I just put lots of Subway.
You might be a witch.
We're going there after this.
No, we're not going to Subway.
It might be closed anyway.
Oh.
No, it depends. Maybe.
On the inside. Wait, there's no drive-through.
I was about to say,
Not-
Damn it, Subway! Where's my drive-through?
wait out back for them to throw the trash. There you go.
I guess you can't
Dive in the
customize a
dumpster.
sandwich to the drive-through unless you order just the sandwich.
Well,
like-
just tell them what you want. What's the difference?
It
If you-
takes longer, especially if you're doing like 5 sandwiches.
I guess, but like, what is the difference of like saying I want this, this, and this on the thing?
And they might
You're just
screw
not
up your
seeing
order.
it. That's the difference.
They might screw it up. At
Well,
least if
that's
you're right in
anywhere.
front of them, you can watch them do it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
you're,
God.
See,
I'm not gonna tell that story.
Tanner, this guy, he's got to be right in front of the poor food workers, making sure they don't mess up. He's got his whip ready.
No, I'm
Oh,
very
please.
forgiving.
Please.
Come
It's-
on.
Carlos, it's his natural state of being.
No, what is wrong with y'all?
Now that one got me right there.
What was that?
Basically, more cryptic stuff is happening with the old lady, and Robin's having a discussion with her. I felt like a lot of it kind of falls flat because they haven't really explained exactly what the difference between a witch and a craft user is. So, like, the insinuation is
Yes.
that, oh, Robin, you're actually a witch. But I'm like, you haven't told me what the difference is. At least I felt in my interpretation.
thought
maybe
they were the
I
same.
missed something completely.
It's like
But-
because she was raised in the Catholic
And then
Church.
I thought that's what it was implying. It's like, oh, well, a bad person who has powers is the witch. A good person is using a craft. And I'm like, is that just like a double standard? Or?
No, it's just a good way to discriminate against
Yes.
bad.
No, it's because budget cuts. Like they just
so
deemed it as
basically,
it's like, get rid of her.
like the old
Budget
lady
cuts.
appears in her head and is like saying, ooh, are you sure you're doing the right thing? And another reason why, at least here, like the moral argument of hunting witches falls flat is because everyone we've seen her go after is a murderer.
Yeah.
And it's not like later on, they'd have like the more innocent people who haven't actually done anything yet.
Yeah.
But every person Robin hunted that we were shown up to this point murder people. There is a legitimate reason to capture them and take them from society because they are a danger and they have done bad things.
Yeah.
So I felt a weird placing for the moral question of their actions to be questioned when they haven't really done anything wrong. And basically at the end, I put the old lady kind of used Robin for suicide because I guess allegedly she was like 300 years old.
Yeah,
and
she was a Salem witch.
She wanted to die. And Robin helps her out.
So
Well, it was something about like once she passed that message on, her time had come essentially.
Yeah.
So
Or she was just like, I'm done. I'm out.
yeah.
So essentially, what you're saying, this was an assisted suicide.
well,
Kind of.
did she get burned?
Yeah.
She burned, but I don't think
But
Robin
only-
did it, did she?
think
Wasn't
she
it her
did.
that she just put it herself on fire?
I don't.
Because she was a powerful Salem witch who can
Yeah.
give witch powers to other people. So.
But then she was like,
But she gave her the goods,
yeah, she
but they
gave her
were
the
shot-
the witch
relic.
goods.
I don't remember. Maybe I'd have to go back and rewatch it.
I think
my interpretation.
she passed it on. She passed on the truth of the witches to
Which,
her.
yeah, and that ancient relic thing.
You are
Yes.
the witch.
Either way, she was gone and she passed.
Yeah,
on
she passed.
Yeah.
knowledge.
My only comment was, "This is sad." That was it.
Yeah.
It was sad,
Yeah.
but I agree with what you're saying. But what are you on me? Nobody thought that was sad.
Well, like I said, it feels like she was actually helped her. It wasn't that it was. She was.
So what? It's still murder.
I mean, I guess if she indeed was the one who killed her, and it wasn't
She
just
let go.
yeah. Episode
know.
13, they pick up the old man Inquisitor.
Yep.
And
and then we don't remember.
no, but pretty much
He's like a super mega hunter, essentially.
well, his
like-
job is to find other people who might be good for hunting. And he interrogates them using this contraption of a machine, and he asks them questions, and then the machine reacts to their answers.
It'd be
There's also,
funny if it was just rigged. It's based on whoever's controlling its bias. So it's just like, are you a good witch? Yes. It's like, I don't like you. Get out.
and then pretty much the guy they're investigating is already someone on edge who's like developing witch powers. And there's a part here I don't remember who or what, but it was like I think it was for Michael or something. Like browsing porn sites was prohibited for something.
What? Because he can't get around the blocker?
I don't
Or
remember
so
that.
something. I don't know why. I wrote that down in my notes.
Huh.
That's
That was
interesting.
something that happened. Again, I would watch the episode just a week ago, so I don't know why I don't remember that. But anyway, the guy, they reject him, and then the guy, of course, like, oh, well, he'll mess up. He'll kill someone in a minute, don't worry. And of course, he does start attacking, and Robin kills him, but by kind of accident. She didn't intend to do it.
Yeah.
But she did.
Yes.
Self-defense.
And so this is the inclination that, well, first it's like, oh, is Robin losing control of her powers, or what's up with that?
Yeah.
Are we still on this episode?
Sure. Do you have anything else to say?
Well, I'm just picturing the Inquisition happening, right? And it's just like,
I thought of that the whole episode.
well,
No
so-
one expects Solomon's Inquisition.
so you're a witch, yes? Yes. Ding 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 ding, ding. Are you gonna be a good witch?
Yeah. Yeah.
I might be. Yeah. You hesitated. No, no. All right, I'm gonna kill. Let's go to the next part.
Okay, episode 14 is when shit starts going down.
I thought you were gonna say hit the fan.
No, not yet.
Is this episode 14?
Yes.
I literally just said that. Shit got real after this. It's like, here we go. And then I
So-
stopped making a list and rolled with it. So,
Yeah.
after this point.
So in this episode, they're on a hunt, and Robin is trapped in ruins or circles on the ground during the hunt, and she's shot, but not shot exactly. She's shot with something, but it's not like a straight up bullet.
Isn't she
Yeah.
getting hunted
Yes.
at this point?
This is kind of the start of her getting hunted.
This is the hunt arc.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's because the Inquisitor was like,
I'm not sure
that
about
craft
her.
user.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
she's
sure
got.
So
I think she's got the witch sense.
basically, Robin keeps just escaping, and
Shoot to the witches.
the others are starting to investigate, and they have shell casings. And Michael investigates like, oh, these were used, by us a few years ago, and so it
Yeah.
changed over. And then it cuts to Amon, who gathers like all the shell casings from the scene, and he's getting rid of the evidence. And they're like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because Robin found one.
yes,
Yeah,
Robin found
Robin
one,
took
and she
one.
took it and she gave it to Michael to investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Robin returns home, and she sees Toko is tied up, and they're there waiting for her. And
Oh
they're-
my God, this sucked.
And they're shooting at her, and there's a part where Robin does a straight up barrel roll, and it was like, yay.
Yay. Her.
And then eventually she manages to drive them off, and then Togo's taken to the hospital, and then they're like, well, Robin has to stay at HQ, and they're all staying with her at HQ. And of course, it was the stereotypical, let's talk loudly about the thing we don't want her to know about while she sleeps in the room next door. And that's what they did.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, what'd they talk about?
They were talking about, it was like the team, like they were talking about Kate. The first mention of by name of Kate, who was the craft
Previous.
user before
Robin.
Robin that was
Because
on
there
the
was
team.
one, but that's the only reason they
That-
brought one
They
in. is
mentioned
'cause
that they had one
another
before, but they didn't give her name before. It was Kate. It cuts the end of the episode. It cuts to their boss, who we haven't mentioned much.
Zyzen.
Zyzen.
I don't. Is that his actual name or is that the medication? I think it's Ryzen.
I think Zyzen is what his name
But
is.
Zyzen is a medication.
Verizon.
It could
Hey,
be,
man.
but Verizon.
But it cuts to Zyzen kicking Amon because he basically blames him for Toko.
Yeah.
Toko. I can't remember if it's
Toko.
Toko or Toka.
I
It
don't-
wasn't
Toko.
that important
Yeah,
of a character
I don't remember
to
her.
care.
Tapioca.
But now episode 15, my favorite episode.
Means it's his
One
most hated.
Piece.
Basically, episode 15, Robin is freaking out, justifiably so, because she doesn't know what's up. In this episode, the chief actually starts doing something because they're all sitting around. Amon is there, like, what do we do? And like, and Michael says something like, well, I could try and hack this thing, but it'd be obvious I'm doing it, so I don't know what to do. And Steve's like, hold on, I got a guy. I'll make a call.
Yeah.
So it's like the first time he's like earning his existence. We finally confirmed that Zyzen is Toka's father, and that's why he's mad at Amon. Yes.
You weren't supposed to let this happen.
In this
It's all
episode,
your fault. And it's like, no,
Well,
y'all are the bad people.
well,
here
we
right
don't
now.
know the specifics of everything yet. In this episode, Dojima also takes charge and actually
Yes.
does stuff.
It's like the first time.
Glad
Glad that she
Robin
cares.
all has a nice talk with the master, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." And he's like everyone's dad.
It's Harry, man.
It's Harry. He's just like,
He's the
"Oh,
shit.
well, believe in yourself. It'll be okay."
I love his English voice. though,
Yeah.
because it's just so gentle and just, you know what, girl, you do your thing.
Did he really say it like
No,
that?
I mean the voice is very
Would have been
calm
hilarious.
and just very like you're safe here, honey. Everything's fine.
Did he say honey?
No.
Okay.
But he could
I'm
have.
putting words into his
I
mouth.
know. That's why
I'm just giving you like a.
Well, because
That's
he
why I
does
said
have,
he's the ambiguously
knowledgeable.
gay character.
he has
trope.
that vibe, but I wondered in the
He's
dub if they actually
kind.
were like, "We'll go full on with
Not
this."
full on. I'm just
Okay.
saying like.
No, still
full-
early 2000s. It
Girl,
wasn't too...
can you leave these witches up here?
No. It's more like you can stay here as long as you need to.
Okay. That's good.
honey.
But then,
But
this
I
is
mean,
when
like
the shit.
he cares about
Robin,
you.
honey, Sena.
Like he'd be like, "You're my son." It's like, you're my
That's
whore.
why I said dad. It feels like he's like,
I'm a
"Oh, I
pig
adopt
daddy."
all of you. You're all my kids."
Like,
Yeah.
son, you can stay here as long as you need.
But
to.
in that episode,
I hate that. That's like the only thing I can say. It's
Except
just
for
like,
today, you gotta get.
would you like some tea? I'll make you some tea.
I'll make you a sandwich.
I could tell that you're hungry, so I made you this sandwich. I've got you this sandwich from Subway.
Full circle.
Yeah, we have the Subway's.
Oh,
on the other
Harry's-
side.
Harry's
I got
shit
it out
is
of the
premium.
dumpster for you.
I would pay premium for Harry's
But anyway,
food. and
The
drink.
headquarters.
H quarters is officially attacked.
Yes.
We don't know who it is exactly, but we find out later
So
that
intense.
it's the factory.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we see the straight up firefight, and I feel bad for all the others because all they have is the handguns with the tranquilizers in it. And when they bust in, we're assuming these are live fucking rounds.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
and
this
they
was
do
like,
get hit, and there is a bit of blood.
Yeah.
So,
and you're like,
They're
oh
bleeding.
no!
Yeah, it's intense.
and
Everyone died.
it felt like that for a
Yes.
second. Robin tries to get away, and she's like, "Oh, this is it," because they're aiming for her. And last second, Amon pops in with the flash grenade, and he's like, come with me. Like he saved.
Oh, okay. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Come with me, you
Oh,
suck.
why no one else
Come
say it?
on.
You should have not done it.
Damn it.
The joke is always on Tanner. That's how we
Oh
function.
man, I'm sorry. I
Can
was,
we
I was
all
very
do it?
excited about
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Hey, stop it.
Not you, him.
1, 2, 3. Come with me. Carlos didn't do it. Okay, we're done. Keep going.
Well, just imagine Crispin
Damn.
Freeman saying that.
Come with me.
Yes.
If you want to live.
And so he's running through the building. And I find
Punching the codes.
it's realistic, but also kind of funny that every
Yeah.
floor he has to pull the thing down, punch in
the
the code,
code.
but it gives him time to give more exposition.
Yeah.
And because at this
Yes.
point she wasn't sure if Alman was on their side because he was MIA.
Yes.
And she's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Yes, I hunted Kate, but it was okay because she was actually turned out to be bad, basically."
Well,
Yeah.
but then also the thing is too is the reason he was ambiguous is because from the very beginning, Zyzen was like, "Watch her,"
Yes.
and like he was basically, like Amon was basically his watchdog and
Yeah.
everything. So it's like you didn't know up until this point whether he was going to side with his boss or if he was going to side with Robin.
Yeah.
And it's like it's cool that he's like, "Yes, good job," because if he didn't side with her, I'd be like, "Fuck you,"
Yeah.
like you're a dick.
Well,
I'm
we'll
glad
get-
that they kept it
We'll
ambiguous.
get more
though.
into this later.
I'm
But
glad.
it's like I never felt such because Robin's arc for that like string of episodes also the turmoil with Amon because she doesn't know what's up with him.
Yeah.
But my problem was I never felt any real dynamic or connection between them really.
No.
So I felt like that part fell flat, and we'll get more into that as we go.
Well, yeah, but like I thought he was like discriminating her because she was a witch and everything.
But even then, it's like
I thought that was the whole thing.
I've seen
he's-
that arc done better, where it's someone who holds others at a distance, but there's still enough enduring and connectional tissue with the other characters that you as the viewer still feel.
Yeah.
You would feel more what Robin is feeling. You fear more of his betrayal, but it's not there
Because
for me at least.
there is not enough of a connection.
Yes.
So it's just weird that he just kind of.
But
Hey.
anyway, they're going down the
I'll do the right
staircase.
thing.
They're punching in the code to get down to every floor.
And they're just busting through every door.
Yes. he opens the secret compartment into the well, and he's trying to get her down in the hole.
Get in the hole.
Get in the hole, Robin.
No,
and then
Amon,
she keeps
no.
saying, "No, let me stay with you."
I'm gonna kill everyone with fire. Let me stay.
He's like, "No,
That's
I gotta
exactly
go."
why
Stay
you
down
should.
there.
And this had a moment where I was almost, I don't know if angry was the word, but when it happened, I was like, "Don't you fucking dare!" And you know what moment I'm talking about, I'm sure. No,
No.
is when he leans down and it looks like he's about to kiss her.
Oh.
Goodbye.
They got it was framed like that, and I
Yeah.
was just like,
I thought so too. Because
Don't
it's like,
you
are you
fucking
really?
dare.
Well,
No,
and
you
see,
can't do this. She's
for that being
15.
my
"You are
first
10 years older than her. You
Sorry.
are an adult.
No, you're
she
fine.
is literally a child."
You go.
being that was my first episode, and as far as I remember, there was no mention of age
Yeah.
at any
Oh.
time during that episode.
Thought you were gonna say AIDS.
In that episode,
Hope not.
that was my first episode, so I thought they were the same age or
Yes.
around the same age. So I was like, yes.
And you would
And
be
the
perfectly
opening.
fine to assume that
Yeah.
if you
The-
went in blind. 'Cause
Yeah.
The opening
She does
is
not
biased.
look any.
That's why I always shipped them when I was
Older.
younger.
Does not look any younger really than the other women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a base. So it's weird.
Thanks
And
a lot.
He's 25 and she's 15.
Japan.
So I was
Thanks a
just
lot.
like-
Sunrise.
But he
Damn
leans
it.
down and it was totally intentional too.
Oh yeah.
There's
With the
no,
note in
like-
her hair.
Again, let me put this in your hair. I could just hand it to you. I could, but I got to be seductive and make it the framing, make it look like I'm about to kiss you because we know people would have that on their mind.
I was saying it a second ago, but I mean we were sorry for trying to over.
No, please.
Oh,
go.
what
no,
you're
go for
saying.
I'm going over
The
this.
opening. The opening.
Yes.
The opening is just like she's 15.
Yeah.
It's like making her horny for him.
She's
God.
very sensual.
God.
She's very
Oh, the
hide
TV.
in her
Oh, I'm
face.
on a TV outlet
and it's
guy.
mostly directed at Amon and his image. And like Brandon's just an hour ago
Oh.
or so sent us the picture of her like leaning on the TV, like
Pining for him.
pining for
Yeah.
him. And I'm
Stop
just
it.
like,
Japan,
You can't-
everybody.
you can't do it like that and
Yeah.
just be the idea of she wants the connection
She can have the
because you're not
connection.
Yeah.
framing it like that. It's
Right.
obvious
This
what you're
ain't-
doing there.
This ain't
Yeah.
a buddy cop thing where the cops.
Well,
It doesn't work that
uh,
way.
Friends with benefits.
While we're talking about this too, now having rewatched
like
it, being how old I
teacher
am now,
student thing.
I kind of see it more of like a she sees him as a father figure. It doesn't come off that way, obviously, but like that's how I'm interpreting it. Is it's a father figure?
Sorry,
It's
no.
like this guy's giving me like the father figure that I never really got because I've come from like a convent.
Bullshit.
thing.
Well,
They
And
had
he's kind of
priests.
playing hard to get, but I still want him as my father.
I'd say
As my
I'd say
daddy.
not necess-
as my daddy.
My-
I'd say not necessarily about like a father figure, but they did touch on and kind of focus on the idea of partner. I'm supposed to be your partner.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say it was supposed to be more like that.
Yeah.
But
no.
no, the framing of it-
Yeah, it doesn't
The,
come
no.
off that way.
the opening, what you did.
It's senpai.
Yeah.
It's senpai. That's what it is. He is her senpai,
Yeah.
and she looks up to him, and she wants his approval.
Yeah.
That's what it
'Cause
is.
he's literally
Stop
playing hard to
making it
get.
anything
But
else other
He's
than
like,
that.
I don't want to take you on like a mission, but she's like, but why? Like you're supposed to.
It's like, well, you know what? Fine, go with me. I hope you die.
You're supposed to. You can't go for it. Like, oh, just pat her on the head, please. Like,
I mean,
aw,
she is everyone's
no!
everyone's little Kohai.
Dick. But that's what I'm
But
saying.
you could,
is-
but
that's all
even
it should be, though.
even in those stories that you're
That
talking
works.
about, when it's like, you know, the junior and the senior,
Yes.
Yeah.
there's almost 99% there's always romantic undertones to it.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
like,
but
it's
not,
so-
you can't do that here.
It's so hard. It's so
It's
hard
wholesome.
for you to do that kind of thing without that undertone. But like, and here,
They're forcing it.
they're obvious. It's like we've already established. We said many times, they're
Run.
not framing it like that.
Yeah.
They're not selling it to you like that.
Yeah.
And I know some people will say, well, you know, they're not. It was never that. And even the people who come out, and
No.
even the people who made
No.
it and wrote the entire thing might come out and say, oh no, it was never. And that was like, no,
They're just like, I'm just picturing.
you
like,
can't tell me that when you have that opening, when you
Yeah.
have that almost kiss.
And
when you have
Sunrise.
that's
all of
why,
it.
like, I almost feel like the age thing was supposed like a like incorrect thing that they ended up doing because it's like if she was just 18 and he was still 25, it would be fine. Like, I mean, yeah, still kind of.
It would be a
but
lot
like,
better.
But I
better.
understand.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Legality wise, a lot better.
But just to get a bit more on track, episode 15 ends and she goes down in the hole. And he says, if I'm not at the end of the thing, then
and,
go.
And the one thing about it'll come up later, but like he cuts off right before he says the last thing, and it's almost like you can't hear because it's like sealed. But then she freaking talks to someone through the well later. She talks to Michael.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, he just cut off
Well,
what he
I
was
don't-
saying.
Well, no, they heard the gunshots and then him.
Yeah, but
Getting
it's
taken
like
away,
He,
that's
Well, I
right.
thought it was
like,
supposed to be that, you know, stereotypical thing where obviously audience don't get to hear what he says.
yeah.
She went out
That's
that hole.
true.
Oh,
Yeah. He
There you
also
go.
had
That's
her
it.
make the hole to make it seem like she went that way.
Yeah.
And at the end, you see him on the ground, but of course, I never thought for a second he was going to die.
Oh,
Of
yeah,
course.
Even though he probably should have died, they
This whole
probably should
episode
have
was-
killed him,
bamboozled.
but
We were all bamboozled.
we're bamboozled.
Well, the fact
But-
you probably didn't want to kill him because he's probably one of their best.
I know that, but in their minds, he just betrayed them anyway. So it's like, I don't know why they would keep him alive.
I'm just picturing, like, all of like Sunrise having a press conference and apologizing for the fact that they made Robin 15, and they all just bowing. Whoever wrote this, well, but
It's-
then again, was it a manga before or a light
No,
novel?
this is an original anime.
Okay, then they
It
they
is-
have all
it's
the
completely
responsibility
their
for this.
creation.
Then they're all just sitting there bowing and saying sorry. And it's
Well,
like, oops.
it's again,
Oops.
someone else might come in and say, well, it's, you know, cultural differences, and some
Yeah, thank you, Japan.
Some real nerd guy will be like, actually, the age of consent in Japan is 13.
Yeah, localization,
But it's
Yeah.
not actually.
actually,
But it's just like with the character design, they look older.
Yes.
It's
But
just like-
to answer the
There
age
you
of
go.
consent in 13 is 13
Japan.
in Japan thing,
there you go.
technically,
Have fun with that.
like the national age is 13. That's a holdover from centuries ago now. Every province usually has it at 16. But it also gets really, really wonky. It depends on each case.
So you're saying Amon's gonna wait one more year?
Maybe.
Oh no.
I mean, how
But-
long was she there?
I
Was
feel
that
like a
was
lot
that
of
her
time has
birthday?
passed.
A couple months. So
Happy
maybe
bir-
she's 16 by now.
He like kisses her, happy birthday, Rob.
God. But no, like, I remember going down that rabbit hole of like age of consent things in Japan. And one of the things that happens a lot, well, not a lot, but like the issue that comes up a lot with age of consent is like when a high school student gets with a teacher kind of thing.
Ooh.
Where if the school finds out, of course, they will fire him. But then it's like, well, what are the legal things of this? And a really weird thing is basically like if the teacher more or less says, no, it's not just lust, I love her, and marries her, then legally they won't do anything a lot of the time.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's why age of consent is closer. It's wonky. It's more closer to like 16, 18. But it's no one in Japan is just being okay with you marrying a 13-year-old.
Oh yeah.
Like every nerd dude who likes popping up that fact in any argument when this comes up with Japanese culture
Watch out, Twitter.
around anime,
Uh-oh.
it's not a functioning law.
Yeah, no one like does that.
No one says this is my 13-year-old bride.
Yeah.
Like
But-
that's not just happening.
But actually, I don't have anything to say. I'm just
I know.
mimicking.
Insert nerds who are really into lollies.
I don't have a basement full of them.
Oh God.
We won't go down there.
I
Too
think we
late, down the rabbit hole.
did we once.
That's
Maybe.
probably.
Wait, what?
But yeah,
The-
it's
the-
like
It's okay. Move forward.
But,
Move
yeah.
forward.
Well, we're kind of at like the halfway point, so
Let's just
Yeah.
let's talk about lollies and stuff.
No.
But yeah, like
It's a thing.
again, because it's like I had different conceptions of like how old the characters were. Literally, I didn't know their ages until I watched it this time
Yeah.
because I'd watched because I had watched it from beginning to end.
And I wouldn't
At-
know anyone else outside of Robbins if I hadn't looked it up.
Yeah,
And as I said, Brandon, your thoughts are perfectly acceptable because you were that age when
Yeah.
you watched it.
yeah, because
So
I
it's
was
okay.
like
You
10
didn't know.
when it came out.
Ignorance is bliss.
I think it would have aired on Adult Swim like in 04, but
I
they,
don't know how I
okay,
they
missed
would
it.
have repeated that.
Yeah, so
They would've
still,
gotten a lot of
I was
out
like
of it.
middle school probably.
I don't know how
But-
I missed this show. It's weird.
I might have, in my memory deep down, I might have seen like a clip of it before. But yeah,
But
my
yeah, then,
memories
like-
of Adult Swim are like I kept seeing the same episode of Cowboy Bebop and Fully Cooley like over and over.
Yeah.
Literally for 19 years though, I was shipping Robin and Amon,
Oh.
and it's like
It's okay.
But like we've established, it is built that way.
What?
Let's
Yeah.
just, for the sake of this podcast, make her 18.
No,
No.
Does that fix it?
no,
No.
No?
I mean it's better, but I don't know. I still think 18, 25 is a big of a gap. Because legally, okay, you're
Yeah.
adult, but
it's still weird.
this is adult, and then this is like
Is it
Very
weird that
big
I was,
adult.
that like, it was fine that she was 15? Like, I believed it? Like, is that okay?
No. Oh no! Now you're just reminding me of like a Twitter thread I spent like an hour reading.
Really?
Oh no! It's just like what was like the event at your high school, and then people replied what it was.
Pepper spray?
And one person's was the coach slept with this girl the entire time at high school, and when she, for whatever reason, they thought when she turned 18, everything would be okay. So they went to her parents and said, "We'd like to be together. We've been actually together since 15."
Oh God.
Oh my God.
And of course, it wasn't okay.
Yeah.
And of course, they arrested him because they were stupid.
That is so stupid.
Yes. For some reason, they thought, "Oh, she's 18 now. It's okay to literally admit to everyone
that we were like
we were
ugh.
doing stuff."
Why don't you wait one more year? Date one more year, and then
Even then, it's creepy.
Yeah.
It is, but
it's creepy. Just don't.
it's
If
a
you if
little
they
more
want to be together, if they're in
believable.
love, whatever, cool, whatever. But like, yeah, no, don't
that,
bring it
no,
up. To
that
people.
that never mind. Never
Ugh.
mind. Forget I even.
Yeah,
That's not
it's
acceptable.
Yeah,
It's just
it's gross,
Hmm.
but
anyway.
It's like I've had my eye on you
God.
since you were in my class,
But
God.
teacher, you're blind.
and now I've got my hands wrapped around your
I thought you were gonna rhyme there.
bass.
Thank you.
I got this big fish.
Okay, since we kind of took
So
that
for the
break,
pussy.
now it's time
God,
for the.
we do not, as this podcast
No,
does
yeah,
not
no.
condone
no,
pedophilia of
no,
any
we do not.
kind.
No.
Jesus,
This
no.
is all just humor.
Yes.
God, because this happened at our school
Oh, yes, it did.
twice. Oh no, maybe 3 times.
Or 4.
I think that's another discussion.
Don't say that. Or 5.
Because the
God.
one I only
Woo!
knew of one, but like that's
Damn.
It happened at my school, but after I left.
Mhm.
And at the local
I
library.
think it was after I left.
It was
if we're
after.
talking about the event at the school that you and I went
the
to.
event.
Okay.
The event.
Okay. Okay, episode 16.
Bonk.
It's a month later. Robin is essentially working as a bike messenger.
Robin is now 16.
She's on the lam.
Oh, she's now 16.
She's a DoorDasher.
I know. Well, like no one else but me will get this reference, but there was a TV show called Dark Angel where her job was to work as a bike messenger, and anytime Robin was doing that, I just thought of that series.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, and this is the episode where like it's like a minute long, where the little girl like stares at Robin through the door, and it just like focuses on that for like 30 seconds or something. And it just felt
I remember
so
that
weird
because it's like
I
on
was
the
like,
kid
pan
for a
away.
bit, and then
I'm
it
at
goes
the
to
door.
Robin, and then it's like Robin doesn't know how to react,
and the
then,
kid's just like,
and then she smiles.
Please
Yeah,
let me in.
it's just
I'm
like-
at the door.
They
Let me
start
in.
the insinuation here that
the
the
door.
attack on headquarters wasn't for actually Robin. It was a cover to get something else. Probably information on the Orbos.
The Orbeez.
Orbos.
Yeah.
Robin parks her bike and then comes out, and the guy is trying to steal it, and she just looks at him, and the guy looks at her, and is like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
No, that made me laugh. It's just like, it's just like burn his ass.
I know, right?
God dang, you! I cannot believe you tried to steal right in front of me.
Robin just happens to bump into Dojima.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Dojima
it's
is on
Robin.
Dojima's on a hunt tracking a guy again. She's not very good at tracking the guy. She,
I know they like
he's a
suck
witch.
without Amon
He-
and Robin.
Exactly. They attack her and looks like they're about to kill her. Then Robin comes in and saves her.
No,
Probably only got involved because it looks like Dojima might have been killed if she didn't. Honestly, I think that's
yeah.
truthful.
yeah, she probably would have.
Robin, who is supposed to be in her mind hiding, Dojima, who understands that
Yeah.
Robin should be hiding, is like, fuck it, let's go to lunch,
Yeah.
and they did.
Yeah.
Because secret organization people
Yes.
aren't being tracked by super
Bullshit.
secret organization.
Robin, we find out where she works is a law office, and she's kind of just like their errand person.
Yeah.
Robin is sad about Amon, I put here, because she doesn't know what happened to him, and Dojima
Yeah.
doesn't.
Mm.
And then, I put here in my notes, like, Robin's sad about Amon, but it's like, was the connection really... I don't feel like them framing this story to the audience. They
Okay.
did not make the
No.
connection feel powerful or relevant enough.
I
The opening is the connection you need.
I
no
know.
no.
Her in the window and her in the TV have more than them.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen.
No.
Listen.
I am Navi.
Yeah.
No, the reason it makes sense for Robin to be going, oh, Amon, because my God, if she can avenge somebody that she only knew for 5 minutes, then it's like she spent a lot of time with him. He's her senpai, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
like it's that child. Because remember, if we're thinking that she's a child, right? She's, a child. She's
Mhm.
15.
Go sculpture.
It's wholesome innocence. It's just she looks up to him. He's cool. Like, that connection.
Yeah.
That connection. Like, even though he didn't give that same thing back to her, it could just be one sided.
I guess you could also say it's more, like you said, it's how,
Yeah.
everyone does it, but especially
An
younger
admiration,
people,
maybe.
where you build up the version of them in your head.
Yeah.
And that's
Too.
more
Yeah.
who
I don't care if he
you're
doesn't
thinking
talk to
about.
me. He's cool. He's Amon.
He's a Sigma. He's a Sigma male. Oh,
He just does his
I
business.
was,
Good
about
job.
to say, it was like, oh, Christian Bale should play him.
Well, with a
no,
wig and everything.
well, he could grow out
That'd be
his
funny.
hair.
Yeah.
But no,
yeah.
I forgot to mention this earlier as
What?
part of my facts. But way back in 2004,
Ooh.
the Sci-Fi Channel bought the rights to Witch Hunter Robin to make a live-action series, of
Wait,
it,
they
what?
didn't?
Really?
and they never did.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Huh.
Do it.
which I'm like, yeah, you could do that one.
Come on, sci-fi.
But they would
Do it.
They would un-Asianify everything. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure they would just have. Oh, it's in New York.
They better have big
Yeah.
foreheads.
It's like
still.
all the same characters, but like they're in New York now.
They like wear forehead prosthetics.
They need to get Chris Pratt.
Oh
He'd
jeez.
be
As
play
Robin?
yes. He'd be like,
no.
Amon.
Oh,
It's me, Robin.
Are we really gonna do this again?
Yes. Apparently, Sonic sucks too. But we can't. We don't need to go into that.
This isn't that kind of podcast.
I know.
Right
We're-
now.
yeah, you can go look up your own news on that.
The only thing of note in this episode, Karasuma is on the hunt by herself because it's down to Karasuma
Yeah.
and Dojima is the entire team.
Yeah.
Because Amon's missing, Robin goes into hiding, Sakaki broke his damn leg,
Yeah,
Yep.
doing
which
you know,
apparently they were plastic bullets that they shot them with.
yeah.
Which I'm like,
I mean, plastic bullets would still rip your skin and stuff. I imagine.
well, I'm sure that's why he has a broken leg.
yeah.
But like, I'm just like, that's interesting. That's the first instance I've heard of plastic bullets since like the X-Men movies.
Why didn't they just
Yeah.
come in and just get it?
Get her done.
To be
you
fair.
have to overcomplicate things.
I think they
sometimes, I
had to
guess.
use force because they were still worried about
No,
Robin.
I think they were trying to bamboozle us into thinking everybody was going to be killed, and it's just like that's not how they would
I don't even know if that was the case.
Because if they were
'Cause when
hunting
he's-
Robin, that would make sense. But since they're not, it's like just get the damn Orbeez and go. Just walk in and be like, hey, we gotta get.
We want to.
We're
It's
actually-
secret government business. Just go about your business. We're gonna come in and do our
Give
thing.
Orbeez.
Get the damn Orbeez.
That's a
Mormons.
good point, but I think there is more to it than that.
Yeah.
But basically, Zizan's and Toka's, I think we already said this, but the connection is confirmed to Robin. She didn't know
Yeah.
that was his daughter. We find
Yeah.
out that physically she's fine, but she's in a hospital still because she has trauma.
Yeah.
PTSD.
She makes Dojima promise not to tell anyone about it.
And then Dojima,
And Dojima
tells
instantly
people,
tells everyone about her.
Harry.
Because
no.
she's like, oh, we need Robin's help. We suck. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go out there and fucking die.
I'm gonna go get her.
So I was just like, Dojima is a fucking liar. Is
Yup.
how I ended that with.
I told you she didn't.
Oh,
Shane.
and the other thing is, Karasuma goes out on a hunt to get a guy, and he's like, jumps on a roof to evade her, and then at this weird point where he grabs her by the collar, and he's just like holding it, and he's just like, like not even doing anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is the point of this?
It's
What are you doing? I know he
Tension?
was supposed to be one of the crazies. Like he's
Yeah.
lost his mind. But then like they fall on the ground, and then like at first I thought someone shot him, but no, it was her because she had the gun, and
Yeah.
she shot him in like the stomach.
To
Yeah.
take up screen time.
I know, but I was just like,
Yes.
he's not even shaking her. He's just like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna do to Pigeon Man in the alley,
Yes.
or is Pigeon Man gonna do that to you?
Babysitting episode.
Episode 17.
Have we? Hang on. Have we gotten to the episode that's your favorite yet?
Oh yeah, the
already
episode that was
passed
my
it.
favorite was where they get attacked.
And then she goes in the well.
Oh
and
yeah.
she goes in the well. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was so intense. It was just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
being my first episode of the series. I was just like, "Holy crap, this is awesome!"
Whoa.
And episode 17, the babysitting episode, also gave me like Ergo proxy vibes actually, like where it was like kind of
Yeah.
one of those like random episodes that still gives me like a comforting feeling like watching it. Like I like this episode, but also like
I like
why?
this.
Is it a baby thing or
Here's
was it an
takoyaki.
Are we on that episode now?
Yeah, it's, episode 17 is the one where
Babysitting.
Nagiri, or Night, that's how you pronounce it, I think.
Nagira?
Nagira, there you go. I was like, oh, I got a job for you. You got to watch this.
Nagita. Yeah.
Nagira.
Yeah.
The other notes to have this, Karasuma's power was weakening. She's not able to use it as much. Dojima really sucks because she keeps pushing them, or she keeps following Robin to
Yeah.
convince her to help her. Robin's babysitting the kid at the park. Robin notices that the kid is a witch because she's subconsciously using powers. And then she freaks the kid out and the kid cries.
I know. I was like, Robin, come on.
You're a witch.
Holy
Um,
So how'd
machete.
you do that?
Oh, she doesn't. She like takes hold of her shoulders. I get
Yeah.
that it would freak the kid out, but it's like
But it also made the kid drop the little mud ball.
mud
thing,
ball.
too.
How is it so shiny? And pretty much that's the episode. Dojima comes in and is like, "Oh, make up and make peace. Now everyone's friends." I was like, Dojima, like, just go be a fucking kindergarten teacher or something. That seems like better.
And I think that's one episode I liked Dojima in.
Yeah.
Obviously, other than like her still trying to track down Robin and stuff was kind of annoying. But yeah, I liked her because she was like, Robin, you're doing this wrong. Like here, this is how you act around children.
The other notes for this episode, they got lazy on the powers. Because it's like before this, like everyone's powers like somewhat unique. It's like, oh, this is the guy who sucks the ages, and this is the girl who controls the dolls, and this one does the slashing. Now it's like, oh, everyone's just telekinetic.
Oh,
Every witch they encounter pretty much from this point on, they're just telekinetic.
yeah.
At least like the low tier, like not supposed to be important witches. The episode ends with Najira explains a bit about how he doesn't like the organization, and his reasoning is like basically like,
Leave the witch alone.
well, it goes back to what we talked about of everything Robin's group did is justified, but the organization overall still hunts people who haven't actually done anything yet.
Correct.
And so he's against that.
They're called seeds.
Yeah.
Seeds. Well, seeds are more like they have the genetic disposition to be a witch,
Yeah.
but they also classify people who haven't actually done anything yet who have powers as witches.
Yeah.
Correct. He's the Harriet Tubman of witches.
Oh my god.
he's helping them get
For the
away.
viewers, Matt looks very.
Oh
How are you
Am
gonna
I
describe that?
Am I
Disappointed
wrong?
with that
Shop that
comment.
picture for me.
I'm just saying.
Disappointed with that
Or
comment.
go to the wiki
'Cause
of
didn't-
Harriet Tubman and just replace it with picture.
But didn't
Oh,
he
no.
put that one kid? Did the kid get it in the van in this episode?
He helped. I think the insinuation is he helped the kid and her mom disappear
Yes,
because they were being hunted.
because yes.
Oh my god.
Am I not correct?
I guess, but it's like a weird reference to pull.
Well, who else helped hide people who were being hunted? What is
Oscar
his?
Schindler.
There you
Yes,
go.
Schindler.
There you go.
Schindler's
Schindler.
List.
He's Schindler.
Okay.
Anybody and any other
Okay.
person in history who helped hide fugitives that aren't really fugitives, the innocent fugitives.
Okay.
There you
It's
go.
just
That's what he does.
I never
I
thought
got
in
what you meant.
Witch Hunter Robin would get to Harriet Tubman.
That's the first thing. At least, hey, at least you know who she is.
Yeah.
If you don't know who she is, look her up.
Hmm.
Did good things.
I'm looking her up right now.
All good things. all
Saved
good
lots. What the hell?
Did the education system fail you, Carlos?
things.
No, he just gave me the option to, so I'm doing it.
Oh, you God.
Just following his advice.
Okay. Episode 15 is the first time they call by name the Splinter of Knowledge, is what they called it in the sub. Do they call it something different?
Fragment of wisdom.
Okay.
Is what they call it in the.
Fragment of Wisdom versus Splinter of Knowledge.
I'm just gonna say the witch truth.
I mean,
The truth of the witch.
they're
She
the
was
same
the
thing.
truth
That's
of
weird.
the
Well,
witch.
you have to understand, the sub for
Sorry.
Witch Hunter Robin and the dub are two different interpretations of the same thing.
Yeah, which is
She
very
got.
interesting.
She got the thing that the
well-
witch passed on to her.
Well, we think of it as a physical object because Robin picked up, it looked like a stick covered in some string.
Yeah, because the Salem witch gave it to her.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's looking for this thing.
Yeah.
So this,
all the
that's
witches
the
are killing
what
each
this
other
episode
for
is.
it.
You find out
It's
Najira is all about investigating. He has informants everywhere. He reminded me of Isaiah from Durara.
Yeah.
Like that would be a good
Comparison.
A better
a
comparison.
good like crossover fanfic.
Oh.
Is Witch Hunter Robin and Durara because like they're both in modern times.
That's way. If you
And-
think that's too many cooks, this would be
I
like.
know, right? But Durara has fantasy elements because they have Celti, who's a Dullahan, and they exist in a world, the same world as Bakano, and that has immorals and devils and all
Yeah,
that.
that's
So
fair.
there you go.
Oh.
Yeah, I just don't know how you cross it over. It's a little complicated.
He needs information. Isaiah is the information broker.
You want to know where the witch fragment is, huh?
Yeah, look at my sideburns.
Hey, Sakaki, how you doing? I'm doing good. How are you?
You sound cool.
So are you.
Also in this episode,
If you watch the dub.
yes, in this episode, I put does Robin live in the bathroom because they showed like her entering her room at the lava.
Her room is weird.
But
It's
they,
like an upper
They
room.
only showed the parts of it when she was sitting and be sad.
Yeah.
And she just keeps showing the bathtub, and I was like, and the toilet. It was like, do they just let her? She just live in the bathroom? Because like I guess that would make sense because like law offices wouldn't exactly have like
A bedroom. Yeah.
But it's kind of weird that they have a tub. Like I can understand a toilet, obviously, but like
I like where her bed is. It's like up
Oh,
on
it's
a
like
ladder.
a loft, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
lofted bed.
I love that. Cool.
basically, it's all the episode's all about finding the splinter of knowledge.
yes.
Najira finds someone called the professor. And basically his reasoning for going after it is because he knows people want it. He knows Solomon wants it, or I guess I don't know if it's Solomon or the factory at this point,
I
but
think it's like
Probably both.
everybody.
Everybody.
It's the thing to get.
and his reasoning for getting involved is I can't let people die, therefore I can't let people die. But then was like, therefore I will make the situation worse
Yeah.
by kicking
Well,
up
that's metal.
kicking up more dirt about it and all that kind of thing.
Not to mention his informant's kind of a weasel.
Oh, you mean the
Literally.
glasses guy?
Yeah.
He reminded me of
I didn't tell nobody.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
so he goes into the walled city. The professor, who's again his power is just telekinetics. It's just he has spikes and he uses spikes.
But he's like supposed to be super powerful.
Yes, but then again, like I feel like
Yeah.
calling a witch super powerful feels like at this point
Yeah.
kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, the best way you could have changed that is like have him use like blades of grass or something. Like have him be able to manipulate grass.
Yeah, like manipulate a specific thing.
Yeah.
Make it like go so
But
fast.
guess
I
you
think
could
they
say-
just had to
body.
establish because like the
They-
power level of Robin increasing because it's like, oh, he's super powerful and Robin's able to
Yeah.
Yeah.
meet
So it's-
that.
But to be fair, they go more
Matchup.
into the idea of like each witch's thing is derived from the elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say if they were wood stakes, it's like a bit of earth. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's pointless to go to. Basically, Robin shows up and vaporizes
Yeah. Kicks his.
on accident. She doesn't even mean to actually kill him. She means to like set his clothes on fire like she has before to stop people, and nothing left, vaporized.
You're a
him.
bad man.
But because that was the first time since Robin went to Japan that she just straight up killed someone, I think.
Yeah.
And then the episode ends where basically I don't remember who it was like always her and Najira are staying there talking about it. It's like, oh, it's this thing, and she, oh, you had it the whole time, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And a
And then
fucking
doesn't-
horse.
And they talk
Amon?
secret shit in
Hey,
public. for
we
people
found
to
the
hear.
fragment of the witch, the thing that everybody wants. Well,
And doesn't Amon appear in Color a Witch or something? Or is that
You
another
not
episode?
yet.
You
He's about
totally-
to.
Oh, okay.
no, not like that.
Episode 19, it's talking more about the fragment and how Robin has it and how Najira
Nagita. Nagita.
is unsure if you should give it to her. His reasoning is, I don't like you having power because you can kill people.
So
Which kind of goes against his entire reasoning for helping witches, because witches are, in fact, a legitimate threat because they have superpowers and they could kill people.
Yeah.
So it's like, he kind of contradicted himself. I guess he didn't...
innocent witches.
He didn't know, because Robin is innocent at this point too, but he says, I don't know if it's a good thing for you to have that much power, because you could hurt someone. But the entire argument against
Eventually.
other witches, and the entire argument
Yeah.
for Solomon's
Okay,
reasons, like
okay.
you could hurt someone.
I concede.
But he doesn't specifically say that's the reason. Like he basically, when he gives his reasoning, it's more like, I just don't like them doing what they think, getting away with doing what they want, kind of thing.
That too. He's a rebel.
He has people come and look at it, and it's like the most worthless thing. He's like, look at this thing, because like a man and woman come in,
Where's your stick?
look at this thing. I don't know what this is. Do you know, wife? No. And the wife is looking at Robin the entire time. And
It'd be
weirdly
a
looking
shame
at
if
her.
something were to happen to
I
us.
know. Basically like, oh, we don't know anything. And he's like, okay. And then they leave. It cuts back to Zyzen doing shady stuff, because we haven't seen him actually for a while either. And basically, yeah, he's doing shady stuff.
Yeah. Zyzen, appears in the beginning
Amon
and just kinda
first
shows up
appears
later.
again because Nagita
Nagita.
is looking for more answers. He ends up in the sewer. He tries to pursue someone, and then he
Yeah.
sees a shadow, and it's shooting at him. And then at first he thinks he's just someone almost missing him, but then they shoot the water in front of him. He's like, oh, just a message, huh, Amon?
Yeah.
And then Amon's shadow.
Who are you hunting? Who is-
Robin tracks down the house of the crazy lady, is what I'll call her. And she's like, and
The crazy cat.
and she's
lady?
like, no. And she's like, oh, you came. I got this dress for you and all this. And it's like,
That's so sad.
it is
That is
sad, but at the
sad.
same time, someone that bad is legitimately needs help. And it's weird that the husband is okay with it.
Well, the
I
husband did stop her. He's like, stop it.
No, but I mean, like,
Stop it.
before that. Like, if she literally cannot separate the two, it's not just, oh, you remind me of. It's like she's acting like that's her. So that I feel like you need to look at that.
Well,
like,
I guess that wouldn't have ever happened unless Robin showed up before. So it may have been like a problem that just barely
got
re-
that
yeah,
bad at
just
that moment,
revealed
I guess.
itself.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I missed this person, and then suddenly there's someone who looks exactly like them. That is,
But even then, it's like she doesn't.
yeah,
Because we'll get more into it later, but as far as my understanding goes, Robin, if she was a real person and you saw her, would look like a Western girl, and you would not even think she's Japanese at all.
yeah, right.
But that episode concludes when they talk to, they're like, oh, yes, you see, our daughter showed a bit of power, but it wasn't more than you can move a pencil with, and they came and took her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh well.
And then she's like, well,
The pencil, it moved.
well, that's very sad. And then
That's so sad.
and then she puts on the dress and has dinner with him.
That's
Yeah.
so. Oh my god.
And then
fulfilling a fantasy right there.
she leaves, and she's like, oh,
Sad.
she's like, oh, I'll come back. She's like, oh, really?
Oh, I know.
no.
Will you?
And then
Robin just is a people pleaser, but like in like a caring way, not
Yeah.
like a,
It's wholesome.
No,
It's
it's just-
childlike. It's
Yeah.
wholesome and innocent.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah,
Love it.
she's just like, well, I
Amazing.
mean, there's nothing bad about it.
Naive.
Mm-hmm.
And basically she leaves, and then
They kill
you
her.
realize
or kill them, rather.
you realize that the father had powers because like the mother dropped like the roast or something. I can't remember what it was, and then he catches it with like powers.
Yeah.
And then like they come for them, and then he tries to tell her, "Oh, you should leave." She's like, "No, I'm not going to leave you."
Yeah.
And then they presumably take them, and I presumably
How
they
wholesomely
die.
sad.
Yeah.
And then Robin comes back because she gets a bad feeling, and then she realizes what happened, and she cries fire tears.
I don't remember that part.
I feel like, well,
That's funny.
she
It was
cried,
like-
and then when
and,
the
like,
tear hit the ground,
It would like
It's
disperse
because
into a little.
she's like Bakugo. She's just made of butane, and it just
God.
comes out. Just,
she reveals at the end of
Sweat.
this episode to her new boss, who I'll call him because I'm not going to mess up his name
oh, you
again.
said Mubas.
Her, well, kind of, that's her
Mubas.
boss.
You said Mubas.
That she was her overall mission when she was sent to Japan was essentially to find the splinter of knowledge.
The knowledge. The witch
Yes.
knowledge.
Witch knowledge.
Episode 20,
Oh, don't we have like 4 more?
26 episodes.
Okay, we got speed run.
Okay, episode 20, basically the musketeer shows up, is what I call him. He's the hunter who has the power. She knows him before. His name is Tree.
Oh, they said things, Zace.
Basically,
Azazel.
this is also the episode where Robin, I don't know if it was episode before or after, but Robin still talks with Michael secretly at the well to get
Yeah.
information.
Which is sneaky.
She find the
Michael.
splinter of
Whoa.
knowledge was taken from her boss's vault
Safe, yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, what's up with that?" He encounters the glasses guy who's his informant before, who sold him out, and then he's like, "Oh, what are you doing? You're out of shape,
I'm
bastard."
not a weasel. What are you talking about?
The people, the guy Zastri, who she's fighting, is still just telekinetic. So I was like, you could have made his power something.
I
But
think it's Zastra.
Zastra.
Disastra.
Because it's like SASTRE.
And
Zastra.
they
Zastra.
start fighting each other, and as at first Robin's like, "Oh, he's so powerful. He's one of the most powerful ones." But of course, she just gets over hand. And here's why I put in the notes:
Oh, I love
like
this.
a true anime protagonist, Robin wins just because.
No.
Well, it's
because
she
she becomes
realizes
she's like the power in her is growing. She surpasses them during
Yeah.
the battle.
No, she can see it. She
Well,
can
that
see.
too, yeah, she can
she's
see-
the
she
the
can-
mega witch. She can see what
I
the
know.
witch do.
yeah.
That was a horrible sentence. Y'all are gonna love that.
Well, it's not worse than the one before.
I'm turning
She
into.
can see it.
Was it Nelly? I'm turning into Nelly.
Like, it's getting hot in here.
I can see what the witch do. She be doing it. Continue.
And then Amon's like, she's a witch.
Yeah.
I am.
Well, I just like one of the note I had about that is like I like in the battle when she like knocks off the guy's hat and he's like, "My hat."
yeah.
can
Basically
you
that's
see?
how the episode ends. I was like, "She a witch."
No, he was actually using air blast, but everybody's using air blast.
I know, but then like there are other
Wow.
people. It's like I don't know if they.
Y'all are all.
That's this
Those
also,
are interbred witches.
Those,
If it's
those are
genetic.
also, those out there.
Oh,
Also,
Too
the
many.
episode Where she specifically mentions that like the secret of the craft is in the elements. So
Yes.
like every witch's power is tied to the elements in some way. His was just air. She mentions his thing is air.
Yeah.
But she can see it too. So
Yeah.
she's just like,
Episode 21.
I can
Robin's
see.
looking in the mirror and she's like, "I'm a witch."
I always knew, but they
We-
told me I was different. I was craft.
I know. So it's like
Uh,
crash macaroni and
yeah.
cheese.
so tasty.
We find out more about Amon. Amon was captured and he was patched up at Solomon HQ in Europe, and they told him stuff basically about his boss Zyzen and how it's a bit complicated, but in a nutshell, Zyzen is over the factory. The factory and ST&J were essentially both under Solomon together. Zyzen has pretty much made the factory into his own rogue facility and rogue people. Basically.
Yes. It all comes out.
Zyzen says Amon doesn't matter. Amon sucks anyway.
Oh,
Basically.
yeah.
This is when she fights the coughing guy,
Yeah, the Earthcraft.
the Earth Crafter, and he's like, it's weird they call him the Earth
you
Crafter.
mean the
when,
Minecraft?
Well, I know, right? When he basically does genjutsu on her.
Yeah.
That was weird. Like I don't understand that if he's using Earth.
I know. That's why I was
It's like you.
Well,
what
it's
in
because
the
something
hell
about
is
like him
this?
carving the ruins into the
yeah.
earth or
Well, I
something.
think I saw because like everywhere we saw him, he like put the ruins on the ground.
Yeah.
And then she rode over them, which I thought was like, oh, she's like in the trap now or something.
Oh, right.
But then it was just like, and he's so slow about it. And it was like, you have her, but she's like standing there dazed. And it's like, just shoot her or stab her. Don't walk over with your old man hand and try
Your
to
old
strangle
man
her.
hand.
So it gave her time to wake up from it and figure out, oh, this is an illusion. It's not even real. This is not real.
You're not real.
You are not real.
You are not real. And then blows him on fire.
was
And
great.
at the end of the episode, Amo mentions his big brother for the first time, and we don't know who that is.
Big bro.
But we're about to know.
I
Yes.
think we have an idea.
Yeah.
Or do
Is that you, Amon?
Episode
Whoa, whoa.
22, it opens with Amon and Dojima just having this random confrontation out of nowhere. And he's like, you're a traitor. And she's like, well, so are you, sort of. And she's like, well, I wouldn't betray my friends. And she's just like, I guess I don't have a counter to that.
Yeah.
That's funny. I love your reenactment of that.
I mean, that's
Phrasing.
what happened.
Yeah.
So are you,
Essentially.
sort of.
It's like I have friends.
Basically,
named
the,
one.
I have friends.
Robin and her boss are tracking Amon, but they're realizing that he's basically being sloppy deliberately and leaving them crumbs to him. Their chief goes to talk to the commissioner of the police because he's actually doing something again about Zizen, and they're pretty much on the same page. Like, yeah, we recognize that he's rogue, but he's not actually rogue, so we can't move against him yet. So it's a big mess. They tracked Amon's movements. He's spying some old lady. And then they go to the old lady, they talk to the old lady about him, and he's like, oh, I don't really know. And then they have the diary, and because her husband was involved in all this stuff,
And the picture that looks
there's
like
the
Robin.
picture that, oh, this picture looks like you. And then Robin like, oh, I know someone in the back there. And then it's all leading up we're condensing a lot here.
Yeah.
They got really heavy
Work
with
with
the
us.
jumping around and exhibition.
Investigating, yeah.
The other people are investigating. It's like, oh, there's genetic research involved. There's basically, we get more revealed later. But Zizen's goal is to make the ultimate Orbo, and so that people can wear it and not be affected. Normal people can wear it and not be affected by witches.
So that they don't need craft.
So they don't
users
need
anymore.
craft users to help them hunt witches anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But they're having side effects with them because the people who are using them, it's like driving them nuts and hurting them.
Mm-hmm.
The
I put
ultimate
in my
Orby.
note here, this is a mess.
It is a mess, but it's an interesting mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Definitely.
I feel like it suffers from the idea of like it should have been like 35 episodes long. They should have had Robin with the group doing more things, doing the hunts with them more, and they should have had more of this revealed, stretched out, and the investigation taken longer. I feel like it was like, okay, we got to pile it all in there towards the end is what happened. My idea of it, at least. The episode ends with Robin mentioned Father Giuliano.
You know
and
about
Amon
Father Giuliano?
confronts Robin's boss, and then at the end he's knocked out and captured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 23, Amon and Dojima are talking, and they have Niger
Nagita.
Nagida boss. I'm calling him boss.
Robin Boss.
Robin
Nagita.
Boss.
Robin Bass.
They have him captured. I don't remember if it was here or not, but it's revealed that Amon and him are brothers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Surprise!
Surprise.
Well, because
Surprise.
they mentioned that they had a history, of course, and then of course he sent Robin there, so we knew they
Yeah.
were connected, but we didn't know exactly how
How.
connected.
Ow.
Basically, more uncovering of what Solomon's doing. They try to do genetic stuff, and then they stopped.
Orbos.
Yes, Orbos. Amon
Orbeez.
confronts Robin when she's in the bathroom. Has the gun drawn on her, and he's like, "Well, I guess it's her room, but it's also
Yeah.
it's also a weird because it's majority bathroom. That is
Yeah.
her room.
Are you a
It's a
witch?
bathroom.
You a witch?
You're a witch." Well, he tells her that,
Come
and
with
then
me.
and he's like, "I'm coming in." And pretty much they have the confrontation of like, and she's like, "Well, if you wanted to try and get me, you want to do that." And he's like, "I'm trying to gauge you. I don't know where you're at." And
Do it.
at the end of it all, he's like, "I trust you." Basically, that's what it comes down to. I'm choosing you over all of them.
Yeah.
I
thought that
Cocky
was
gets
cool.
attacked by the factory.
He explains.
sorry.
Yes. Well, no. The only you're right. The only other thing to happen in the episode is he was like, Giuliano ordered the hunt on you,
Yeah.
But no. No.
and at the end, the factory tried to capture Sakaki, and they end up being able to save him from them. And they're kind of the factory guys are kind of wimps because like the second they had a confrontation, they're like, "Look, we gotta get out of here."
I don't get paid enough for
Which is
that.
like, well, I mean, we'll get more into it a bit later. Like when you brought up the idea of Alma being more like a father figure to her, I was like, but she had one.
Yeah. But that it's just like yeah.
That's why.
I mean, maybe it's not like the most
it's a different kind of
intricate and
relationship.
best intricate, but there's an affection between them. both.
It's
Yeah.
admiration.
Yes.
It's pupil and
Episode
student.
24.
Wait, that's the same thing.
No, we're talking
Educator
about,
and
we're talking about how
teacher.
Giuliano.
Oh, the Giuliano
Yes.
actually had a father. Yeah, that's
Yes,
a father.
that's more
figure.
for father.
Yes.
Yeah.
Episode 24. We find out the factory, while they failed to capture Sakaki, they captured Karasuma.
Yep.
They meet up with Harry, I think maybe the last time. The whole
I
group
think
meets,
so, yeah.
The whole group meets up with him.
I have your AR-15s ready.
And he's just like,
You guys take as long
you
as
guys
you
can
need.
do it. You guys are the shit, man.
Shit.
It's revealed here that Jojima has been a spy for Solomon the entire
God.
time.
Triple
He
agent.
is like, okay, I'm sorry. You
Yes.
can repeat that. I'm just picturing Harry being every other encouraging Facebook post where it's just like, if no one's told you you're awesome, you are. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, Harry, yes. Give me that encouragement. Now repeat what you just said. I'm so
Jojima
sorry.
was revealed as a spy for Solomon.
Yes.
And that's kind of, I guess you could say,
Whoa.
is the explanation for her actions and how she acts aloof.
Yeah.
She's a
Because if you-
corporate fake bitch.
Yes. If you remember in the beginning, it says, well, she was forced on us because her parents are high up. It's like, no, she's a plant.
No. She's a
So
a
she was
fake
always,
bitch.
I think that is who she is, but she's also putting on a persona for the whole time.
Absolute
Yeah.
fake bitch.
That's why she reminded me a bit of Ishiki even more, because it's like Ishiki has a persona, but it's also just an exaggeration of herself.
Eh. All right.
Basically,
They're
this episode,
15
Michael
too.
leaves the building for the first time. They're shocked to see him at Harry's, and he's like, "Yeah, man, fuck it, shit's crazy." And they all
I
have
just run loud.
they all have the hoorah of like, okay, we are loyal to each other. We are the group.
We are the collective.
I was putting this episode. It's like it's all this spy bullshit. It's like
Team
they
Witch.
know who the enemy is, but they're all trying. Basically all three factions in this, them, the factory, and Solomon, are all trying to get themselves in position to take each other out.
Isn't that nice though?
Yes. The end of this episode is basically there's this researcher that the Solomon has had captured for a while. He worked on the stuff 15 years ago with genetic
the
research.
stuff.
The factory tried to capture him, and then the STNG tried to stop them from capturing him. He's shot and he's lying there, and when he sees Robin there, he's like, "Oh, Maria!"
Yep.
And then they're like, "Ooh, clue!" And I was like, "It couldn't. At least it wasn't Martha, if you get that reference."
Yeah.
Martha.
Maria.
And he says like she's the devil child.
Yeah, she's a racist.
Sorry.
What was the sub for that when they called her like the child of the devil or whatever?
I think it was just that. It was
Oh,
like
okay.
devil child, child's devil.
Akuma no child.
Okay.
I don't know child in Japanese.
Episode 25. 25.
Shit gets
Father
real.
Giuliano shows up basically and is like, I'm going to explain your life.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're an
He pretty
accident.
much explains you were a designer witch. There was this guy who was in genetic research. My daughter was a witch, but she had a genetic abnormality. She was dying. And it feels weird because it's almost like a trope now where it's like the main character is a woman and she's like some genetically engineered thing.
Hybrid.
Because
Designer.
It's
You
like,
said
it's just
designer
reminded me
witch.
of like
I love
Resident
that.
Evil.
Like
that
a purse.
in the movies at least, and then also the end of the newest Jurassic Park movie, if you've seen that.
Yeah.
And then just like other things and then Aliens too, with like the main protagonist is a woman and she's she's genetic research product or something like that. And pretty much,
They like dehumanizing women, don't they?
I mean, you can interpret it that way, definitely.
We don't
But
condone that.
I mean, yes, we don't condone it. I'm agreeing with you. Yes. Basically, she is kind of a clone, but also kind of like a perfected clone kind of thing. She's not
Yeah.
directly Maria's daughter in the strictest sense.
She is Mewtwo.
I guess you could say Maria is Mew and she is Mewtwo.
Yes.
Maria. But afterwards, he's like, well, I knew what you were when you were born.
I
and
tried to kill you.
I should have
but-
killed you, but I couldn't do it.
But
Because you was a baby.
Yeah.
and you look
How
like
could I
Maria.
kill the baby?
And then he was
I
just,
cannot kill
and
the
then he was
baby.
just like, "Oh, Robin, you're a good girl." And she's like, "Oh, thank you." Dies.
Father Julian.
Die.
But no, that's like that. We could have gone.
Is that
more-
what happened? I forget.
No.
Did he die?
No.
No.
But if they had more
God.
time, they could have gone into their relationship more. I think that was cut short.
Yeah, show me some flashbacks.
Yes.
Of them like hanging out, like in
Yeah.
the convent.
Because
Clean those
obviously
toilets.
It's
It's
more than just. Even if she didn't know their connection, but it was more than just she was like the head of where she lived.
Is that whole idea cleanliness is next to godliness, or is that they just have free labor, so they just use it?
Probably should also prefer
Life
like instilling
skills?
discipline.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean,
I guess it's
you can't
fourfold
be
there.
acting up if you're cleaning the bathroom.
Well,
Yes, you can.
I mean,
it's just
you
it's
could be
just-
graffiti
It's part
in
of
the
the
bathroom.
jobs. I know in convents, like each nun has jobs and they rotate it.
yeah,
so-
because if you don't clean it, then it gets dirty.
I mean, you're just when
Yeah,
you're 30
fair
people
enough.
living together, you have to
Work
maintain
together.
the work
Yeah.
or maintain the home.
You get used to it.
Yeah. Basically, Dojima reveals that the HQ is planning to attack the factory,
Oh.
and they're like, "This is the perfect opportunity. We can go in there and get Karasuma out."
Or get caught up in all the mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
That's not what happened.
Giano has a dagger that opened up and has secret documents in it, so I thought that was cool. And he was like, I don't know absolutely everything, so here's some more. It's also fully revealed and understood now that Robin Boss and Amon are bros.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They start the secret mission to go into the factory to go get her out, and
Which is a good finale.
it was too
Yeah.
sort of.
I felt it was like too easy for them to get in. It was like, oh, we have retinal scanners at the doors. Here's my phone. Like we can't have like one guy watching a video feed to make sure it's actually someone.
Didn't they cut the cameras? I could have sworn that they did. Michael did some hacker juju, and there you go. He's a
Maybe.
witch. He's a hacker witch.
But if that was the case, then why even bother with having the thing? If you can hack all that, then you wouldn't even need to have the thing for
Well,
the
maybe
door.
they wouldn't expect
It's-
that someone would hack it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think if they do, they were going to get found out eventually. It's just,
So
it's a blitz.
Yeah.
They have to go quick.
basically, they go in and they're like, oh, we got to go down this one elevator. It's the only way up and down. Like, oh shit. They go
Course.
down there and then they realize that
Increase
all
the tension.
the witches they've captured have been down there, and that their essence is what the oboes are.
The Orbeez.
Orbis. And then Takagi acts, this is what we've been doing? This is what we've been doing, guys? This is what the humane way that we've been capturing the witches? And this is when I was like,
Now do
did
that.
you really never suspect this, dude? Like, really?
But you got to do that in Johnny Young Bosch's voice now.
I can't do Johnny Young Bosch. I'm not very good at it.
Is this really?
Yeah.
Is this really what I'm doing? This is what
am
we're
I fighting
doing?
for?
Just
Orbeez.
to suffer?
All this for an Orby.
Yes.
Orbeez.
But then episode 26, the finale starts. And of course, the place is set to self-destruct. It wouldn't be a
It's
finale.
not
if
even
it wouldn't
that. It's designed to like,
collapse in on
oh, we got
itself.
these giant cement blocks
Yeah.
that'll fucking squish everything. If my heartbeat doesn't.
So
going.
they're all like,
Some
well,
shit.
we all kind of have different things to do. So they have
God.
the Scooby-Doo moment where they're like, it's time to split up, gang.
Yeah.
So Michael needs to hack some stuff, and then
Good for Michael.
Sakaki stays with him to help defend him when he's down there. Dojima and Robin Boss go, and then of course Robin and Amon are together. We find out Karasuma is fine, and then the Zaizen's like, oh, Robin's gonna turn out to be bad news. You should hunt her down. And she's like, okay. And I can't believe he bought it. I can't believe he was like, oh, I can trust her to do that.
You're a witch, and the only way I can save you
Yes.
as being a witch is if you join me.
And become a witch.
I
Kill
will
the
put
witch.
you in the liquid.
So-
you need to do what I
Yes.
say.
So throughout
The Kum
like the
jar?
last couple episodes, he keeps God, Jesus, Carlos. Jesus. What do they got Gurr down there? too?
Oh no! Well,
Gurr's at the
is
factory.
Gurra a witch?
Maybe.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Somebody should super chat her and ask her, "Are you a witch?" No, I'm a fish.
I'm not sure.
Fish
The same
witch.
thing.
That's okay.
She's
Fish
lying.
person.
But basically, Zaizen is trying to get this message translated by his scientist people that Toto, who is the guy who did the genetic project that created Robin, has made
The daddy,
essentially her
daddy.
father. Yes.
Yeah.
baby
Uh,
daddy.
And basically, the finale is Amon and Robin confront him in the office, and he starts playing the message. And we hear the message. We hear most of the message at first. And basically, his reasoning was just that. I don't know. Could someone else explain his reasoning better
Which
than
is. Oh, I'll
I was
let
just
you.
gonna say witches suck.
No.
Okay, so the old lady actually mentioned a little bit of it too, and I thought it was interesting. I didn't necessarily care about the historical stuff. I mean, I like it but I wasn't like fully connected to the story at the time. I was just kind of. Usually, when I binge watch these, I'm doing other stuff while I'm binge watching it, so I'm not paying as much attention. But I still recall
Right, yeah.
for some reason. Anyway, so she was saying something about Robin being special and changing everything, and that's why she was able to pass on the witch juice,
Yeah.
the good
Yeah.
the good stuff to
The
her.
good.
Explain it.
But the geneticist himself also says that it's like this is going to change everything. She's like the key. She's the revolution that's coming.
Mm.
Like she's the next step, I think.
And
that's what he was
that's how
kinda
I
going
interpret- like,
about
It was
it.
like it's like the next form of humanity. Essentially,
I shouldn't be doing this, but damn it, I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, my thing was
It's
like,
too late. It's already happening.
It gave me X-Men vibes. It gave me mutant vibes, basically.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that the idea was like years ago, witches is the word that is used for them. That's not. They use that word.
That's what it was. Okay. Witches are the gods.
Yeah.
I remember this whole monologue now.
Yeah.
They are the gods that came down to humanity. They're the angels. And instead of humanity accepting them, they were like, oh shit, they're going to kill us.
Which
They're not going to help us. They're better than us. And Zyzen's, that's his philosophy, is that like, no. That's why we need to hunt them. But they were the original fucking gods. That's actually a cool, like, origin for them.
yeah.
Like, all the Salem witches they're just
Well, but
aliens.
They,
I mean, shit.
well, I don't even know if
What do you want to call them?
it's that
The Anunnaki. That's why everybody has big foreheads. Oh, no way.
because he mentions how like 3,000 years ago there was a genetic abnormality and like
Yes.
But I didn't understand that part exactly. But it's like there are still witches and they still have powers.
Yeah.
So it's not like something was stopped. But then like he's acting like Robin is the thing that will overturn that.
Yes, because she also has the knowledge, the witch of truth.
Yeah.
It's like it's all combined into
But
a thing.
they already were witches and they had powers. So it's
Well,
like
and
This
I,
is the
I think they did say at
the
some point
returning of the gods at this point.
that
She is going to be the linchpin that continues on, and whatever he did to make her was the key to everything.
Yeah.
It all
Yeah.
just combines together, and that's why she's like the one.
Well, yeah, and because like she mentions at some point like that whole fragment of wisdom thing, like
it was
wasn't-
her.
Yeah, she is. the
She
fragment of
is. It wasn't
wisdom.
the object itself.
Yeah.
But she also got that stuff passed on to her,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
it's not like she was it when she was born, but she was witch shit. I mean, witch shit, ladies and gentlemen.
Which
There you go.
Which
Plot.
to get more back onto the actual
But it's still brilliant.
thing is it annoyed me because like the video is playing of his explanation and they're talking over it.
Yeah.
So like and that's especially hard in subtitles when it starts stacking it. But thankfully, when they were done with their part, he replayed it essentially,
Yeah.
so you actually heard what the fuck he was saying. And I put here, I was like, God, I wish the explanation wasn't being talked over. But like I said, it's kind of like, see, I don't know if they're gods in like the literal sense of
Correct, but they were
they're
the
just
the
they're
super race.
They're kind of a super race. I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
But that's why I likened it more to like mutants and X-Men when it's
Yeah.
like,
There's definitely racism going on, and
yeah,
the humans, the regular humans, were afraid that if they let these people breed, too bad, so sad, they're going to get bred out, and there's not going to be regular humans anymore.
yeah.
Which I don't. Yeah, it's all racism.
Speciesism.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
If it's a different race of human, I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
racism,
But
genocide. Because that's why they were
basically,
hunting witches. in the first
Zyzen
place.
thinks this is his gotcha with
Yeah.
them. But then, like, of course, and then in the other room, it plays the part that he wants them to hear. And then he's like, okay, erase it. And then he's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. And then, of course, Karasuma's behind the guy. He's like, no, play it all.
Yeah.
Because, like, of course she wouldn't do what you said, dude. I can't believe he actually believed. She
No,
would.
play it all.
Yes.
I love that line. It's like, oh. I've
And
been-
pretty much it plays the rest of it. And it doesn't really say
Schnickeldorf.
more than that. It's just like, I don't know. It's such a, that's why I liken it it is kind of the mutants and X-Men-ish
Mm-hmm.
because it's like
The
he
Jets
still
are
has the point of like, no, witches have been murdering people with their powers. It's not like it's something that he has no reason or right to not want to happen, or no reason to not fear.
Are we talking about Zyzan?
Yes.
Or Toto?
Well, Zyzan mostly.
Yeah.
Because it's like Toto's thing was just like Toto's thing, in my view, of course, it's an interpretation, so it's not solid. Was like he was all about they're natural as well, therefore they should exist.
Make way for their
But then,
existence.
like it's like
yeah.
if he's manipulating it, it's not natural, unless you want to go the route of like, well, humans are part of nature, therefore anything they do is nature.
Yeah.
But
It's complicated.
and Zyzan's point of view, like I said, isn't necessarily wrong. I don't even know if the show itself is necessarily saying that he is wrong. And we'll talk more when we get to the end. But yeah, it was just like, huh. And at the end, he gets his gun out. I can't believe they let him get it out. And I can't believe he didn't draw it already, because he opened it up and looked at it, and you think he would just have that ready when they walked in because he knows they're coming.
Yeah.
But then they just let him draw it. And then, of course, it's the strongest Orbos we have.
It's such a big Orby. Here we go.
Orby. And then he shoots Amon with it, but it still doesn't work on Robin, because at this point it's established that she is witch god. And then the I don't even know if they're even alive really anymore. The other witches that are like in the tubes and all that start activating and he's like, it's because you're here. And
I'm glad they didn't call the show Witch God Robin.
Because she's having an effect on them.
Yeah.
And that's why it ties in more to what we talked about earlier. Is like she always runs into them. It's more like, what if she's drawing them? Because she already has part of it. So she is kind of essentially the witch god in a way. So
Yeah.
pretty much he's like, he tries to use the thing. And
Or they can all sense energy.
maybe.
Kind of.
He tries to use the thing on it. It doesn't work. He gets in the elevator. And then I think purely for the cool shot of the fire going up the shaft. Is
That was funny.
The reason they let him get in the elevator. Because I was like, why are you just letting him go?
Well, I mean, it's just he got burned.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got him, but it was just
He
like,
got hunted.
and he was just like, oh, maybe they're right. Urgh. But it was just like, it was it was purely for the aesthetic shot of him being in the elevator, having that, and then the fire coming up the shaft
It was good.
for them not to
like that.
get him.
Yeah.
We're almost done.
I was
Don't
gonna
worry.
Finish it.
Finish it.
Finish it.
Dojima survives somehow, because when the last time we see them, Robin Boss and her are like in an elevator. They're shooting machine guns and fire at them. They both like look at each other and turn towards the light, and it's like that shot of like the old westerns when like they run out of the saloon and like it freeze frames. Like you're expecting them to die, and then she's still alive. They're both alive. It never explains how they got out of it. To my memory of it, to my knowledge of it.
So I think Michael, Sakaki.
Because they were still down there in the basement. They survived because the place like semi collapses on itself, not completely. They were like in a ladder shaft thing, and that's how they survived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes really fast at the end here, because it's like we got to explain what happened. And then Amon after that, Amon even tells Robin to her, he's like, I don't even know if he was right or not. But she's like, so I got to make sure that you don't become what he says you might become.
She's like, all right.
You got to be my watchdog.
Yeah.
But it's like, he can't do anything to you anyway. So it's like, we've already established that essentially there's nothing that there's no weapon they have that can be used against Robin that would work. So it's like,
I don't think it would be a weapon necessarily, more of just like try to guide her to be
Just poison her.
like the
I
best
guess.
way
Well, I mean,
that she can.
Just, shoot her in the head with an actual gun.
she stopped actual bullets too.
Well, not if she's asleep. Maybe she can sense people. I don't know.
Guess.
I'm just trying to
sensed his
think. I'm trying to
deathly
think of
intent
how to
and woke
kill her.
up. But
Not
so
from-
like that kind of it cuts away.
Not with a
from
sniper
them
rifle.
after that. And then it shows Dojima, it shows Robin Boss, it shows Michael, it shows Sakaki. It shows
Business as
Karasuma.
usual.
They all survived, and then
Yeah.
of course it shows Giuliano on the hill looking over. The Solomon has come in and is pretty much going to clean up the factory's mess.
Yep.
And then it goes to like the after, when it's like they're all back to hunting, and that's why it goes back to what they do isn't wrong, because they're hunting dangerous people that have done bad things.
Yeah.
They're just witch police.
Yes.
That's it.
So I
It's
wonder
okay.
though, like, what do they do with them? Because they're not sending him to the factory anymore. Would they Solomon come in and make like the new factory?
The new Orbeez.
Because like I would assume the factory was always just an off branch of Solomon. It's like, oh, we fired the manager. Here's Greg. He used to run a Subway.
But I don't know if they're still making juice out of the witches, though.
Yeah, I mean, it just could be like now a prison.
But you'd have to build the prison that could hold witches.
Yeah.
You'd have to build a super jail.
All right, raise the concrete slab back up. We can fix this. Take it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But pretty much, the chief was promoted. He is now the executive now. Sakaki and Dojima and Karasuma are hunting.
Yep.
But Michael's still working with them, but he can actually leave the building when he wants. Harry is still Harry, doing his thing. The doorman is still the doorman, doing his thing. I felt bad for him when they got raided.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, oh, who? I just remember like when they had the scout guy, too, if you remember that scene, go way back. He's like, on the other side of the street, he was like, if you don't leave, I'm going to call the cops. And then he left.
That was funny.
But like, yeah, and then the end shows. I mean, it's open to interpretation who it is, but
yeah,
they're like, oh well, they should backtrack a bit more. Everyone who was there goes along with like Robin and Amon were killed in this.
Further, yeah,
and they're all like, yes, Robin and Amon were killed in this. Yes, we all agree. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
And then they go back to their job, and then at the very, very end, it shows someone getting out of the car in front of the building, and they're dressed somewhat like Robin was.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that'd be dumb if it was her.
No,
obviously,
it's not. It's definitely not Robin.
Obviously, Robin and Amon are going off together, and they're gonna go and freaking honeymoon and do all that jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I know, right?
We're gonna go to a country
But
where
it's
this
just-
is acceptable.
It's just like,
Oh, no.
and like I actually,
Let's go back to Italy.
Pakistan or something.
Oh god. Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding.
God, no, like it. I actually went and read the wiki pages for the episodes, and at the end, it describes the person as Robin's replacement.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Another, I guess, craft user. Again, they never established what the real difference between a craft user and a witch is.
Her name is Nibor.
So I thought at first, the very, very beginning, when it was craft user,
Anne's Nibor.
I thought the idea was like they need a physical object to use their powers or something, but of course that wasn't the case.
No.
But it ends.
I use cheese.
The end
I'm a
felt kind of
crab.
abrupt, but that is essentially the end of Witch Hunter Robin.
That was my last comment. It's just, what the hell was that? You really gonna do that to me?
Yeah.
You're just gonna.
But
no.
like I said, I feel
Fill in
like
the blank.
they stuffed in a lot at the end,
Yeah.
and it needed,
At least tell me
like
what
I
happened.
said, like 32 episode series.
Tell
would
me
have been
what
better.
actually happened to them. Don't just.
No, it's ambiguous.
assume-
Of
screw
course
you.
they survived.
Yeah.
Where? What? How?
They're gonna
Why?
go and do good, and she's gonna become Witch Jesus.
Okay. Well, what does that mean? No Solomon? No more? Exactly.
Again, I don't know if they're gonna
Nothing.
go, but again,
Season 2.
I don't. The way it presents itself, Solomon itself isn't even inherently like bad or evil.
Yeah.
And that's what Amon says at the end too. Is like, I don't know if they're right or you are. But even then, Robin doesn't even say they're wrong. She acknowledges that this is new. We don't know.
Carlos,
But yes, I'll
Are
take
you a
a
witch?
moment to stop, not to drink water and not talk. So
Carlos,
please tell us your thoughts. I guess we could go into your final thoughts.
Carlos, how do you feel about witch persecution? What do you think? Don't you say burn the witch.
So far, none of them died at the stake,
Yeah, that's true. There's been high stakes.
but not at a stake.
I don't think I saw a single steak in that show.
Nope.
Nope.
Not a steak from a cow, not a steak from the wood. But no, I didn't like that ending very much. I think
The
that like
seed, you must hunt the witch.
that
Oh
like
shit, the seed became the
you
witch.
can't build it up to that. I mean, the finale was great, but it's like you can't build it up to that just. Sorry, you don't really get a finish.
Right. I almost feel like they were wanting to hopefully maybe have a second season, but
That's like watching
I
a
don't even
marathon
know.
and the guy trips at the end before he finishes, and it's like, what the hell?
To your point, Brandon, I don't even know if that was it.
That could be.
I feel like that might have just been.
so I could totally see it's like now they have a new craft user, and now it's like, well, maybe now that we have magic on our side. Let's see if we can find Amon and Robin kind of
mean,
thing.
Maybe.
I
I don't
thought
know.
of a weird thing where it's like it might be their kid, but it's
No.
not far enough in the future.
What are you talking about?
I know, right?
Unless you want to go like time travel magic or something.
Yeah, where they're not actually. They don't age.
I don't want them to be together.
I don't either, but that might be the case.
I know. I feel like a lot
They're
of
at least
people would have
around each other.
interpreted that,
They
or
live
like
together.
it's eventually going to happen because it's like, what else? She's like, oh, you got to be a watchdog, and it's essentially that's like saying we're fucking basically married now.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all have fun with that.
But, yeah, for my final thoughts, yeah, like the ending, I don't like how ambiguous it is or was, but I do have a headcanon that I believe that Robin and Amon are out there somewhere alive.
Well, if you find them, let us know what they're up to.
And especially because like the monologue with Michael talk about like I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
It was weird for him to do the monologue.
that
I
would
felt
be
like.
such a good cosplay.
But I feel like he was the one that Robin connected to the most out of
Yeah.
everybody. So
She talked to him the most.
yeah,
I want to see those
appropriate.
pictures of what they're doing. Like I can just see them in alleys and stuff. Like that'd be just such a good cosplay like theme. Amon and Robin on the lamb.
But
No,
Out
I'm
in
just
the
imagining
world.
doing like a Brody quest. It's like Amon, and you get cut out as Amon, and Robin's like they're going all do 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 do.
it's like a new witch appears, they fight it. And I kind of had like a false memory because I had forgotten the ending exactly, and I could have sworn there was a scene where you see them like leave the factory, but like that didn't happen. So I was like, I guess put that in my head and thought that was just true.
Mm.
But yeah, like I do see that the anime feels rushed at some points, has its flaws in some areas, but I still enjoy it.
Or they did die.
I don't believe it. Again, maybe biased because favorite anime.
Show
but-
me the bodies.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna kill them, just show us their death.
No.
Don't, because it's like Schrodinger's cat. It's like they want them to be dead and alive,
Robin.
but it's like,
I want to tell you that I
Oh, jeez.
tell me what. You'll never know.
Toka and I did it in your bed when you were gone.
What is doing it?
Gosh.
What do you mean?
The end.
Where do
Lieutenant
you guys
Robin rolls credits.
Final thoughts?
Let's do final thoughts. Carlos, do you want to go first?
Carlos, what do you think? What do you think about witches? What do you think about Robin? She wholesome?
And then your rating out of 10.
I want Red Robin. And now I want
Yeah.
Subway.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna get you just like 12 foot longs, and you're gonna
It
have to eat
was
them all in the same
good.
video.
But
But
I think I like the Ergo Proxy a bit more.
it's more complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I think so. It's got weirder themes to it.
Plus,
Then again, Ergo Proxy had an ending.
yeah.
You knew what the hell was happening.
It's still had its ambiguous parts.
Yeah, but at the end,
Oh
they
my
they
God,
were
I
together
forgot
and they
her
all
name.
left.
Who?
Spoilers.
The little girl in Ergo Proxy.
Pinot.
And Pino.
There, that's what made it better because it had a good
It had
character
Pino.
like that.
Oh, okay.
Robin was the Pino,
No.
but an older Pino.
No.
She wasn't like that.
She wasn't a child, but she
Yeah.
still had the naive innocence that it's wholesome as shit.
So does this mean after this we're going to have to watch Psychopaths now? Because I got some vibes from that.
Oh, maybe.
I watched like the first episode of that, so sure. Maybe.
I watched the first season of Psychopaths like 8, 9 years ago now. I always meant to watch the rest, but I never got around to it because there's
I
like
was like,
two
didn't we watch it as a
There's-
group?
Oh.
together.
Yeah.
Not Carlos wasn't there. I don't know.
I
Or
was
maybe
like-
you were.
I literally remember watching it.
It was-
with you
We
guys.
watched the first episode together.
Oh, okay.
I know me, Tanner, Carlos. I think you, and I think it was Ryan. I think it was in Ryan's room.
I
if
think I
remember right.
watched
Yeah, because the
stuff
episode
on my
was
own,
free.
didn't I?
Yes, because it was free, like on the PlayStation Network. I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't there for that. I watched it on my own.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I just remember that, but then
Anyway, not too off.
Yeah,
topic,
yeah.
But like,
Carlos,
is
what's
that,
your
is
out
that
of
your
10?
final thoughts about Witch Hunter Robin?
What out of 10 do you rate it?
1 out of 10.
What
Um,
out of 10? Sorry.
shit. See, I told Ramiro I was gonna listen through the Ergo Proxy just so I could see what rating I gave that, and to balance it off of that.
Oh, it's too bad. You gotta.
Yeah, you
On the
gotta.
spot.
Yeah,
on the
okay,
spot.
I gave this a 6.
Okay.
That's
okay.
fair. Is it me?
Yes.
Is it my turn?
Yes,
Okay.
you're next.
I am next.
Tanner boy.
So as I said, I thought this was going to be a darker show. I was surprised that it wasn't, but it didn't hurt it. The ending definitely hurt it. I don't like that it's so ambiguous. If you're going to close the chapter in the book, do it. Don't just end it and say, oh, well, never know. I don't like that crap. You can't build it up like that because it didn't satisfy me. So it's like, had a bad aftertaste. Sure, you can imagine they're out there somewhere, whatever. You can do that. I like definitive. You know what happened. There you go. You showed me. That's how you tell a story. Show me what happened. As far as, the characters were great. Story itself, it took a little bit to get into, but you have to establish that foundation first of, we hunt witches. That's what we do. Okay. Few witch hunts. And then we can get into the story and it ramps up a bit more. But liked everybody. I mean, Amon was kind of but he was supposed to be that way. That's how he's written. As you said, early 2000s anime. This is kind of how the style was. It's edgy, gray tone, but it's still pretty. I kind of wish it was a bit more churchy. Like they kind of kept that to the side. It's like, this is like a big element that she's like from Italy. The church is part of all this. And it's like this. We don't get to see any of that.
Yeah.
Kind of like that would have been a nice
They
aspect
didn't lean
to
into that
explore.
very much. I think
Maybe they don't want to
that
offend
probably
anybody.
Wasn't the
Like there's not
the
enough
conflict
structure.
they wanted, the moral conflict. They didn't want religion to be too much part of it.
No, but I'm saying like dive a little bit more into it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Robin's upbringing would have been nice to see a little bit of. 'Cause it's like, what is exactly, like, why does she believe the way that she does? Other than, she was raised in it, kind of thing. There's just ideas they could have explored a little more.
I mean, there was a part where the painting chick asked her about God, and she says she doesn't really know. She's just praying because it's her habit.
Well, yeah.
But then,
no
later on,
offense
she straight up prays. So it's like, I guess you could say she kind of found her faith in a way. But again, you don't know if it's more habit than,
yeah.
What's the difference between like wishful thinking and faith?
You said wishful thinking? No, it's no offense to actual Catholics, but it's like, these Catholics were using the witches to hunt witches. So it's like there's Catholic witches, and that's like, boom. Zastra was a Catholic witch, I think. I think he was part of the group. I'm sure they're all getting paid and whatnot because it's like weird secret religious government organization that does all this. But I mean, the concept's great. Concept's fantastic. I like it. I just think they could have stretched it a little bit more and done a little more with it. But for what it was, I mean, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. That's nice. Soundtrack was good. Characters are good. Overall presentation was good. Just art style, just fix their faces. make the face a little bigger. Their foreheads do not need to be that big. Studio Sunrise. Make Robin 18. Stop this.
Yeah.
And that's all I've got to say. I mean, that's it. It was a good show. I just wish it had a better ending. That's all.
All right. Well, Brandon.
I mean, a lot of points were already said, but I like it. Having watched it again now, like probably my Anime Planet rating of it is probably 10 out of 10 or 5 out of 5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now having rewatched it with a little more context and like just being older, I guess.
And your ship being destroyed.
I would say like probably an 8.5 or a 9.
Yeah.
Just because I still really like it, still enjoy the characters.
Hey, it's got a place in your heart. It's special.
I like all the characters. I like the art style. I like the tone of the anime.
I do like the tone. I agree with you.
And I still I get like, because I also like to know things when it comes to endings like that. But I also literally wrote an ending to one of my stories to be kind of ambiguous like that. So it's like I also kind of get it. But yeah, so like
I
an
understand
8.5 to 9, I would say was what.
I understand letting fans fill in blanks, but I felt like this story needed a satisfying conclusion.
Right, yeah.
Like show them somewhere.
Right, yeah. The ending, like little scene, like instead
Have
of it
them
being
have
a
a
new
letter.
witch, it should have been like
Have them
Amon and
standing
Robin.
on a fucking skyscraper somewhere.
Yeah.
And just be like, you ready to
No,
go?
it's the Dark Knight Rises ending. They'll see Alfred at the cafe.
Yeah, there you go. Just Amon and Robin sitting.
Yeah.
Just in a seat, and Alfred's like, oh Come on.
Well, no,
Just
would have
rub
been,
it
it was
in
like
almond.
Harry would be like the perfect for that because he's kind of
Yeah.
like their Alfred.
God, that would be
Yeah.
cool
So
if
Harry,
Harry
like,
was like on vacation somewhere.
Goes to vacation and he's sitting in a
Oh.
cafe and he sees Amon and Robin.
I wouldn't even
across
care
the
if it
way.
was a fucking rip-off like that. I would
Well, that
love
would have
that.
been if that would have been happened first, but
Oh, that would have been great.
yeah.
Still, I mean, that's what
But yeah,
I agree,
Did you
Brandon.
say your piece? You think, or
Yeah,
you got
yeah,
any more?
yeah.
What's
I
your-
think
Oh yeah, I said 8.5.
8.5, 9 out of 10, I'd say.
8.5 plus 0.5 equals 9. That's a good rating. I agree with your rating. Now, Matt,
Matt's like 1 out of 10.
No.
or
I
15 out of 10.
I
Despite all criticism, is real good.
Her.
Her out of 10.
it's getting witchy in her. I think overall I do feel a bit disappointed in it.
That's fair.
It's not. It's
He doesn't want to step on toes here.
no. I'm just trying to figure out how to say this.
Them damn
Them
witches.
damn witches.
Hi.
It's pretty solid. It's pretty good. Like you said, the concept is great. That's why, like sci-fi, of course, you're gonna buy the rights to the
Mhm.
show, and
Yeah.
you never make it. But it's like I've mentioned before, it needed to be longer. I'm not the biggest fan of the art style. I feel like it got kind of muddy and looked low quality at times. And you could call me a nitpick. If Ramiro was here, he would, shut up about the art. That kind of thing.
Ramiro,
Ramiro.
give us your thoughts. I know you liked it. But he did say he liked it.
Yes, but
But that's all we got.
But that's kind of it's not a nitpick. It's a legitimate criticism for me. I feel like it could have been sharper in areas. I feel like there are parts where characters look a lot better in one episode compared to the other. So that's a bit of a downer for me. I feel like we've discussed a lot of its problems, but it's still very solid. I feel like I wouldn't mind. It's one of those series I wouldn't mind a remake. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind it wouldn't technically be Brotherhood because it doesn't have a social tale, but I wouldn't mind a Brotherhood remake where it's like the same concept and everything, but they take a different way, and they
do die.
maybe, and then the
You
animation
see them get squished by
is a
the
bit
internet.
sharper. Maybe they change some things, that kind of thing. But overall, it was just okay.
Or you could just go.
I guess in my brain, I was expecting more of it. I wanted a bit more of it, but it wasn't awful by any means. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but like I said, a lot of its biggest issues we discussed. I feel like Amon, in particular, is not as strong a character as he probably should be or needed to be for the series to go as well as it should have. But yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. I think I would rate it.
Oh, here we go.
I'm getting really
5,
no
3.
6.
6.75 out of 10.
Damn.
Okay.
Would
My
be my
rating was better.
And unless anyone else has, Tanner has something
I
else.
do. Well, I was gonna mention, like you're saying, like they should remake it in different, like go a different direction with it. Well, it's like you have Brotherhood style of remake, or you could just go Evangelion style of it, where it's just she blows the cement block in half or whatever, and just destroys everything. Comes out, raises up, and she's like the witch god.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
And just burns everybody, and she's transcendent.
Mm.
And then Amon like hugs her and stops her.
Oh,
And then
I
she's
wouldn't
like-
like that.
Okay, but he hugs her and then pats her on the head and says, "You good?" She's like, hey, it's not romantic. It's just you done good.
It's
All right.
It's so difficult for that to have
I accept
done
you.
good.
not have the romantic undertones in it.
If you're a witch,
Good girl.
even though you're a witch, you're cool.
I'm taking you to Witch.
Yeah.
Which for some
I
sandwiches.
would love sandwich and milkshake.
And coffee.
Let's go to IHOP. I'm hungry.
I think we're about done. Thank you for listening. If you've come
Yes,
this
thank
far,
you.
Thank you so much.
Please follow us wherever we are. Like our things wherever you are listening to this.
Please comment
Before
your
you end-
opinions.
Before
and
Carlos
your
has
thoughts.
something to say.
Carlos is going to say he's a witch. It's okay. We accept you.
I was gonna suggest. I think it's time we do another like requested anime.
Oh,
true.
every episode we ask for a request. It's just we haven't gotten one.
No, but I think it's
Anybody.
time we actually have to focus to see if someone actually
Come
replies
on.
to one.
Come on.
Because that
Give
dog
us
and
some.
Okay.
one was hilarious.
We want another anime you guys
Random
think
If
that
you're
we will
listening to this
lose
and you
our
have a
shit over.
suggestion, there's a good chance we will actually do it.
We will roast an anime for you. I'm ready.
Or we'll like it depending if you actually have good taste.
Hmm?
Yeah, and if we've seen it already, we'll tell you. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
There will be
So,
honorable mentions.
Again,
That's your
thank
challenge.
you for listening to this
Thank
long.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Long
Thank you.
thing.
Thank you.
Hey, take your.
Uh,
Everybody can just take their time listening. They can just
Have
hear it periodically.
a happy Halloween and be
Oh,
safe
ooh,
and
spooky.
all that. Enjoy the spookiness and yeah.
If you just have us in the background, don't forget to take your plate back. Hey, they could have been eating something while listening to this in the background.
I mean, they could be washing clothes or whatever, or
Take
trying to
your
get
plate back, don't forget.
trying to scare people at work.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh, rat!
especially that scrub Ramiro.
I love Big Smoke.
Oh, jeez.
Ramiro's
Speaking
definitely
of
gonna listen.
Ramiro,
Hey, Ramiro.
my God, that guy.
He's all right.
Let's say
Good
bad
guy.
things about Ramiro.
He's not here.
He's handsome.
Romero.
Oh,
He's getting
oh.
a box.
Wait,
He's getting boxed.
I heard something else. Y'all mean.
Oh no.
He's a good
So
guy.
as Ramiro gets boxed, I will say thank you again and remind
Thank
you
you.
that I am Matt.
I'm Brandon,
I'm Carlos.
And I'm Tanner.
and we're the Shower Productions.
And you know who I love.
I'm a witch.
Ooh, spooky boy.
A witch.